People, it's happened again. Another No Jumper host has been arrested, and this time it's for murder. Over recent years, No Jumper has developed a reputation as a pipeline that takes figures from the gangbanging world of the LA streets to being entertainers, podcasters, and rappers. But unfortunately, as we see time and time again, not everybody makes it to the promised land of podcast glory. In fact, over the past few years, an unsettling number of hosts, affiliates, and regular faces connected to No Jumper have ended up tied to serious criminal cases. This has created endless rumors online, with people making ridiculous claims that real law enforcement, the FBI, the ATF, the CIA must be heavily monitoring or even are the ones operating the No Jumper podcast studio, with many people pushing the wild theory that the owner, Adam22, might just be a full-blown federal agent. Anyway, there's no real evidence that ties No Jumper to the feds. That's just the reality of hosting and offering opportunities to so many figures that have got ties to the real-life streets and gangs. Criminal gangs have historically abided by the principle of omerta, a code of silence. But that was a long time before things like drill music or podcasts became a thing. Nowadays, besides drill rappers like King Von and Lil Durk, who use real-life crimes in their music as an important part of building their brands, there's a whole lineup of podcasts focused on hip-hop culture that blur the lines between entertainment and real gang politics. The likes of DJ Vlad interviewing the most infamous rappers, athletes, gangsters, mobsters, and mafiosos, and most importantly, the No Jumper podcast, which made stars of gang-affiliated larger-than-life personalities like Crip Mac and 4Extra. One of the most infamous hosts of No Jumper in recent years is Rollin' 60s member Bricc. His crazy stories from the streets of LA all the way to Atlanta, where he tapped in with some of the most famous rappers and trappers in America, made him one of LA's most beloved podcasters. Bricc had a years-long come-up as a podcaster on No Jumper, while also juggling his rap career and dropping numerous songs and music videos, some of which I made cameos in, having become friendly with Bricc during appearances on the No Jumper podcast myself. But according to the criminal complaint, before Bricc went all in on podcasting, he was still connected to street activity. The criminal complaint would paint a picture of Bricc still ripping and running in the streets of LA and paying percentages of robberies he was involved in directly to Big U. However, this wasn't the only suspicious street activity that would come back to haunt Bricc during his podcast arc. He was also connected to the ambush on rapper Quando Rondo in August of 2022. Quando, who had $1 million bounty on his head after Chicago drill rapper King Von was shot dead in a fight with Quando's entourage, would visit Los Angeles and be ambushed by masked shooters who had flown all the way from Chicago to kill Quando on behalf of Lil Durk, allegedly. But things went wrong, and they ended up killing his cousin Lil Pab, real name Savia Robinson, by mistake. But to make matters much worse and more complicated, Bricc and Big U's names were brought up into the mix immediately. Quando's tragic situation was allegedly the culmination of a multi-year back and forth with Big U himself, as Quando Rondo also reps the Rollin' 60s Crips, but is part of a set that branched off in his native city of Savannah, Georgia. This means that he's not a direct member of LA's Rollin' 60s Crips, but there's a connection, and as a result, he seemed to have a relationship with Big U and always looked up to him. As mentioned, besides Big U allegedly using his charity as an extortion vehicle, he would more famously be a big proponent of the idea of checking in. Interestingly, Quando had numerous interactions with Big U in the lead up to this tragic incident that took his cousin's life. Big U has claimed on The Breakfast Club that Quando actually reached out to him for protection and suggested that despite claiming Rollin' 60s, Quando had never showed him love until he begun having problems with Lil Durk after King Von's death.
Like Quando Rondo, I just showed envy. Like, you can't call me now. You can't call me when the fire hot. You didn't with me before that. You know what I mean? You had my number, you could have called me, you could have did all that.
This elicited a response from Quando, who denied ever calling Big U for protection, instead saying that he was only asking how he could give back to his community.
Once called nobody, no on planet Earth for no protection. Because I don't fear no man. Why would I wait to get in some Anybody that I ever called, I call on some like, how can I help? How can I do this? How can I do that? I never called no person on planet Earth for protection.
Big U would address Quando and hint towards extortion, repeatedly saying that unless there's a donation for his organization, he's not interested.
Yeah, so I'm addressing this little thing with young nephew with Quando. First of all, I never talked to Quando. You know, it ain't nothing but love with Quando. Nephew reaching out to do something for the kids, definitely do that. Because I never talked to him. He just asked me if somebody reached out. I just feel like I know cuz and I've been knowing him. And I never heard from him after we had a conversation maybe a year and a half ago. No, maybe 2 years ago. And then, so when he called me I'm only on positive vibes. I'm gonna pull up on Cuz, or he can pull up on me.
A month later, Big U would appear on No Jumper in an interview where he seemingly apologized to Quando and indicated that there had been a miscommunication.
These beefs just sort of spiral out of control, whereas it might have been more isolated.
I can't understand it because somebody got to be a man at some point and say they was wrong. Like as far as Quando Rondo, I was wrong for saying it, but he was wrong for not reaching to his homeboy, and then on the same line that I reached out to you, you reached back out to me on it. You know what I'm saying? But I apologize to my homeboy, you know what I'm saying?
It seemed that within a month of this back and forth, dues had been paid, and Quando would appear as the first guest on Big U's ominously titled Checking In podcast. Big U would start the podcast off by welcoming Quando to LA.
Checking in for my young fella Quando. Yeah, man. What's up, young fella? Is you in California, huh?
You dig?
You see? You know what I'm saying?
The land.
Man, I'm glad to have you, man.
They would seemingly patch over their past feud by exchanging mutual apologies, with Big U elaborating that his nephew had vouched for Quando, who had told Big U that he did Quando wrong.
When I told him, as a man, my little homie called me, and he told me, Unc, you was wrong. But I'ma say I was wrong too, because you said I was wrong. You know what I mean? And as a man, like I told them, I know when I'm gonna apologize, because I'm supposed to be a bigger person. You know what I mean?
Big U would also specify that he had never asked for any money from Quando for checking in, explaining that their dispute was purely over a misunderstanding.
Every city I go to, I check in with somebody, bro. And that's what it's about. Because people think that I'm a bully and I cancel money, I get money. I ain't never asked you for not one dime.
On hood.
Not one dime.
Big U would also explain the process of checking in with the Rolling 60s, explaining exactly what a rapper coming to LA should expect.
Because you might check in with me, I'm going to tell you what clubs to go to and what clubs not to go to. I'm going to tell you where the bad is, and I'm going to tell you where the is. I'm going to tell you who got the good, how to get the sack. You got dudes come out all the time, buy a sack, and getting robbed. They ain't dealing with the right people.
What now seems rather ironic, Quando would immediately join in on praising the process of checking in, saying how people have completely misunderstood what it means.
Hopefully this interview open everybody's eyes on the check-in part. Like that's not on nothing negative.
However, a year later, Quando Rondo would visit LA again, where according to the OTF indictment, Chicago rapper Lil Durk and his team got word from an unnamed source in LA, known in the indictment as co-conspirator number 4, that Quando was indeed staying in the city. They would get his location and follow him around, eventually ambushing him at a gas station where his cousin Lil Pab was killed. Now interestingly, speculation circulated that the Rolling 60s were the ones who tipped off the Chicago hit squad to Quando's location, with a particular accusation that Bricc Baby was the one responsible due to him apparently being the Rolling 60s member with the closest ties to Lil Durk. Bricc would also openly claim to not like Quando in an August 2021 No Jumper interview, calling him out for claiming Rolling 60s and trying to get Big U and the LA Crips to try and squash his beef with Lil Durk and the Black Disciples, saying that he needs to check in every time he comes to LA.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. And then you claiming it, you ain't providing for this. Come on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like Quando Rondo.
You're not him.
Boy, stop.
What is it?
Boy,
Explain.
stop it. Don't come to the 60s and want to provide now that bro them on your ass. You get what I'm saying? Like we ain't doing that.
Yeah.
At all. We not doing none of that.
Well, that's gotta be weird for you because you've Dirk so much.
It ain't weird for me.
Yeah.
It ain't weird for me at all. Just saying, you know what I'm saying? You're not from Rolling 60s.
Oh, really?
You're not from LA Rolling 60s. You're not from Rolling 60s.
Right.
On the hood, we didn't make that call.
But
you didn't put that on the board like you finna make this play. On the hood, we didn't make that call.
But didn't Big U and him kind of squash it at a certain point, I feel
You
like?
gotta come talk to the streets.
Big U's a little removed from a lot of it.
Nah, he is the streets. You
Right.
gotta come talk to the people who feet in the streets. You gotta come clear yourself on both angles.
Bricc would be seen in the studio with Lil Durk in the months before the shooting, and days after the murder of Lil Pab, Bricc Baby would post on social media telling Quando he's a fake Crip for not checking in with him and giving them money and guns.
From out of town, and you banging the hood from California, you're an imitation gangbanger if you do not check in. If you do not make sure your hood is funded, you don't make sure your hood got blicks, if you don't make sure your hood got sticks and the kids is eating over there, the couple put you down with the play family is straight, you're an imitation because a motherfucker don't deal with the same enemies we deal with in LA.
However, Bricc Baby would then bizarrely go on to do a series of interviews speaking on the situation directly. He would tell Cam Capone News that Quando was smart to try and squash the beef with Big U.
But it was a great move for him, like to go check in with the big dog
because that's our big dog. So you trying to get him to soften up the people that's around your age and, you know what I'm saying, still outside. He's still outside too, but you get what I'm saying, to soften it up for us.
Around a month after the shooting, Bricc Baby would be seen on social media flexing bundles of cash and releasing a new song with OTF artist C3, a track called Bricklato, a track which heard C3 rapping that people claiming 60s will see the real 60s getting at them and that someone is dropping their location so the ops can pull up. This was followed with songs like the April 2023 banger Not Enough, where Bricc raps how his gang received over $1 million for their last body. Million, of course, being the exact number that Lil Durk had allegedly put on Quando's head. However, for the record, no real proof has ever surfaced definitively showing that Bricc had any part in what happened to Quando, and I was quite convinced that Bricc was simply making the most of this unsubstantiated rumor just to promote his rap career. But as time went on, more hints would be dropped about the 60s being involved in the incident. Particularly telling was Quando denouncing his Rollin' 60s neighborhood Crip membership in an online post where Quando says that he's no longer part of the gang and that he's laying his blue bandana down, specifically mentioning how it makes no sense for him to be part of the Rollin' 60 neighborhood Crips since they mess with his opposition, essentially inferring that someone from the LA Rollin' 60s had set him up to get shot out in LA on behalf of Lil Durk, with Quando saying that it doesn't take rocket science to see what's going on, and ending the message by saying that he's now just going to focus on his family and loved ones. Big U's nephew, Tiny Draws, reacted to Quando's post, pointing out that this essentially happened to Quando because he failed to show respect to the Rollin' 60s in LA, pointing out that Quando refused to check in, so they didn't check out and look out for him, as well as saying that there's only one way out of the gang, seemingly alluding to Quando getting killed, and saying that if he had shown the 60s love like he shows love to people like NBA Youngboy, then maybe things might have been different, claiming that Quando was disloyal and that the streets don't play fair. After the LA assassination attempt on Quando that claimed his cousin's life, Big U appeared on social media, seemingly taking a dig at Quando by saying that if he took a loss, he wouldn't leave his gang behind and there would be no crying from him.
Imagine all the dudes, and when the storm came, they folded their tent, they went inside, or they shut down. No, they ain't what no real dude. When it get hard for me, I get quiet and I get still because I need to hear all the doors is opening. I said I welcome the challenge. When it get hard, I welcome it. I look for it.
Later on, Big U appeared in a video seemingly celebrating a deal with FX relating to that 2021 show Hip Hop Uncovered, telling the audience that he's celebrating while smoking a cigar to the camera.
It's really just a celebration. I don't drink. I got this as a gift from a production company for the success we had with Hip Hop Uncovered. Just thought I'd kick it with y'all and chop it up. I don't smoke, but I do get to celebrate. Good things do happen to good people.
Big U would continue to smoke, telling viewers that he's been finishing projects for years and having a celebratory smoke for a reason that he can't tell people about, as well as congratulating young men who have completed projects with him, leading to speculation that he was speaking with a double meaning.
I heard somebody said, the problem with Big U is he don't complete nothing. I've been completing these projects for years. It's all smoke. But this here, I'm just gonna throw this up on the story. It's just a little celebration and only we know what it's about. Congratulations to the successful things I have done with these young men and young women alike too. It's just a celebration. Y'all will probably ask what, but I ain't gonna say it.
But it was Bricc Baby that would have people really concerned when he would outright say in a No Jumper interview with Poetic Flacco that people can no longer tell Lil Durk that he has to slide for Von because of the murder of Quando's cousin Lil Pab.
He did something. Oh, slide for him. Oh, you a bitch. Oh, yeah.
Slide for Von,
Ain't
right? Yeah.
They say you can't say that no more.
Why? Oh, yeah, because of... Wait, no. Like, who died?
You can't say that no more.
Oh, because of FBG Cash? Or who?
Nah, because Lil Pab.
Oh!
Bricc would go on to say that Quando has to lay in the bed that he made by not showing love to the Rollin' 60s in LA.
You should have been doing the right thing from off the rip. That's what they say. The bed, you gonna lay in the bed that you make.
He would also note that Quando was done for beefing with Durk, who has $20 to $30 million to his name.
That just signed a deal for like 20-30 million, Durk, right?
Yes.
Who the f wanna beef with Cuz for you? Too much money, man. You get what I'm saying? Like, listen, man.
Don't be for rich people.
Don't beef with rich people, man. Unless you gonna slide, you don't need to say nothing out loud.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, point blank period. Gonna put that bagger thing on your head.
These bold comments caused a shock on Twitter from other apparent Rollin' 60s members, and Bricc Baby would later deny that his comments were self-snitching, reaffirming that he had nothing to do with the shooting and was just parroting what was already being said on the internet.
Like I said, I already knew. I was out of town when it happened. The police, first of all, Trap Lord Ross and all these other detectives, and I'm not, shout out Trap Lord Ross though, because he ain't doing nothing but just making this content. You know what I'm saying? If you were that in public to get caught doing a murder to where he can put it together without being a police, I put in this song with me and C3 that was going to get released a month before it happened, and it say some like, it was some viral like the video went kind of crazy. I think he said something, we had a real 60s get at you or something like that, but we recorded this damn near 6-7 months before this anyway. So, but it was somebody OTF, and then Dirk was in the video. I was flashing money and all that. Name one person that's gonna give, where is the million at?
The rumor was that there was $1 million on Quando Rondo's head, and that as a result, there's a lyric that Bricc has on another song where he says,
we charge a quarter for a pack of 100's not enough. And I said, the last turned the pack,
we got $1 million plus.
Yeah, because on the internet, they were saying that I took 100,000 from Dirk and I signed the OTF and I had to do a hit for it. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, man, we charge a quarter for a pack. Like, you can't pay me 100,000 to kill nobody. Like, I'm charging $1 million plus. You know how much it costs for to get out of jail after a murder? I'm really popping it.
Ultimately, despite the bombshell indictment of Lil Durk and a handful of other alleged co-conspirators for murder for hire in October 2024, it still appears that Bricc was not officially involved, and he's not been formally charged in relation to this incident. But this was a major incidence of street activity surfacing on a podcast for all to see, and the eventual criminal complaint against Big U would indeed reference what happened to Quando directly, with a wiretapped conversation observing Big U saying what happened to Quando was a direct result of not checking in. So all of this was going on behind the scenes, but at the same time, the likes of Bricc Baby and Luce were jumping in podcast studios and letting small details slip. However, if there was one person who was truly a danger to Big U with a microphone in front of him, it would be Wack 100. Another infamous gang-related figure in LA politics, Big U always had a strange relationship with Wack 100, who was arguably the red bandana-rocking Pyru counterpart to Big U's blue rag-rocking Crip persona. Both OG status LA street legends with a formidable reputation in the streets and the industry, Wack 100 and Big U have had some disagreements in the past, like in 2019, when a leaked audio would have Wack implying that Eric Holder did what he was supposed to do as a gangster.
It's a harsh reality, but we stepping out of civilization into the jungle of gangbanging. Because the ledge gun, man, right? When it comes to the rules of engagement of gangbanging, he did what he was supposed to do when another gangbanger calls you a or a snitch. You supposed to handle your business. And can't nobody say that's wrong.
Given what Nipsey was reportedly accusing him of, this would cause some controversy in the media, as many would see Wack to be defending Holder's actions and excusing Nipsey's murder. Big U would then seemingly have a conversation with Wack 100 behind the scenes, after which Wack would post what appeared to be an apology on his social media. Not long after, Wack and his artist Blueface would appear on the No Jumper podcast, where Wack would provide more context to his earlier comments.
He puts it out there like I said some horrible, crazy, right? Right. But he's playing the subscriber follow game. You notice he's been saying, come subscribe, and I'm gonna let it out. It's been like 2-3 weeks of subscribe, and he gonna let it out. So what I did was call Reggie Rice's platform, and just everything I said to Reggie. Right. So now what you gonna put out? Listen, I'm not a gang banger anymore. I haven't gang banged in like over 20 years, meaning I haven't woke up and hated the Crip or seen a dude in blue and wanted to do something to him because I thought he was a Crip. Clearly. Right? That's gang banging, right? So I'm from where I'm from. That's gonna always be that, right? So I understand gang culture. Gang culture is different from the religious culture, which is different from, you know, the Jewish culture. Every culture is different. And in that jungle, the rules change. Now, are the rules irrational? Damn right. Are they right? Probably not, but these are the rules of this jungle, and it's been like that 50, 60 years, right? In this situation, you have a rapper and you have a dude that's a straight, authentic gang member. His whole life are these blocks,
That's all he know. And in the culture of gang banging, when you call a motherfucker a snitch, when you call somebody these things in this jungle, it's no different than you being a football player and going on the field without your helmet on. You're gonna get hit.
However, also giving Big U props for starting Nipsey's career. He would also say that the love that Nipsey was getting after his death was fake, and that Nipsey wasn't getting praise like that or being called a legend while he was still alive, and that he objectively was not a legend during his life based on the numbers.
Right.
If it wasn't for Big U, y'all wouldn't know the Nipsey Hussle of today. So what I'm saying is you got a man who died with 1 million followers and no radio hit and no platinum plaques. But because everybody started talking like it was a goddamn Popeye's chicken sandwich, everybody jumped on the bandwagon.
Right.
And now he done went 10, 20 times platinum. The radio is spinning his song. Come on, bro. How long did they spin his song?
Right.
All day, every hour. Nipsey had like 2, 3 songs I felt should have went. Last time I checked, like it was great records. Right. Bullets ain't got no name. Great records.
Yeah.
Why in the and this rumor about him being independent, that's some bullshit. Like, look, it's idiots. If you scroll down to the iTunes, it says Atlantic Records. Right.
I'm gonna sit here.
So now he has a machine behind him. So where was all these fans, like Blueface? He got platinum plaques. Hold on, no. You know why he got platinum plaques? Because his fans followed him. They supported him. They streamed, they download, things of that nature. Nipsey's never been on a world tour. Why? He did not die an A-list artist. That's real. Y'all talking about he was a legend. If he was a legend, why y'all didn't treat him like that while he was here?
Adam would also ask Wack about his phone call with Big U, with Wack responding by lashing out against people who were attacking Big U after Nipsey's death with the conspiracies about him being involved, before giving Big U more praise about his role in Nipsey's career.
What was the phone call with Big U like after those headlines started popping up about that leaked audio?
Oh, we always talk about our white kids, what business ventures we doing next, and things of that nature. Like, you know, we don't have that type of conversation about, they even attacked him, and that was a weird, they last thing was Big U was honoring him at one of his events, so people make it look like Big U and Nipsey was enemies, all conspiracies and all this crazy.
Right.
And the world wouldn't know who Nipsey Hussle was in the magnitude that he was in if it wasn't for Big U.
Right.
During 2020, Wack and Big U would do several major podcasts together, and the two were seemingly on cordial terms. Unfortunately, the following year, there was seemingly starting to be some more serious disagreements, with Big U implying on his Checking In podcast how he was disagreeing with a lot of things that Wack had been doing lately.
Yeah, I just like to call this guy from where? You know what I mean? I disagree with a lot of things he's doing right now. When you get to the point where I can't reach out and talk to you and try to correct you, like, look, we trying to go down this path, I gotta remove myself. I don't mind being chastised, you know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm bigger than the program. And so what people don't understand is that sometimes people can get to that point.
Meanwhile, Luce Cannon, who was still at this point cool with Big U, would release a diss song to Wack in September 2021 titled Cookout, aka Wack, I Know You're Ain't Talking, as well as dissing Wack and calling him a rat on his YouTube channel whilst walking around Wack's old stomping grounds in Pacoima and saying that Big U runs the West.
So it's like, Wack, it's like you do all this internet thugging and acting like you just so turned up, putting it on Paru this, Paru that. Nobody seen you do nothing. And beat up a that was don't finna in Miami. What's that named Stitches? Like, bro, you did some bus rash and then you acting like you got clout. Then you paid $2 to act like they KKK, but it was construction workers and you paid them $150. All that clout chasing don't equal up to real, bro. We on real time. Like, you talking about let's get down. You don't want to get down with the low, nigga. And you could put that on Paru. I bet you on any dollar, nigga. You don't want to get down with the low. No, you staring death in his eyes. That's why you want to run with some cowards. Oh, let me call Big U. Let me do this. He don't f with you. He's a. He don't f with rats. He don't f with rat lovers. He don't f with doing police.
As Luce would explain in a podcast at the time, his beef with Wack started from the producer Marley Marl allegedly scamming $50K from Luce that was meant to go towards getting a feature from the rapper Offset. This led to Luce allegedly beating Mally up and filming the confrontation. This would lead to Wack, who's Mally's friend, to have a problem with Luce, which would then escalate into a full-blown beef.
Yeah, so when I did that, Wack 100 was going around talking about, yeah, we don't with Luce Cannon, he did this to Marley Marl, cuz can't go back to his hood and stuff like that. I'm like, you in Palmdale, Lancaster ass, like, come on, cuz, like, I'm in the hood every day. Like, bro, what you talking about?
In June 2022, Wack would appear on the Dub C and CJ Mac Show podcast, where CJ Mac would question Wack about all the enemies that he'd been making, with Wack responding that there's only one person who he wishes things could have been different with, and that's Big U.
It's probably only one person out of everything you've been seeing going on that I wish it could have been different.
Right. It's all good.
Right?
It's all good. Yeah.
And that's Big U.
Despite there clearly being some heavy tension between the two, Wack would show him a lot of love during the podcast, saying that he just can't see Big U as an enemy due to their past friendship.
Because I can't mentally see him as my enemy.
Right.
I don't think really in his heart, he ain't gonna let nothing happen to me. It's too deep. That's like, I couldn't face his wife or his children.
Yeah.
Right? Knowing I was played a part in anything that had anything, that's just not happening.
But Big U would respond back, saying that he's accepting no apologies from people calling him out.
I don't really address a lot of said on the internet, but I'm gonna tell y'all this, I'm gonna address this, and I'm gonna address this fast and quick. I heard about the little CJ Mac and Dub C interview with that guy. I don't accept no apology from no disrespect my name, disrespect my family, and call me on my name. I ain't cool with nothing. I ain't cool with that CJ Mac. I ain't cool with that Dub C. I ain't cool with none of that, man. And that's all I got to say on that.
Unfortunately for Wack, it seemed that behind the scenes things would reach a boiling point. On the 8th of July 2022, Wack's longtime artist The Game was performing at LA venue The Novo for the release of his Drillmatic album. At one point during the show, the crowd would go into a frenzy when Kanye walked out onto the stage, as Wack 100 could be seen to the side, ushering him onto the floor. Moments before, it seemed like a scuffle was taking place to the side of the stage where Wack and Kanye just emerged from, with some claiming that this was actually Wack being attacked by a group of Rollin 60s, including Big U's nephew Tiny Draws. Once Kanye took to the stage, Wack would find refuge on that stage, standing in front of the crowd, where it wouldn't really be possible to continue the attack. Standing here, Wack would shake his head and whisper to another man on stage, and gesture a finger to his head, seemingly indicating that there was some brain-dead activity going on. Wack, visibly sweating, seemed to gesture to someone next to him that he would be moving through the front of the stage when the performance ended. Wack would continue politicking to the person next to him and pointing around as if looking for the most effective exit route. He would scratch his chin and continue to look behind him, where the issue seemed to have started. As Ye looked ready to leave the stage, Wack turned to clear his path, but in what seemed like an excruciating moment, the Game would then begin to give a heartfelt speech to Ye, stopping him in his tracks. Game would then perform his classic song Dreams that was produced by Kanye, while Wack would whisper something to Ye himself. All the while, Wack would continue to look at what was going on behind him. A drummer then seemed to give him advice on the best way to get out of there, while Wack continued to look over his shoulder. Then, Lil Wayne would take the stage as Wack remained to the side, seemingly leaning back to say something to somebody. Wack remained at the side, tucked away with Ye during Wayne's performance, looking back a lot, and eventually getting into a conversation with somebody up close. At one point, even Ye would start looking concerned, and it seemed to be at this point when they agreed to leave through the front of the stage, right through the crowd. At which point, Wack took Ye by the arm and led him behind the speaker, tucked away so nobody could see where they were going. Ready to step into the crowd, notably flanked by two members of his entourage, Wack would jump off the pretty high stage to get into the crowd floor and exit through this crowded area. Interestingly, someone wearing a blue cap would moments later step by and peer around the speaker to see if Wack was there, but they were already gone. And seemingly after Wack had cleared the stage, during Big U's Artist Corrupts performance, Tiny Draws and other Rollin 60s would get onto the stage themselves, performing a victory Crip walk. It seemed that Wack wasn't able to completely shake loose, however, as he would apparently be caught up within the parking lot by a group of Rollin 60s members that included Big U himself and Tiny Draws. A confrontation would ensue, which one 60s member would seemingly film as Wack stepped out of his car with his family inside. This was posted by somebody who was there online with an incredibly self-incriminating caption saying Wack 100 is a mark, begging to lift that thing up, talking about my wife and kids are here, better act like it, Buster. Someone would also post a clip showing Wack standing at the door of his car with a caption saying, the 60s is outside, dead homies. The 2025 criminal complaint would reveal that a day after the incident, Big U had actually recounted the incident in a tapped conversation, claiming to have been there personally, and claiming to have cornered Wack with 15 to 20 Rollin 60 members, whilst Wack was on his own, leading to a standoff where Wack pulled a gun and pleaded with him not to attack. The Rollin 60s members would then take to social media afterwards to brag about Big U's nephew Tiny Draws running Wack off the stage at the Novo and knocking him out.
Wack 100 got we not put on him. And talk this about this his town.
I'm just saying, cuz you talked about every set.
Hold on.
Every guy.
Hold on, y'all hear they verse.
Talked about every gang, every set. Got there, got shocked out, ran to the front and jumped off game stage. Slid out that I officially a buster.
What's your version of it?
My version is, man, Tiny Draws put them bombs on that.
Hold on, we ain't doing no names now. We ain't doing no names.
He put them bombs, he got his mother head knuckled up.
Hey.
Y'all hear that?
I bet, hey, listen, he gonna remember the Novo. He don't remember nothing else in his life.
Hear that? He gonna remember what?
That's all he gonna remember the Novo.
And remember who?
He gonna remember. Oh, he gonna remember not to be saying names that he know he ain't supposed to.
6-0. You don't talk about us.
A day later, Wack responded saying that he wasn't beaten up and showing his face and head had no injuries, as well as hinting that the video didn't show everything that was going on in the scene, calling the situation a swing and a square off.
Knock it off, bro. Knock it off. Knock it off. Weird, bro. I don't mind you telling the truth, but stop lying. Cut the lies out. 20 that ain't nothing. Knock it off. Stop lying.
For the record, Wack later gave his own version of the incident, where he suggested that in fact, he had his own people, the same ones who left the stage with him, waiting in the sidelines, and going on to say that he'd been holding a gun so powerful that it made Big U and the 6-0s stop dead in their tracks and leave.
You might not want to admit this, you had your blower.
Okay.
You're begging him not to kill him.
Now stop right there.
Right?
Like Clubhouse.
If I got my blower and you 20 deep with hoodies and I'm by myself, right? No begging to plead, that's when you really do it, right? What do you think my mentality was? For a dude not to approach me and you come to get me, and I jump out my car, talking, what kind of conversation you think I'm having to make a dude say, don't nobody move?
I agree with you.
Now,
I feel like
Blick talk.
I feel
third
like
y'all out there?
You probably
Call
was on
third
that
now.
Soulja Boy.
Now I'm about to expose something nobody ever knew. So here it goes, right?
Ground zero.
I'm here. All of this is a parking lot, right? I'm here. They walk down. They walk right past my car. They didn't even see me. When I seen them get here, I jumped out. Y'all looking for me? Right? They stopped. They back was to me. Y'all, I had everything I had, I could have dealt with everything in front of me. Now, what they didn't know is I'm talking to my team. Big U-Nim is here. Now watch this. Look, watch this. Big U-Nim is here. I'm here out the car. Third, who was here, and here?
Taking notes?
Hold on. Third, who in that parking lot when I'm confronting these 20 Crips was 20 to 30 feet in every direction and they didn't know it? All my homies was behind them.
That's new information.
Listen.
That's new information, man.
So listen, check this out. So when I'm letting you know, there's no need to beg nothing. What did I tell that fool? Let's do it. My home, they still don't know to this day that all my homies was positioned 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 6 o'clock. They didn't even see him.
Despite Wack sharing his more explosive side of the story 3 years later, at the time, people were heavily clowning Wack as blogs would report that he was knocked down. Tiny Draws would later claim responsibility for the attack and claim that Wack was punched 3 times backstage and then ran onto the stage to avoid the 60s, as well as saying that they were aware that Wack had people with him in the parking lot and that none of them jumped out and did anything.
I'm talking about two total incidents. He ain't talking about the right
Whatever happened in that garage, I don't know. Bro, that time when he went in the garage, it's like about 10 minutes prior to Cuz jumping on stage. That's the crazy part.
That guy said he was taking Kanye to the car, but ran to the car his damn self.
Man, no, that wasn't. That just walked from taking Kanye to the stage, and he was walking on stage, and he was walking up the stairs. Corrupt was going downstairs to go perform. We so happened to run across Cuz as he walking up. It's like how the stairs curve.
Yeah.
As soon as he walked up, the got dope fiend and then got hit again. And one of the little security that was with him pump fake like he had a blower and took off running. They ran all the way back to the stage, chased down the hallway. They ran through their little security. Security was trying to stop us from getting on stage. We bow guarded them. Them was already hopping down on stage, going to their little exit, whatever their little plan was. Wherever they got out from down there on the bottom of that little stage area is exactly what I ran to. Cuz when it got to his car. The show wasn't even over. DJ Quick didn't even perform yet. The gang didn't even perform yet. He left like an hour or two before the even over, and we stayed.
Yeah.
When he got to that parking garage, I can't tell you what happened. I wasn't there. But inside that, all that bullshit talking, it was 10 against 1, then 18 against 1, then 20 against 1. What incident is you talking about?
This would then lead to Tiny Draws jumping on Clubhouse with Wack to argue about the incident, with Tiny Draws arguably incriminating himself and threatening Wack and suggesting that Wack was lying since he wouldn't swear on his gang that the incident happened the way he said it did.
Put that on Pyro.
Who is you though, bro?
This is Tiny Draws, Cash.
Well, what are we talking about?
We talk about what happened when you walked up them stairs. Put that on Pyro.
What happened?
You didn't get smacked in your head and you didn't get socked in your face.
Touch me.
Bro, put that on Pyro.
Why you nigga? You want me to
put that on Pyro?
Hey, you did you or no other?
Man, look, bro, put that on Pyro.
You or no touch
man,
me.
Look, I'm not, bro.
Your uncle bitch wrong got drew down on.
You put everything on Pyro. Put that on Pyro. When you came up them stairs, smack you in your head.
You
put that on Pyro.
My head. Where you?
Put that on Pyro. Put that on Pyro. You didn't run on that stage.
Sent the picture with my eye circle
bro,
like it was my eye.
Bro,
so was it my head or my eye? I put that on your raggedy ass mama.
Put that on Pyro, bro. That's all you gotta do.
Now, for the record, here's DJ Academics reacting to the whole situation at the time. Ak jokingly pointed out the seriousness of the Clubhouse conversation, adding that Wack seemed to be isolating himself similar to 6ix9ine, but isn't rolling with enough security.
Wack, the game had a concert. Yeah, I believe the big Pyro Wack got hit, man. Do y'all believe it or not? I've always said this. First of all, I do look at Wack as somebody with tremendous respect. I've watched him over the last couple of months, though. It's been interesting. I believe that Wack has completely isolated himself away from a lot of people that we would also consider either powerful or have some type of presence on, whether it's the West Coast or, within the game. I ain't gonna lie to you. Some people have said that Wack is taking the 6ix9ine approach on some.
Ak would also add that Wack rarely gets confronted in person, but his comments about the Rolling 60s Crips and Nipsey has got him into a beef with people who are really about that life.
Only thing that's on the table to protect is the artist interest, and here's the thing. It don't seem like the game got beef with some of these people that Wack got beef with. For example, the dude who's arguing with Wack is saying, yo, after we punched on you, we partied with the game. They are involved with their own 60s. They seemingly feel away. I guess this Tiny Draws dude, because he said he put it on Neighborhood Crip. They feel a certain type of way about it.
Funnily enough, Bricc Baby would also react to this incident too, claiming to have actually personally been there as part of that group of 60s trying to rush Wack, and making fun of Wack for escaping through the crowd and getting caught in the parking lot.
And we were still with the cop. Dead hungry. It was that deja vu game after that. 6-0. Shout out nigga, Magic and nigga Black. What you gonna do?
Weird. You old camera. Yeah, slap the out you. Yeah, the message was clear. You 6-0. You got pieced up. You jumped off the side of the stage. Everybody know the backstage of the Novo. You know how you got up off the stage without the fans seeing you.
You jumped in between the speakers. 6 stop playing. Came out the back door, seen it, thought you saw a ghost.
The beef would continue after this incident. In September, Big U would seemingly throw more shots at Wack.
We ain't cutting no grass. We ain't cutting no grass?
No, we ain't cutting no grass.
Night blood.
Let me know about that Thunderdog.
Somebody said they pull up. Oh.
Pull up?
No, it's a female.
Well, she can pull up too. So she can come get a picture with the champ. Listen, man, I don't think y'all know this, bro. If anybody got anything to say about the big homie, cuz I'm on him. Like I told y'all before.
You better start acting like that.
Anybody got anything to say about the big homie, I'm on him.
You better start acting like that.
And then, in October 2022, Wack would explain in an interview how his relationship with Big U had gone sour, saying that it had happened after Big U and Suge Knight had contacted Wack's label, suggesting that Big U should take over all of Wack's contracts, with Suge adding that Big U was the only person in LA that Wack was scared of.
Any situation that has something to do with me, whether I knew about it beforehand or not, he was also there for me. If that's what he needed to do. The fallout, once again, the two-headed snake, here comes Suge. Get a call from my label, E1. They said, man, we really want to tell you this, but Big U came down to see us. I'm not thinking nothing of it. He has already signed to him. So yeah, Suge on the phone. Oh, okay. Still not thinking nothing of it. Like, yeah, man, they were trying to convince me that I don't know how they thought this could work, even if I wanted to do it, to give your contracts to Big U, and Suge is saying something about, this is the only guy in Los Angeles that you're scared of. Those words never came out of Big U's mouth. I'm not gonna put that. Came out of Suge's mouth. Oh yeah? Well, what you tell him? So I told him, man, we've been doing business with this man. He's like family. I gotta ask you to lead office. Great. So I'm kind of in the pickle. I don't know how to feel about it. So I said, all right. I waited a week. I wanted to see if Big U was gonna call me and tell me this happened. Hey man, I went down there, Suge had me go down there and said he was gonna negotiate a deal. He started saying some crazy. I had no idea he was gonna say this. This is what I'm hoping, right, to hear. After we got on here nothing, so I called him once. Tell a few of my comrades around me at the time, they know who they are. So everybody know was real close to me at the time, what happened. I even had that call too, when we addressed it and got everybody on the phone. I'm like, yo, bro, you really went to my label? And, well, no, I didn't say it. Yeah, and about you said it, but you heard it being said in favor of you against me. Nobody could have sent me to the office saying, yo, give Wack Big U's contracts. I'm hold, go. Yo, for one, I didn't tell you to do that. 2, I'm not here for that. 3, that can't happen.
Big U would once again respond to Wack's claims, saying that he was straight up lying and that he had never even been at Wack's label office.
It come down to like the Wack situation. Is everything cool with that, or that ain't nothing?
No, you know it ain't cool. Now I can speak on that. I mean,
okay.
You would ask me that.
Okay.
I only got one thing to say.
Yeah.
This lane talks about. This is the most beautiful thing. People just lie, and it kills me is how y'all allow people, not you, the people out there allow somebody to continuously tell lies. Let me address this one. I addressed the other one about developing options. I'm gonna address this one. I'm gonna give you this one.
Okay.
One, I have never been to Alan Grunblatt's office about a deal. I just heard about this one too. For Wack 100 company, because you can't do that. If you know the music business, and I'm pretty sure you do, in the podcast business, nobody can go get nobody's contract. That's the most ridiculous shit I ever heard.
Wack had been active on the social media platform Clubhouse pretty much since the beginning, when it became a semi-viral hit during the early COVID pandemic. And eventually, the app became Wack's favorite social media to use, and he would build a real business around the platform, arguably becoming synonymous with it and the main face of Clubhouse. But Clubhouse has always had a limited reach due to its strategy of being more exclusive than other social medias, giving it a much more underground vibe where news would be breaking for the first time, rather than a viral platform like Instagram where news reaches the masses. However, in 2023, Wack would start a weekly podcast with Adam22 on the No Jumper platform, giving him a much bigger reach and a perfect outlet to attack Big U.
Any truth to the rumor that you put an alleged leader or a higher up from the other side, is there any truth to the idea that you might have leaked their address or doxed them in some way?
Who address?
We'll edit this out. Big U?
I don't know his address offhand.
Okay. That's not true? Because somebody said that to me, and I was like, wow, that seems over the line.
Well, you know, they hollering my address.
Oh, so it is true.
No, I don't know the direct address.
Okay.
But they
just to cap this off, what would have to happen between Big U and you to make
Listen, me and Big U know how to deal with each other, bro.
Right.
I don't even want to mention the man's name. But his little homies keep coming on there in the name of him, dissing the set, dissing my neighborhood, mentioning my family. Who's important? Big U?
Big U's not.
How's he an important figure in hip hop? When? Where?
I mean, he's someone who's got
Key to Rock.
connection to like almost every rapper out of LA, right?
No, wait, let's correct that, bro. Like, y'all get that dude a little too much credit. A lot of those connections come from guys like Suge, guys like me, guys like a few of his homeboys over there, right? That put him with people. Let's be real. What has he done in hip hop?
Okay.
If my name was on paperwork with contracts with the police, with police cell phones, they would hang me out to dry. If one of my homeboys was told me that I snitched on him with an alias and went on record to say it, they'd hang me out to dry. If a female said that Wack baited her down, locked the door, and beat her while she was pregnant, they would hang me out to dry. Now, does he get the popularity vote of the streets? Yes.
See, this is what I was just saying.
Yes.
And of course, Big U wasn't the only one who Wack was making some explosive claims about. He would also famously claim that there was a gay tape starring none other than Nipsey Hussle, as he would explain on a DJ Vlad interview.
But to be fair, then you started kind of going hard at Nipsey. You said that there's a gay tape and like that.
Yo, Vlad, one thing you better not never do is question what come out of my mouth. You worth a lot of money. I got $5 million. You want to bet?
I know. I'm not going to bet you. I'm not going to bet you.
Hey, let's break it down to me some plunk million. I got $1 million.
Okay.
Do you want to bet?
I'm not going to bet you.
Vlad, no. Because you said, right, and it didn't come out of my mouth. Hassan Campbell recorded the conversation and released it.
That's where it came out.
It's only because of me that the damn tape still ain't came out today.
But then, during the Adam and Wack show, he would go further and say that Big U had wanted Wack to release the tape so that he could use it in a legal battle against Nipsey's estate, daring Big U to get out of line so that Wack can release proof of that.
Right, but guess who else seen him and wanted me to release him?
Who?
Big U.
Why?
Because Lord London wasn't cooperating with him, and he felt like he had some leeway with the baby mama that's starring in the videos.
Oh,
right?
Okay, so this is before her, right?
He can manage her. No, this is with her.
During his time with Lauren?
Yeah, so he can manage her, get her out the way, release that. Then in the flip side, he wanted me to turn around and go at the Nipsey Hussle estate and sue them for 30% of his contract. And he wanted me to make it look like I brought out his contract and now I'm going after his estate. I said, bro, check this out. I'm not releasing the tapes, right? I'm not doing that. Dude got kids. Me and Nip ain't had no problems. On Paru, we ain't had no problem. We used to talk on the phone, right? And you was just with this man every day in the studios and all this. Did you have this conversation about this 30% then? Don't wait till he die and then want to do that. That I want. It's all on my phone. I dare him to get out of line.
For the record, this tape has still never surfaced and many people are still not convinced of its existence. Big U, on the other hand, was staying relatively quiet during this time, and at least on the surface it seemed that he was doing good, and so was his family, with his son getting drafted into the NFL by the Los Angeles Chargers. But behind the scenes, things were about to go bad for Big U, because his trusted enforcer Luce Cannon had seemingly had a falling out with him, and coming into 2024, Luce Cannon's loose lips would begin to put Big U's dirt out there for the whole world to hear, as Luce would eventually begin rolling with Wack 100 and appearing with him on the No Jumper podcast. On the 21st of January 2024, No Jumper released an Adam and Wack show episode where Luce Cannon made numerous explosive claims about Big U, while himself engaging in some grade A self-snitching. Luce would reveal that part of the reason he stopped trusting Big U was because he noticed he was doing shady things, referring to the dispensary robbery mentioned in the indictment, saying that he found it weird that he was sent to do robbery missions and then would later be forced to give part of the proceeds back, as well as finding it suspicious that Big U would hand out guns to people and take note of the serial numbers. Most notably, Luce would claim that Big U called him saying that Nipsey got shot, but when Luce called Nipsey, he answered and was fine. But then 30 minutes later, he would get the call that Nipsey had indeed been shot and killed. Adam would then press Luce about the story, telling him to convince the audience that this call actually happened, with Luce and his girl saying that the call can be seen in their upcoming reality TV show.
Like, the Nipsey story that you just told is so explosive.
Yo.
Speak to them on why they should believe you, because I guarantee that's a huge percentage of the conversation that's happening right now. Is people saying, I don't know a ton about you to like verify it, so and I don't have a dog in this fight.
Listen, everybody that knows me, LA and the world and stuff like that, know I'm not gonna just sit there and lie. Plus, it's on my TV show. The first episode or whatever on February 14th, I'm gonna see the FaceTime call with me and Big U, and then the next.
I'm gonna say too much, y'all. Y'all gonna have to tune in. Y'all gonna have to tune into the show.
The following day, Bricc Baby would be part of the No Jumper News show, and as a self-admitted Rollin' 60s member who seemingly was still fairly close with Big U, he would seemingly be mad at Luce for his wild stories about Big U, deciding to attack Luce Cannon back, accusing him of being the police, as well as questioning why Luce wouldn't mention to Nipsey that someone had just said he had been killed if the story really happened.
You act like you was coming to say that story to be for Nipsey, because you sat there and lied. You was supposed to be exposing Big U or whoever you was talking about as being a rat, or informant and all that, but you told every crime that you ever did alleged around this dude, nigga, on a camera. You come in here trying to expose, trying to show internal. You're not from the set. You never got put on the set, nowhere around it. Because, and you talking about it gave you a drop on when Nipsey was about to get killed, and you didn't even mention it to Nipsey. What type of friend are you at this point, Shark?
But Bricc wouldn't end it there. He would also attack Luce on his own YouTube and Instagram accounts, calling him the Goofy of the Year who's mad and lying because he can't come back to the hood, and that he's never even met Luce before, and that he's not from Rollin' 60s.
Luce Cannon got the Goofy of the Year award this year. Like, all that lying because you can't come back to the section. Come on, man. All the homies said you's a goof troop. Can't come back around. And on 6 I just did my research. Boom. I never heard where you said when you see me, you go, man, I've never met you. On the dead homies, I ain't never met you. You the same just ran from my white boy in Vegas at the Red Rock Casino. 6 trying to use names as passes and all that. Tell cuz 6 cuz no bueno, cuz get right up out of there. You've never seen me, cuz 6 you don't know nothing about me, cuz 6 you didn't grow up with us or nothing. Who is Big Luce Cannon? We gonna start there. Who is Big Luce Cannon? 6 Let's get this clear right now, man. Luce Cannon is not from 60s. There's too many stories talk about the boy Luce Cannon from 60s. Luce Cannon is not from 60s. Never been put on. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Don't be late.
Sometime later, Luce would allegedly play the call that Big U had made to him only moments before Nipsey's death.
Of course. Listen, I'm about to play it to you right now on loudspeakers, because I had to plug in my speakers. Listen right now. What up? You heard that, right? I'm gonna play it again.
Yeah, I heard that.
I'm gonna play it louder. So, like, bro, let's right now. What up? You heard it, right?
Hey, you know what, brother? You ain't gonna rack my brain. You ain't gonna rack my brain on that, bro. You know. But if you saying if you got belief behind that, man, that's that's your push, bro.
Now, many people have suggested that that was simply a low-quality AI, but regardless of how flimsy Luce's claims were, Adam22 and No Jumper would receive a cease and desist letter from Big U demanding they remove the video material of Luce and Wack discussing his possible involvement in Nipsey's murder. The No Jumper crew would discuss it during one of their episodes, during which Bricc Baby would make fun of Luce's supposed recording, calling it out as a fake, after which Adam would make a prophetic prediction saying that he needs to see much more proof from Luce, but if Big U would end up getting arrested in like 6 months' time, that would certainly make Luce's statement seem a lot more credible. And as we know, Big U would indeed end up getting arrested, although this would happen almost exactly 1 year after Adam's prediction.
I feel like that episode was out for like 2 months. And I've been awaiting proof of what was said about the Big U thing. And I haven't really seen any proof. Now, maybe it just hasn't been brought to my attention. And for sure, Okay, fast forward.
Did you hear the AI?
No. What was that?
Go ahead. Let you finish the fast
What
forward.
was the AI?
So he made an AI of, he was on live with Eddie Boy. And he made like an AI. He like, I'm finna play you a clip.
You think
It's
Luce
like,
Cannon made it?
Yeah, it said,
Oh,
hey,
okay.
nephew, Nipsey dead. That's all it said.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah.
And
I
he
swear
like
to God.
played this on Clubhouse or something?
He played it on live. It was Instagram Live or something.
What?
Yeah.
Listen, Luce Cannon, I'm not saying you're a liar or anything. I'm just saying I need to see further proof. Now, let's say fast forward 6 months. Big U gets arrested. This is hypothetically for these acts.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, that interview becomes completely fair game, and it's an important historical record. And like we all have to look at it and say, "Oh my God, Luce Cannon, I'm so sorry. We all misjudged you. You're a genius. You were telling the truth the whole time."
However, many continue to cast doubt on Luce's claim about the phone call, as he would never end up showing video proof of it in his reality show The Baddie and the Beast as he promised. For example, Street TV would release a long video breaking down all the different reasons why he thought the calls between Big U and Luce and Nipsey never happened, with perhaps the most outlandish fact presented in the video being that Luce has also told another version of the story, where it was allegedly Nipsey who called Luce shortly before his murder, supposedly to tell him that he wanted Luce Cannon to take over and continue his musical legacy, because somehow he knew he was going to die. This story appearing so comically fake that it would seemingly even leave the interviewer almost speechless.
More into producing and stuff, and then when I figured out, like right before Nip died, he was like, "You got a voice. You need to take over and finish what I'm doing." And I was like, "What the f- are you talking about, cuz?"
Nip told you that?
Yeah. So it was like 30 minutes before he died.
Well, how did he tell you? Through a text or what happened?
No phone call. He called me.
Wow, why do you think Nip would have said something like that?
I don't know. I just figured that he knew he was gonna die.
So he called you and said you need to finish off where he left off?
Yeah, he was like, "Nobody's like you, cuz these jealous, they envious of you. I love what you're doing. I love you, little bro." And then 30 minutes later, he died.
There would also be a very aggressive but hilarious phone call between Luce and Bricc Baby, where Bricc Baby would pressure Luce to tell when he had had his put on to the Rollin' 60s gang, clearly claiming that Luce was not a real member and once again lying about his credentials, before yelling that he has more bodies than Luce has squabbles or fights, cementing Brick's image as the proud founder of the Kill Squad, the menacing name for Brick's fanbase.
Adam, what's up?
Hey, Luce Cannon, I'm here live on the No Drama Show with Bricc Baby and Lush. Bricc Baby is requesting some information regarding your put on.
Hey, can you give us like at least 2 names from your put on and what block? I ain't never seen you at no meeting at Hyde Park, Horace Mann, or at 54th. When did you get put on?
Baby, when did
you get put on? I got put on in 2002. I got put out in 2002 on Eileen Street at June House. You know what's up. Yeah, dead homie. So when you get put on?
No, you haven't, bro. You been in
Man, cuz Hillbilly was a part of my put on. Killer Dave was a part of my put on. Oh, the dead homies. My first name was Baby Wild Bill. On the dead homies at Izzy turned East Coast. That was the third I squabbled. Who did you squabble, gang? Come on, bro. I got more murders than you got squabbles in the hood. Dead homies.
But interestingly, in the lead up to the Rico arrest, a bizarre incident would take place where Bricc and Luce allegedly ran into each other at a Las Vegas Airbnb. But to everyone's surprise, despite them both claiming to be looking to catch each other slipping, there was no violence between them. Looking back, this is bizarre considering how much they publicly hated each other. This chance encounter in Las Vegas, where they did nothing but talk, didn't really make any sense. Yet. But soon, things would get even more strange, as Wack seemingly got word of the investigation into the 2021 Las Vegas murder of Rayshawn Williams, passing the information to people in his clubhouse circle to investigate for a murder mystery show on his 100 side show.
This murder mystery was on Rayshawn Williams, a young artist with life, ambition, everything to that nature. He was found dead in the Apex Desert, which is a little northeast of Las Vegas. His body had a lot of gunshot wounds, one being in the head, and it was described as execution style. We know that he was last seen alive communicating with key figures such as Big U, and somewhere between these final texts and everything like that, this is where weird. We went over the physical evidence, such as the DNA under his nails, possible GSR, but you know, it never got tested. A missing phone. I mean, all of this raises so many questions. We even had suspects who emerged from this case, which whether they were friends, mentors, and even those within his own circle. But the real question still remains: who had the real motive? Or even, to be honest with you, there's a lot of people in this case and a lot of key factors. The motive was there, but who was ballsy enough to do it? Who had the opportunity and who had the power to cover all of that up? Theories and our final suspect breakdowns look as, you know, did Big U play a role with this? And if he did, like, what happened in those final moments?
Been in and out, but I don't know what the f you been doing in here. But my goddamn phone going crazy.
Really, by who?
Hit me. They didn't found all kind of race shop. So what is this? Mother and the sister. They on my line right now.
Oh no.
They on my line heavy.
That is so crazy. Shout out to the media too. I wasn't even expecting to.
The mother told me, you ready for this?
What's T?
She used to be the team mom for the Crenshaw Colts.
This would set the wheels in motion for the information to spread further. One key person in this saga would be 600, aka Christopher Lovejoy. 600 grew up in the Crenshaw district with the rolling 60s.
I'm from South Central Los Angeles, the West Side, Crenshaw district, Hyde Park, California, rolling 60s. You know, I'm from where they made most of the movies is at. You know, my neighborhood and my life story is kind of like Ricky and Boys in the Hood. I'm not the one who got shot. You know what I'm saying?
Later on, he would become a heavyweight boxer with an impressive looking but much criticized record that he made by mostly fighting in Mexico. And more recently, he's become known as the manager of none other than 55th Street legend Crip Mac, before also going viral in his own right as a social media content creator who some have accused of working for the police due to his controversial takes, particularly in the lead up to Big U's arrest. Because while 600 is from the same hood as Big U, he also had a falling out with him, much like Luce Cannon. So when he would become privy to the information regarding Rayshawn Williams' murder investigation, 600 would speak out, posting clips of a phone conversation between Wack and Rayshawn's family, where the family would give inside info about the case, like telling how Big U's DNA had allegedly been found under Rayshawn's fingernails. And 600 wasn't seemingly deterred even by the fact that Rayshawn's mother would call him during his YouTube live on the 11th of March, pleading with him to stop talking about her son.
You on the hotline with Papa?
Yeah, you know exactly who this is.
You telling me I know who this is? You said what?
This is Rayshawn Williams' mother.
Okay, what's going on? How would I know who you were?
Can y'all please stop talking about my son?
What do you mean? Well, this is what you gotta understand. Whenever something is online,
It's Rayshawn Williams' mother.
okay, listen to what I'm saying. When everything is online, things get spread around online. So that's just whoever put things online first, that's who needs to get it. Now I haven't spoke to you in years. Am I wrong?
Everybody that's calling you, asking you the information, don't get him, bro. Dead. And I'm serious.
Okay.
Don't piss me the off. So anybody that's hitting you up, asking you any information about my boy, and they don't have it.
No, know what? Nobody never asked me about him though.
So they don't know nothing. It's none of their business.
No, nobody never asked me nothing about him.
However, the mother would also say F Big U multiple times, making it clear how she felt about him.
And I'm serious because this starting to piss me off with everybody. And yeah, I said it, Big U.
Okay.
And this is Rayshawn Williams' mama, Big U. Yeah, I said it. And I want everybody to know how the I feel. Him, his kids, and his wife. Yeah, I said it. Dead. And stop speaking up on my boy. Period.
Wack would also continue to discuss this case on his Clubhouse show, and in mid-March, they would drop a bombshell by letting everyone know that the feds were coming for Big U at the end of the month. This information coming also directly off the call between Wack and Rayshawn's family, with Wack and 600 saying that they went against the investigation, and apparently also Rayshawn's family by putting the call out in order to give Big U a warning to get running.
Understand, when the family is telling us this, that means their investigation is already done. Like, whatever they doing, they already doing. Done, so. Now the family, they told the street. Unfortunately, I felt withholding this is cooperating with the police. I'd have played this. He was arrested, nigga, like, oh, what? You knew they was coming. You didn't say nothing, and would have been right. All the way right. The family still cussing me out. Why did you play that, huh? Why did you tell me?
This phone call between Wack and Rayshawn's family, specifically his sister and mother, would turn out to be a treasure trove of information, revealing that not only the cops were coming for Big U, but also that the DA was allegedly planning on putting both the murder of Rayshawn and the murder of Nipsey into the same case.
What year did your brother killed?
My brother was killed in 22.
So it took them 3 years to do DNA?
They said that Big U was running for a long time, like he didn't want to take the DNA test.
So
yeah, they
wait,
found his DNA test in my brother's nails.
Okay, so that's bad work.
So that means my brother fought. When I told you that Big U had popped up at my brother Airbnb.
In Vegas?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And the best friend was there, whatever, but the best friend said that he didn't want to talk to my brother in front of him, so he pulled my brother upstairs to the side. He said that he knew something was going on because when Big U left and my brother came, when Big U left the Airbnb and my brother came back downstairs, he said his whole energy was off.
Dad, did they find your brother? Next day or next couple
days? The next day.
When did the test come back? When did the DNA come back?
It came back 2 months ago.
And they still ain't arrested me?
Well, they told me between me and you, please, between me and you, don't tell nobody because they don't want nobody to know. They're going to be making an arrest the ending of March, the beginning of April. They basically going to put his case and Nipsey Hussle case together.
Interestingly, Wack was playing both sides in a way that would keep his hands clean. On the one hand, strategically exposing this information that would lead to the takedown of his enemy Big U, but also suggesting that by airing this private information out publicly, he was actually keeping it street and giving a public warning to Big U so that he had time to potentially escape. But in the midst of Wack exposing all these details, he would suddenly fall out with Luce Cannon. Interestingly, this led to a podcast that shocked everyone, where former enemies Luce Cannon and Bricc Baby would suddenly appear together on No Jumper, this time apparently uniting against Wack. However, Luce would have a hard time explaining why exactly he was mad at Wack, with his initial explanation being that it was all to do with Wack commenting on an apparent arrest in Luce's neighborhood that was falsely attributed to be targeting Luce, with Luce seemingly rambling around in circles and not really being able to say exactly why he was mad at Wack specifically.
My brother, Wack, right, run content on me on Clubhouse, and then you got everybody on YouTube spin a narrative and say that, oh, you lying. You get what I'm saying? Because of Wack insecurities with himself. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it was like, nah, because we can't do that.
So you felt like Wack was putting fake narratives on you because he almost instantly after this clip came out of your wife saying that your house was surrounded by cops or whatever, he almost instantly starts spreading the narrative that it's not true.
Yeah.
And he's really stuck to that, which is interesting because that means that you and him are not seeing eye to eye, that you couldn't convince him one way or the other, or have you not really talked since then?
No, I talked to Wack, and then I told him, he was like, I didn't say that. I said, listen, bro, you read the wrong thing because there was 3 SWAT teams available. One at 3.
Oh, when you called them?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
No, shut the. So one at 3 a.m., one at 5 a.m., and then one at 10 a.m. Where they call swatting. So we had like the Las Vegas News Bulletin, pull it. They did the research and they came to
Sweetie!
it. So when Wack say it, this. Okay, listen. So when Wack say it or whatever, he spread the narrative that I was lying because of. We had a business dealing that day, so he thought that I was just trying to get out of it. Get out of it. So when he did that, it was like, okay, yeah,
that'd be a pretty drastic way to get out of a business meeting.
A business
wouldn't it?
meeting, It was goofy. So when that happened, it's like, bro, you ran content on me. So when you ran content on me, you actually ran content because my wife posted it. Do you get what I'm saying? So you don't have no respect for me or her. So at the end of the day, it's like I took it personal.
I want to know what narrative. I'm going to say it again, right? I repeated what your wife said. If I would have known for real, if I would have watched you go to jail, I still would have told the world you ain't in jail. Only thing I did was I repeated what your wife said. I said, listen, She never said it was her house. She said the streets blocked off. She never said he's in jail. She said, I hope he's at a...
But Wack, you said RP Luce Cannon when they was reading the articles. So when you say that,
No, I said there's no way that could be him because the article they read, they said is dead, shot themselves, and I said it would be RIP Luce Cannon, and he not dead because Luce, remember, I'm gonna remind you of something. I ducked everybody all day. I didn't go to Clubhouse till 6 p.m. That's a 6 o'clock room. You had already texted me. Remember? I knew you all right. You texted me.
Okay, so basically you said it, and then what about when the 600 running content?
You could show me what I ran content on you, bro. Why you keep saying that?
Okay, so listen.
Show me.
Listen, we're gonna take care of those deals, right? But let's do it on the Adam and Wax show, and we play the content, and let people judge. And wait, we let the people judge because if you right, no, Wax, if you right. On Dead Homies, I get it on here and I apologize. But if the comments say that I'm right.
So Luce was really mad at Wack for enabling 600 to expose the Big U murder case because Luce was going to be implicated in the whole gang conspiracy. But Luce didn't want to admit it at this point. So he chose a convoluted excuse saying that he was mad at Wack for commenting on the arrest that took place in Luce's neighborhood. But Luce would eventually let loose that it was 600's commentary on the Big U murder case that had really pissed him off. And Luce would even threaten to kill 600 in the interview, with Wack saying that he's not responsible for what 600 puts out there.
That's what I can't do. You running content on him, he run. I've been on him the last couple days. You notice he ain't really did. I've been telling him don't feed into it, but you running it on.
Cuz would die around with me.
Okay, but what if
60 Crip? Like we can't even go there, Wack, because this is not the same type of I am. I would get cuz out of here before summertime. Neighborhood Crip.
Well, here go the question. How often do all be in front of 600?
No, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm not negating this situation. That we around 600 maybe once every 6 months. Every 6 months, right?
Yo,
but
Adam, can you stop Bricc Baby from doing what he gonna do on his phone?
No, he's his own man.
I can't stop him from responding or doing what you know.
But you should tell 600 if he play with Luce Cannon, cuz gonna die.
And it would later emerge that even Wack was confused as to why Luce was panicking so much about Wack exposing Big U's murder case. Perhaps at that time unaware of Luce's proximity to Big U's past crimes, but the panic had been spreading for quite some time. In an earlier podcast when Bricc was asked about Big U's murder investigation, after Wack texted in and claimed that Bricc had told him about Big U's case first, he would also panic, walking off the podcast and refusing to talk about open murder cases.
Emergency bulletin, Wack 100 text me. Be fake as Bricc the one who told 600 first.
Who? About what?
About Big U's alleged body, maybe?
Huh?
I don't know.
Call Wack.
Man, that say whatever. I told 600 about an alleged body.
You got a pie?
Y'all be up there on some fake.
Wait, what did Bricc tell?
The first that warned it.
Wait, what did Bricc tell 600?
June 23rd, 2023, when the police hit Bricc Baby's house and you bailed him out. That nigga called 600 and told 600 they on cuz bumper. Big U got some problems coming. Now, I don't think Bricc Baby knew what the they was talking about, but he mentioned talking about some in Las Vegas. Nobody knew.
Man, he's a fool, cuz on the dead homies. I ain't called no. Hey man, you said that I called him about somebody. Man, you's a fool, boy. On the dead homies, you sound crazy to the.
Months later in August, bro, we've been told this story years some ago.
Why are you even talking? Why are you talking about something about a murder? How do a gangbanger get to talk about a murder on the big screen? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what part of that's cool to y'all?
Answer the question. Let me answer the question.
What? No, it ain't no. It's no. It's go ahead.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
If that's the case,
I
all
don't
you
even want to
motherfuckers
talk
up
about
there,
that.
what's on the internet?
What's on the internet? None of that's on the internet. What are you talking about? Don't nobody even want to talk about that type of shit. Because this is an argument that I'm willing to turn down right now and walk off screen. Like, what are you even talking about? Don't try to tie me into no police that you doing. You are doing police. You're talking about something. I ain't never said nothing about no DNA. And oh man, what the are you talking about? You see that this posted? The only way y'all know that is because you is the police, gang. That man, hell no. What are you even? How? I'm gonna tell him. I told him about the that he talking about right now.
Hold on.
Man, you done lost your mind, boy.
Okay, watch this.
So I don't even know who the person is. So how the I'm gonna tell you who it is? I've never met the person, didn't know the name, don't know nothing about Ned around this. This talk about the family.
We got 600. Everybody be quiet. 600.
Bro, I'm not gonna talk about. Listen, I'm not talking about big. Listen, Adam. I'm finna walk off the phone. I'm not talking about no.
Wait, I just want to hear. Let's hear what 600 says.
Y'all on that, cuz y'all doing some get politics.
About a murder in Vegas. That murder on EBK.
All right, Brick's walking away.
There you go.
Yeah, bro, I never did that. I never knew nothing about that. Like, I'm that kid. I never even knew he died till Bricc maybe told me that.
The Bricc and Luce podcast was a legendary moment for the fans that had been following this beef closely for the past couple of years. People couldn't believe that these long-running enemies were united and willing to sit down after all of this tension. The podcast did phenomenal numbers, but nobody could have prepared for what was about to come the next day, because something wasn't adding up. The beef between Wack and Luce Cannon didn't quite make sense, until the very next day when the feds would close in, delivering a sweeping series of arrests that targeted over a dozen Rollin 60s members and affiliates, including Luce Cannon and Bricc Baby. But for the time being, Big U would remain on the run after being tipped off by Wack in clubhouse and podcast debates. And so as the days went by, handcuffs went on suspects and the criminal complaint emerged publicly, and soon the whole world would know the shocking details about the years-long conspiracy that took down one of LA's most infamous gangs. The years leading up to 2019, a crew named EBK, short for Everybody Killer, was steadily appearing in police investigations across Stockton as the gang became tied to more and more shootings and violent crimes. Before long, that rise in violence set the stage for EBK's first major takedown, when 9 members were arrested in June 2019, 2 of them getting charged with the shooting death of 34-year-old Ronald Celestine.
Tonight, 9 people are under arrest in Stockton, all in connection with the street gang crackdown. 2 of these 9 people were arrested in connection to the shooting death of Ronald Celestine back on May 1st. Celestine was shot and killed in the area of March Lane and Holiday Drive. Now, the other 7 were arrested on various charges ranging from felonies for miscellaneous warrants. The suspects range in age from 18 to 40. And according to the San Joaquin County DA's office, EBK stands for Everybody Killer and represents a gang policy of open warfare.
And at the heart of EBK's identity was its home turf in Southeast Stockton.
That was boo, I ain't gonna lie. Southeast. South, it's in the Southeast. It's Southeast, though. That's where I really grew up.
Centered around the 2100 block of Nightingale Avenue, which you saw I visited at the start of this video, this was an area that the late rapper Young Slowby showcased in a hood vlog on the Thizzler YouTube channel in 2022. The music crew and an alleged gang known as EBK was born around 2016 or 17, but the identity around 2100 Nightingale goes back generations. This hood, including particularly black and Latino members, with the older members repping particularly the Crips, whereas the younger generation tend to rep the Bloods. EBK is of course primarily known through the music of Stockton's most buzzing street rapper, EBK Jaaybo, who has released numerous songs and music videos with millions of views. His most popular being the 2024 track Boogeyman, which has a music video with over 26 million views, as well as a wide-reaching police investigation named after it. As Jaaybo has told in interviews, he grew up primarily in a neighborhood that the locals call Crow Valley, located roughly southwest from 2100 Nightingale, but his connection to that hood was strong through his father, who repped 2100, while Jaaybo's grandmother would continue to live in the neighborhood through Jaaybo's childhood.
All Mexicans. I grew up with all Mexicans, literally, in Crow Valley. For me, I'm from Nightingale, but I grew up in Crow Valley.
How far is that from Stockton?
Crip?
Yeah.
It's in Stockton. It's in the south. It's in the southeast.
Okay, so that's like a little subsection
down the
type.
street, Nightingale, but it's not like driving is close. But if you walking, you looking at like 20 minutes or something.
Okay.
But it's all in the south though. You feel me? But it's the southeast though. That's where I really grew up. You feel me? I grew up in Crip Valley, but my granny lived in Nightingale.
Other popular rappers from EBK include Young Slowby, who was making a lot of noise in the early 2020s, even getting features from artists like LA legend, the late Drakeo the Ruler, whose iconic rapping style Jaaybo and other EBK members would arguably be influenced by wholeheartedly. There's also EBK Young Jock, who used to do music together with the other EBK members under the group name EBK Hot Boys before he would have a falling out with Jaaybo and begin repping his own version of EBK, which for him stands for Every Brother Counts. Other key members include Jaaybo's brother, EBK Osama, who started the crew, EBK Juvie or Juvie Jew, EBK Backdoe, EBK Mad Max, EBK Baby Max, EBK Turtle, EBK Pig, EBK Lebo, EBK Lil Play, EBK Trey B, EBK Lil Sleaze, and many others. The following year, after EBK's first major police takedown, the law enforcement shifted their focus towards gangs who would become EBK's perhaps biggest enemies. But the FBI's interest in the murder would soon become crystal clear, because only a few days later, law enforcement would come out with Operation Boogeyman. This was a multi-agency operation which led to more than 70 arrests and was named after EBK Jaaybo's biggest song, the April 2024 hit Boogeyman. The operation targeted some of the most active and violent gangs in Stockton and included the arrests of many of the members mentioned in this video, including Nano MB, aka Luciano Guerrero, Bands, aka Raynico Flores, Flyboy Dougie, aka Billy Williams, and several others. It seems that the operation did also help to calm down the war between the Flyboys camp and the EBK and Lewis Park Alliance, at least temporarily, as the following 12 months would seemingly go by without either side losing any members to that war. For one particular participant in that war though, things would go from bad to worse. And only about a year into his rap career, Band's world would become crashing down when he was charged in January 2025 in connection with the 2019 murder of Lewis Park Blood affiliate Eli. Almost immediately, his ops celebrated the news as if he had died, a reaction that potentially spoke of how much of a threat that he was believed to be in the streets. That sentiment was echoed online too, where commenters suggested that the celebration meant that it was finally safe to go outside. Meanwhile, just a month later in February, EBK Jaaybo was released from prison after serving time on gun charges, and almost immediately controversy followed. And only a month later, a video surfaced online allegedly showing Jaaybo armed with a switch, a modification allowing a pistol to fire as an automatic machine gun.
Yeah, I mean, I really put on. I see where you at. Come pull up then. Come pull up then. What you talking about? Come pull up then. Hey, who got the Maybach key? But look.
Just one day later, he was swiftly arrested again, this time on drug and ammunition charges. By March the 20th, Jaaybo was out on bond, and on that very same day, he dropped one of the most aggressive tracks of the year, the infamous diss song F Everybody. In the song, Jaaybo openly dissed nearly all of his ops, including Flyboy members Black, FAD, Luce, Spaz, Shotter, and others, while also calling out his rivals from the north side. The lyrics included detailed claims of shootings, bounties put on people's heads, bodies left across Stockton, and other statements that closely mirrored real-world events. He even referenced popping someone from the north side, rapping that the person he shot said that he was on 8 and not 10. These being the exact same words that the north side rapper 500 Wante used in an interview to describe the incident of him being shot.
Like crazy thing, I ain't gonna lie, it's been popped though, I ain't gonna lie. Got up on me, you know what I'm saying? Let that foul happen, but I hit 6 times, ain't nothing. Keep your head on the swivel. Keep your pay attention. You know what I'm saying?
You think he was slipping?
I wasn't slipping, it was just this. I wasn't on 10, I was on 8.
The song also contained lines about betrayal, admitting to backdooring someone right after shaking their hand, and referenced how Flyboy's members were stressed following Luce's death. Next, he rapped about being desperate for another body. Taken together, the track came off as both disrespectful and reckless, especially given how recently Jaaybo had just been released from custody. Soon after, Jaaybo appeared publicly wearing 2 ankle monitors, and he explained to prolific streamer Plackboy Max that the double monitors were actually a condition of his release.
Was you right here?
Yeah, just put your foot up or something. All right. So that's the first joint. That's the second joint. Holy. Okay, so look, like, why 2? Like, what's the benefit of having 2? Like, they really trying.
No. Like,
they trying to track both your ankles.
If I was a boosie, I come on here and try to act just like I got 2 because I'm just hella donkey, bro. This one is pre-trial. So you feel me? This is just for when you catch a new case. Okay. Probation and parole. Okay. It ain't too much, bro. It ain't cause I'm Jaaybo. No. I'm on probation and I'm on parole. Being a gang.
So probation, parole.
That's all it is.
Okay, that makes
Both
sense.
of them feel like I should have an ankle monitor on 2 different agencies.
Okay, so that's why they're separate. Okay, that makes sense.
Because I went to prison and I got juvenile still, so I'm still on probation. So probation feel like I should have an ankle monitor, and parole feel like I should have an ankle monitor. And probation don't really care.
And then how long you got them on for?
They said parole said till 2027. But that's just what they say though, on blood. Nah, he ain't gonna have it on for that long though, but that's what.
That's annoying to wear?
Hell yeah, bro. Imagine having to sleep with that.
Yeah, I'm already know.
Bro, imagine, bro, imagine having to sleep this connected to the wall, blood, and the plug way over there.
Yeah.
Like, bro, jeez, blood.
Cause them bitches got to charge it.
That shit real, bro.
Damn, bro. You got to shower with that and everything?
Shower when you
Jaaybo was even spotted out in public charging his monitors.
EBK Jaaybo right here.
man.
Here at the Maximart, you know.
Yeah, he let me charge the ankle monitor up, man. Appreciate it, bro. I'm right here, man.
Chillin'.
We here chilling, man. Shout out St. Clair Market, man. We out here.
That's right.
Yo, EBK.
That's right.
However, that supervision didn't last long because just 2 months later, shortly after the life-changing announcement that Jaaybo would be part of NBA YoungBoy's Massa Tour as an opening act, those plans would be curtailed as Jaaybo was arrested again, this time all the way in Arkansas on drug and gun charges. Something that seemed particularly ironic given that Jaaybo actually had a song titled Out on Bail where he literally rapped about going to Arizona to buy guns from his plug. Initial reports alleged that Jaaybo and other EBK members had cut off their ankle monitors and left the state.
It was a bad excuse, by the way.
I don't believe this narrative. EBK Jaaybo was arrested after going on the run to make the XXL freshman shoot.
No. No.
Wait, he said that? I was on the way to y'all for the freshman XXL shoot. What? That doesn't. They're probably not shooting that for like a long time, right?
Yeah, no. That's not why he went on the run.
Yeah.
All he had to do was ask for permission from his PO. His PO was already giving him leeway.
Okay.
Yeah, so he had a lot of leeway from his PO. I don't know what made him cut off the ankle monitors, but I think it was just a lot of people that was around him.
Wow.
Despite the mounting legal pressure, Jaaybo was still named on the XXL freshman list.
Education plain fingers never recommended. He's still on business because his sentences got left in prison. And that's happening because I've been in that position.
Soon after this, reports would surface that he was facing up to 30 years if convicted, and by September 2025, court documents indicated that Jaaybo's trial had officially begun, but there have since been no public updates on the outcome of his case. But while the courts moved slowly, the streets did not, because the years-long war with the Fly Boys and Muddy Boys on one side, and EBK alongside the Westside Lewis Park Bloods on the other, was nearing its most devastating moment yet, one that would culminate in one of the most horrific mass shootings that Stockton had ever seen. Ominously, it was none other than EBK Jaaybo who would seemingly give a premonition about what was about to transpire, specifically mentioning in his February 2025 song The Biggest G how Bands' dissing had got his homies smoked, and how that dissing was going to get everyone hit, before adding how Nano MB specifically should be worried. But as the summer approached, it seemed like he might be finally finding his balance, managing to stay out of jail for over a month. But what nobody knew was that Independence Day 2025 will become the most dangerous day of 4Extra's life, when all of his success that he had worked so hard to build would suddenly be in jeopardy off the back of a single devastating decision. July the 4th, 2025 was a big night for Los Angeles residents. For millions of Americans, Independence Day meant celebrating freedom with family, barbecues, parades, and spectacular firework displays lighting up the night sky. I was lucky enough to be in Los Angeles for this year's 4th of July, and I was honestly blown away by how serious people were taking it. It was nothing but explosions in the sky all night long, and it was like nothing I'd ever seen before in English bonfire night or New Year's. Americans take this stuff to another level, and I was genuinely scared by how huge some of these explosions in the sky were. For 4Extra, it was supposed to be another day of celebration, content creation, and connecting with his community. Beyond America's birthday, he had every reason to celebrate. His music career was gaining traction, his social media following was growing, and he had finally found a way to channel his larger-than-life personality into something more positive, gaining hundreds of thousands of followers and lucrative deals worth tens of thousands. There had even been talks about 4Extra landing a big money boxing matchup, with it being possible that an even better opponent than King Pill or 607 Unk could have been just round the corner, as well as rumors of a possible matchup with another internet motormouth Aaron the Plumber, who 4Extra had clearly been keen on meeting up with in the ring, with Adam 22 seemingly working in the background trying to find a way to make this actual fight happen, apparently even getting offers from guys like the streamer Aiden Ross.
Are you going to be able to go to Florida? Aiden Ross wanted him on his most recent card, and I guess they're doing another one. They want him on it. They kind of want you to fight Aaron the Plumber, which would be an epic.
Wait, who?
You don't know him?
Oh, man.
Who is he? Aaron the Plumber is a dude from Stockton. He says that he doesn't gangbang, so I guess he doesn't have a formal set. He kind of is from the pimping world. At one point, he got 30 years. He ended up doing 5 years. He is, I'm not saying he's as big and tough as you, but he is a big, tough dude.
He got squabs.
He'd be on a lot of reality shows fighting people, and he's hella viral right now, and the people love him. So I'm going to pull up a photo of him so you can get a look at him, but Aaron the I guess he's a real plumber too.
I feel like that's a big money fight. Aaron the plumber versus.
No, that's for sure, yeah.
Basically, 4Extra was living his best life, trying to get more viral moments to keep his rise coming, and he was on the cusp of breakthroughs. Online, 4Extra had been seen filming more content in a strip mall, showing love to the people in his hood.
Bitches back to back. I'm in Forest dead homies and I'm getting chipped. Little bitch in the hood.
Hey, do your big one.
Baby mama on the side cause she mad as shit.
Get it in.
Right, I'm getting it in. Daddy though. In the hood on the block where I'm at though.
Cameras rolled as he interacted with his community, his infectious energy on full display.
Yes, this early. 4 4 times 10.
In one viral moment that circulated just before the tragedy, 4Extra attempted a high kick that sent him tumbling to the ground, much to the amusement of the people around.
Easy. Y'all think you can do it?
Easy all day. All day he got it. He got that. I don't got that. He got that. Come on, boys.
Right now,
This was the kind of fearless, spontaneous, and unfiltered moment of comedy that had made him so popular. This excitement carried into the 4th of July, and 4Extra wasn't planning on celebrating with just some sparklers. He had big plans. As the day progressed, he posted a video of himself shopping for fireworks and joking about his big plans to blow big things up.
Vernon Avenue, if you know, then you know. On Vernon Avenue, if you know, then you know. On Vernon Ave, if you know, then you know. On Vernon Ave, if you know, then you know. If you know, then you know. I'm about to blow somebody else up tonight. I'm about to blow somebody else up. I'm gonna throw this. I'm about to blow somebody else up. I don't know who else I'm gonna blow up, but I'm blowing somebody else up. On Vernon Avenue, I'm blowing something up. Yeah, Vernon Avenue. You see this mother Vernon Ave. Mean I'm blowing something up today. Told him. Stop playing on Vernon Ave.
Wherever he decided to shop for fireworks was serious business, and their stock went far beyond your run-of-the-mill Roman candles and bottle rockets. He wanted M80s, military-grade explosives that had no business being in civilian hands. But what he didn't fully grasp in that moment was just how dangerous these explosives truly were.
Blowing up today. Over the back, I'm blowing it up. Stop playing CDs. I'm throwing them in your house. I'm throwing them at you. Vernon Avenue, the back. I'm blowing your ass up. I'm blowing somebody up today off the back.
You see, M80s were originally military artillery simulators designed in the early 20th century for training exercises. After World War II, leftover military M80s would find their way into the consumer market, but even consumer versions contained approximately 3 grams of flash powder, an enormous amount of explosive material. To put this into perspective, authorities limit all consumer fireworks to a maximum of just 50 milligrams of pyrotechnic flash powder. That's to say M80s contain 60 times that amount, making their destructive potential in civilians' hands so much worse, with a documented history of gruesome injuries that your parents may well have warned you about. For instance, back in 2000, a man in his late 30s had to undergo hand transplant surgery after a fireworks accident more than a decade earlier had destroyed his dominant hand, and unfortunately for 4Extra, he was about to suffer the same fate. As evening fell across LA, 4Extra had prepared to light up the night in his own unique way. Armed with his M80s and riding high on the adrenaline of the day's festivities, he likely never imagined that he was about to become another statistic in the long history of firework tragedies. One viral video later circulated showing 4Extra being extremely reckless with a smaller set of fireworks, as he was seen running in the street firing a succession of fireworks without aim and putting the people around him in terror. Fortunately, it seemed that nobody else was hurt as a result of that particular set of explosives, but it showed that perhaps 4Extra wasn't taking the danger of this arsenal seriously. It's been reported that 4Extra may have been in a car where he intended to light the M80 and throw it out of the window.
What I heard, he was actually in the car and he was lighting the firework, about to throw it out the window, and his homie was driving, and that's why his homie, I think, may have lost an ear, this part of his face, and an eye. Now, I'm not even 100% sure who the friend is. I don't know if it's somebody that he's ever like brought to the office or somebody that I've ever spent time around, but and then in addition, 4Extra, I think it being, you know, contained was probably worse for whatever happened to his vision, because of the fact that they were in a car, and I guess the window was probably down, but the, you know, the roof and everything is going to kind of contain the blow. I I don't know.
However, according to some, this unit may have had a faulty fuse, as it's believed that this M80 exploded almost immediately, causing catastrophic injuries to both 4Extra and his passenger. The M80 detonated in his right hand with the force of a quarter stick of dynamite, blowing off his fingers and tearing through flesh, with a particularly gruesome picture of the injury going viral all over the world, showing 4Extra sat on the ground attempting to stop the bleeding and assessing his injury in shock. Within minutes, 911 operators received a frantic call reporting that someone had severely injured their hand with fireworks.
3899 requesting additional unit and supervisor 43rd in Vermont.
3899, can I get an RA for a male approximately 30 years of age, conscious and breathing, Blueface for the fireworks?
3899, repeat.
And then location. Turn 31 is in route to the additional unit request.
4Extra would be pictured being taken away from the scene in an ambulance and quickly being rushed to the hospital where he would undergo emergency surgery. As the story went viral all over the world, it sparked endless speculation about the extent of the damages. According to people close to him, he had lost multiple fingers and suffered severe palm damage.
They're gonna have to take him all the way down to the wrist.
Yeah, he about to have a nub.
They gotta take him to the wrist. Cause they told me, his homies that was there said it blew off his 2 middle fingers, the 3 middle fingers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's fingers and a thumb, something like that. I think like the thumb and another finger. There's only 2 fingers left.
The blast had also temporarily blinded him for about 2 hours. In the age of social media, 4Extra's accident didn't remain private for long. His accident would become the subject of multiple news stories, and within hours, images of similar M80 hand injuries began circulating online, giving people a visceral understanding of the destructive power of these illegal explosives. The public response was also swift and merciless, with countless memes and jokes flooding the internet. But it wasn't just the general public mocking him, his ops and enemies would also use this as ammunition against him. King Pill accused the injury of being AI generated, claiming that 4Extra was faking it for attention.
Listen everyone, on another episode of the Pill Talk, we have faking like they blew their hands off. We all know that that's AI, man. He's out here using AI technology and you can't believe you see on the internet, man. Let's be real.
607 Unk also made a post seemingly hinting at doing voodoo on 4Extra and bringing about his bad luck.
Out there on the West Coast, they blew his hand off, man.
You know what happened? I'm put that voodoo on his.
I'm put that 607 voodoo on.
Yeah, he put that voodoo on his. So they better quit playing. Okay, he put that voodoo on his.
Other internet personalities like Aaron the Plumber would also jump on the troll train, mocking and challenging 4Extra to a handball match.
Tell 4Nubs I challenge him to a handball match. Let's see who can juggle better in a real way.
Even members of the Rollin' 40s decided to kick 4Extra while he was down, with one person posting how he was never really part of their hood. Even fellow famous 40X4 would call him from jail to make fun of 4Extra's injury and using his catchphrase against him.
Playing with them explosives and blew his off. Dead homies and blew his motherfucking hand off, cuz. Come on, cuz. Told you not to play with them explosives, cuz. On West Side 40, dead homies. He wearing them explosives off the back. Hey, on the dead homies. Ain't no more taking over the beehive down. They gonna beat your stupid. Hey, I'm gonna put one hand behind my back and cover, cuz. You wanna say? Off the back. Yeah, he got one hand, good. That's funny. Hey, you know the Family Guy with the stick hand? Got the stick hand on Family Guy, cuz, on the dead homie. That's hilarious, cuz. Karma is real. That's the kind of smut this Crip. I ain't never been a PC a day in my life with the dead homies. I'm a high power Crip, 3100, Baker Road, stupid. Dead homies. Karma struck quick. God spit the block for me. Off the back, 3D. Dead homies, alright.
Despite the hate and mockery, 4Extra still had people in his corner. His pregnant girlfriend posted hospital updates, trying to maintain hope despite the gravity of the situation. In messages preserving his fighting spirit, she claimed that he said despite the injury, he'd still be able to fight and put hands on people, with a viral comment of hers claiming that he would still be putting belt to ass even with this injury. His sister Emily opened a GoFundMe to help with medical expenses, raising over $13,000. And even Baton Rouge rap superstar Kevin Gates pulled up on 4Extra in hospital to check up on him. He would record a clip with Baby Runner from the 40s who called him a real one and said that the streets love Kevin Gates for the support that he's shown.
Right here with KG, man. I know the deal, man. Real came here, that's my brother, man. I respect that. Streets love you, man. For real. Straight up. Gangland, man. They bud. Pull that 38 on cuz.
Another Instagram carousel would circulate, taken only 6 days after the incident, with 4Extra joined in the hospital by his day one homies, telling fans that he was making a fast recovery and that God is good. Fortunately, 4Extra survived this incident, and despite this serious looking injury, it was only a matter of days before he was outside of the hospital, and clearly the injury didn't stop his hustle, because his first appearance on social media since being discharged was clearly a nice payday for him. In this comeback video, he would be seen inside of a clothing store with his hand in a cast, promoting the clothing brand Blue Strips LA.
Vernon Avenue, back there. West Side 40s, and I come to Blue Strips, because that's what I'm going to get. Blue Strips. That's all I get on Vernon Avenue. Off the back, that's all I get is Blue Strips. Dead homies. I don't know what it thought. Dead homies when I'm back on 40s in the hood. You know I 4-0, I'm back. Dead homies, I'm back. Getting blues. I came right down here and pick this one for a reason, because I get Blue Strips. That's all my pockets is filled with. Blue Strips on West Side 40s. I'm back. Stay tuned to the interview too before I f your tonight.
After this likely lucrative payday, it didn't take long for 4Extra to pop out with more content on his Instagram. His next post later that day would be another touching image of him back in his home, resting his head on his girlfriend's pregnant belly with a caption reading, "Life of a Soldier." That was followed by what everybody was waiting for, with 4Extra then posting another video which saw him delivering a heartfelt message, thanking his supporters and fans and updating them on where he's at with things and promising to come back stronger than ever.
Off the back, Crenshaw the Fig, Vernon Avenue, I'm back. Off the back, I'm back on Vernon Ave. Dead homies, but I came to make this video for all my supporters and all my fans, and to everybody that show love and gave support around this world. That's what I came to make this video for everybody around this world. On Vernon Avenue, I had to make this motherfucking video for all the supporters and all my fans around the world. Off the back on the dead homies, just for every real around the world and every real female around the world, and to all the little kids that show support around the world. On Vernon Avenue, off the back, I gotta show y'all support and give my respect to y'all. On the dead homies, I love y'all. That's off the back, off my back, off the back. Off the back, I ain't gonna stop saying it. That's from my heart. On the dead homies, on Vernon Avenue Crip, dead homies. Thank you for all your support, for all your love, for being here from around this world, everybody from around this world, for every real good, every real female, for being there for me, supporting, showing up, showing your love. To everybody in the industry that showed your love, that showed your support. Shout out to Kevin Gates that had pulled up a real Vernon Avenue on the dead homies. You forever locked in on Vernon Avenue, on hood. To every mother real around this world that shot me out, from the end of the street to the ghetto, to the blocks, to the streets, to the schools. On the hood, I love you. On Vernon Avenue, the back, on the dead homies. That's real female shit. On the dead homies, on the hood. And I always say, love it like you love it. I had to love that one, and I'm healing up quick. I'm healing up quicker than stink. So on Vernon Avenue, the dead homies, you better be ready, because this the only thing it did was open doors and make me a more animal.
From here, 4Extra would seemingly be happy to be back outside and continue posting. He would be seen in the studio reportedly recording his first verse and promising followers that the only thing that's changed since the accident is that the numbers are going up.
Back at it. I said again.
Back
what?
At it.
Vernon Avenue. All the mother way.
What they thought was gonna change?
I don't know what they thought they changed. Matter of fact, something did change.
What?
The motherfucking numbers, cuz.
Yeah,
what
they do?
This made me worse, cuz.
Yeah,
10 times worse. So when you call me on hood, make sure you call me correct.
A clip would later circulate teasing a snippet from his comeback song, where he told the story of what was going through his mind when he suffered the injury and how it affected his mental state.
They didn't up and let me alive. They didn't up. Say they done up. And they done left me alive. And I done woke up out the hospital and I done woke up alive.
Interestingly, he would use his buzz to promote his close friends from his neighborhood's music, popping out with a shout out for his homie Izzy Loke, who just released a new song.
Vernon Avenue, Crenshaw the Fig, neighborhood Crip. That's some of the dead homies, cuz. The hood, the homie cuz, Izzy Loke, cuz on West Side Rolling. Cuz me up, cuz on West Side Rolling. He like cuz on neighborhood Crip. Got this sick song cuz I just did. I'm like, I just did a sick ass song. He like, no, cuz. First off, cuz, I'm glad you alive and you well, cuz. I'm like, neighborhood, cuz, I'm rolling. He like, cuz, but I got this sick cuz. I want you to promote for me. I'm like, cuz, come on, cuz. He like, I'm telling you, it's sick on West Side Rolling. I'm like, let me hear it. Cuz, let me hear it on West Side Rolling. I had to make this for cuz. I had to, cuz. I'm like, what's the name of the song? Cuz said True Ether. I'm like, hold on. Ain't that's like Kryptonite is version for Kryptonite, cuz? Like with Superman and them? He like, yeah, cuz on neighborhood Crip. I'm like, cuz sick. I'm like, on Best Side Roller, cuz sick.
4Extra had clearly not lost his positive energy, and he would continue to post himself outside enjoying the LA summer with his friend, not letting this injury stop him one bit.
This right here, I'm just trying to figure out, hey, can let me use like $1 million or something? Can I use $1 million now? Hey, can I use... I tell it on Vernon Avenue, I dress every day like my C-Day. I'm just trying to figure it out. Hey, can I use $1 million back there, cuz? Hey, cuz, let me hold like 10. Let me hold like 10, cuz. Could I hold 10? $2. Baby. Baby,
From here, he would continue tapping in with new people, next getting a tour of the re-entry podcast studios with Miss Contrary, continuing speculation about where his podcast career would be going next.
Oh, you the boss? Yeah. I gotta go with us.
Yeah,
I gotta go with us.
You wanna give him a quick tour of the studio real fast? Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. You wouldn't even know it was all back here.
He all down Vernon with the girl over here, holding out on the east side. Been through too much. Let's go then. Let me get on one.
We need our engineers, but we gonna show you everything.
This started all over this, and then I go to jail the next time, and I'm in jail and I hear this on the radio. But I'm glad for success. I'm glad he on. I'm glad he. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad he out here making a difference over here in this area.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? He turning a negative into a positive on the east side. You get what I'm saying? So I'm proud of him.
The injury clearly could not stop 4Extra's immaculate crippin', as he would then post another video carousel in a fresh fit, blue head to toe, and throwing up the set. He would also be spending more and more time in the studio, being seen recording and teasing a verse that he had recorded with buzzing rapper Blanco 15.
Like slipping dope. What you say? Passes dope. It's a slap. In the streets though. Look in the hood, sick though. Running down in the hood, we is sick though. Walk up on blow your face.
Unfortunately though, one of the saddest consequences of this incident was the strain that it seemed to put on the relationship between Adam 22 of No Jumper and 4Extra. Naturally, this being huge news all over the world, considering 4Extra's position as one of the most beloved recurring guests on No Jumper, Adam and the cast would immediately react to the tragic news, with Adam 22 taking to No Jumper News 3 days after the incident to update fans on 4Extra's condition and speculating on his potential return.
I have joined the news because, let's be real, something happened over the weekend. Okay. 4Extra blew his hand off. And obviously, this was an extremely viral thing to have taken place. In particular, I think because of the fact that he has essentially built his entire name off of, you know, threatening violence, saying that he wanted to pack people out, claiming that he won 10 fights in a row in jail, well, he never claimed that he put a carrot in his butt, but we all kind of, or in someone else's butt, we all kind of know that he probably did. And it took the internet by storm. And it was even crazier that it was 4th of July weekend. It was, everybody had plenty of time on the internet. Everybody's looking at their phones, hanging out with their families. And all of a sudden we find out that someone who in many people's minds was the most viral No Jumper host of all time, many would say, was now a man without a hand. And there were a lot of insensitive reactions to it that I'm sure we all saw. A famous gang member, a famous icon in this space, somebody that the people are so intrigued by, they'll just click on hearing him talk about so many different things. And now to know that a large part of his claim to fame is gone, I mean, I honestly kind of feel like I just lack the words to even describe how crazy and and messed up the situation is, you know?
In the live, Adam revealed that he'd not spoken to 4Extra yet, confirming that he had sent well wishes and a voice note, and that he'd been getting updates from his manager Lupe, and expressing disappointment that he had offered to go to the hospital but had been told that he wasn't taking guests, only to find out that Kevin Gates had then been allowed to visit.
Have you spoke to him?
I have not. I sent him a voice note. I've been speaking to Lupe. It's like group chat with me, Lupe, and Whack and Remo that has been kind of our main way that we've been finding stuff out. I know Remo's hopped on the phone with Lupe a couple times, but I have not actually spoken to him. Although I offered to go to the hospital this morning and was told that he's not going to be having guests at this time. And then I did see Kevin Gates there. So that was
shows you where you stand.
That was a little troubling. No, and
that was like a day ago.
That was like yesterday. The same. Yeah. I offered to come today, but anyway, like Whack was in the group chat, so Whack was tripping on Lupe, like, how dare you let Kevin Gates go there and Adam can't go there. I'm like, damn, I wouldn't have even thought to raise a stink about that.
Clearly there was some animosity brewing between Adam and 4Extra as a result of this. Adam likely felt that prior to this incident he had done a lot to help 4Extra, not just putting him on at No Jumper as a host, but also rumoured to have been paying him a significant monthly fee to appear on the show. So Adam was hurt that 4Extra hadn't accepted his offer to visit, but sadly their relationship would only deteriorate further when Inglewood family blood, an apparent enemy of 4Extra and another regular on No Jumper, Munchie B, would share his thoughts on the incident. Munchie had already taken the opportunity to rub salt in the wound, taking to his own YouTube channel just 2 days after the accident to make some tasteless jokes about 4Extra's injury. In a video on his channel titled 4Extra Go Out With a Boom on the 4th of July, Munchie would address the situation, saying that 4Extra can no longer fight, but also saying that he shouldn't back down on the gangster talk with this injury, pointing out that even after getting shot and losing his sight himself, Munchie B is still outside and standing on business for his set.
I hope you keep the same energy, hand or no hand, you know what I'm saying? Because it's 40 Crip till you die, not till your hand get blown off, you know what I'm saying? So keep the same energy, because I do it. So I don't want to hear all the BS, you know what I'm saying? I got shot, done my vision. Guess what? Still outside. Still outside. Still B-teaming, podcasting, making music, doing whatever I want to do. I got the same energy from before I got shot to right now.
Munchie would go on to make a series of disrespectful puns about 4Extra's injury.
And everybody heard the latest and the greatest with 4Extras. He won't be giving out no phase. Yeah, as for 4Extras, I wish I could give you a hand. I mean, I wish I could help you out in this situation, but you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, you in trouble, B-team. Hey, look, I got a little joke, right? Look, what did the robber say to 4Extras during a robbery? Hand it over. Hey, yo, we go with Felly. Oh, hey, no. I got one more. Hold on. What did the young lady say when she approached 4Extras in a party? You look bomb. Oh, I don't care if y'all think it's funny. I think it's funny. Yo, we go with Felly, bro. Talked all that shit. Oh, bless. See how life work? Crazy, ain't it?
This was already a very disrespectful way to handle the issue, but at this point Munchie was on his own channel with his own personal issues with 4Extra. But 4Extra would feel personally slighted when Adam asked Munchie his thoughts on the situation on the No Jumper platform. In another episode of the news, where it seemed that Adam accidentally ended up making jokes about the situation without realizing it, with Munchie B bringing attention to the disrespect.
We all saw it explode onto the internet. A lot of people thought it was fake. We could talk about that too, but it turns
really
out.
Just say explode onto the internet.
Look, crazy, man.
See, that's the problem, man, because even
you can't say nothing, huh?
Exactly. I already had somebody tell me, "Oh, why you dressed up like the firecracker that blew his hand up?" I'm like, God damn, I can't even put a tie-dye shirt on without somebody coming up with a narrative.
People crazy, man.
Anyway,
I seen you donated $1,000. You're gonna get that new robot thing going, huh? AI technology.
That's the government. See, look how bad this looks already. People are trying to get me to laugh, crack jokes.
Adam would go on to ask the room their thoughts on the situation and made it very clear that both Munchie B and King Pill had issues with 4Extra from the outset, and giving them the floor to disrespect 4Extra and justify their reasons for being so disrespectful, with a debate then taking place on whether or not it should be expected for the ops to make fun of each other when they get hurt, with it being revealed that Baby Runner had apparently admonished Munchie B for dissing 4Extra and acting like someone had scored a point against him rather than him suffering a tragic accident.
4Extra's lost his hand. Man, let's talk about it. How did you first feel when you saw it? At least some people here in the room, let's be totally real, some people here have a dog in the fight. Munchie had been going back and forth with him, on him, saying that he wasn't all he was cracked up to be. And then in addition to that, King Pill had been turned down for a fight, and 4Extras actually said that you were a smoker, that you were not worthy of getting in the ring with him, etc.
Yeah.
I can't help but feel like it probably hit Shaw slightly different than it hit other people.
Oh yeah, man. I was thinking it was AI at first. You feel me? I'm like, man, this gotta be AI. You
Like
feel
8
me?
hours after it came out, he was still hitting me up like, y'all really want us to believe this?
Man,
I'm
I'm thinking it finna come out the bag, off the bag. Talking about I'm back. I didn't believe that.
Okay.
So I'm like, I think the Fade God did that. You know, everybody pray to a God that they pray to. And when you one of these fighters, unknowingly, you might be praying to these fight gods. And when you turn the Fade down, you gotta suffer a consequence.
Man, there's gotta
That's
be.
what I thought about at the crib when I was faded.
You thought that it was? You think it's karma from the Fade God?
There has to be a rapper going.
I'm so glad I asked you. Listen, I actually gave Munchie B credit on the news yesterday. There's a clip of me talking about this when I first came in Monday, and I said how Munchie B didn't disrespect For Extra, and then a lot of people were pointing out, no, Adam, you got that wrong. Munchie absolutely was making jokes as soon as this happened.
I don't think genuinely that Munchie went as hard as he could have. You feel me? Like,
I mean, let's ask the mayor himself.
Selective politicking.
How do you?
Yeah, hell yeah. Because
Who said selective politicking? It ain't selective politicking. You know what? I said. Only let me just get out the way real quick. Like I said, only thing when I seen it, right. When I seen Munchie B, little jokes and all that, like I said, yeah, he could have went way harder. But like I said, when I seen the jokes, I was surprised. I was like, I didn't think Munchie would hop out there like that. You feel me? And like a few people, that's just my opinion. Like, did Munchie do something wrong? Like I told Munchie Munchie, like, I did something wrong. I'm like, no, you ain't did nothing wrong. Who am I to say you did something wrong? Like at the end of the day, like you can't tell nobody how to mourn or how to handle disrespect or how to taunt a person that's supposed to be an enemy, or that you say but you know, just like I said, you know, I'm like, I wouldn't have did it, but like shit, hey, like, I can't get mad. I'm not mad, but
why people don't hold their own homies accountable when they do like things that ain't tasteful on the internet? You know what I'm saying? He do know it's a little dude on the internet programming from a cell that got a YouTube channel that blasted my social number all on his content. I didn't cry about it. And okay, he said, they acting like they came through and shot the homie. Whoop. Nah, we ain't acting like that.
Like people is celebrating like they came through and downed him, or they put in some work on him. And a firecracker did it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say like the families or try to reference that. Bro, he said that's just how people will celebrate.
Bro, they do the same thing with this blind with me, bro, in the 40s and
I said that as well.
That was my whole thing.
If you on the internet, bro, your skin gotta be thicker than the Montclair coat for sure. Like all that being sensitive for y'all homie, that's out. He entered this content, and then the thing is, they took out of the whole video, they took these two little bush jokes and highlighted that. But I'm saying, I hope he keep the same energy. Don't let it hinder him, because it ain't hinder me. I Ubered up here by myself before. I'm still podcasting, rapping. If I call a meeting in the hood, a lot of people will come. Just carry on, because how you is right now, that's what it is, bro. So get used to it. Nah. All that crying, I don't want to hear that shit.
Could y'all imagine what he would have been like if it was somebody that he ain't with? He would have been on here laughing like a.
Okay, but to just shoot him some bail, he never really engaged with all that too much. Like
I didn't like that. And I held back, and the only reason why I brought it up that one day because it fit the conversation. But all I ain't Munchie B. What the f you mean? And then if I'm trying to act like that ain't a knock on nobody. Then my
bad too, because because I didn't,
and I'm like, I'm not young Ant. I'm kicking him.
Yeah,
it's a knock on him. And then they forget that said he'd knock me out. Because all I said was, you're lying. You didn't do what you said to the homie. And he said, and much you know. If I would have ran across, I would have knocked you out too. I didn't say nothing about that. That's cool. I mean, whatever. But you ain't never said nothing about much. Yeah, he did. I just didn't speak up on it. I just put it in my memory bank and kept it pushing. But they not be so sensitive.
Nah, facts. Because I mean, even with me, like I've had infinite jokes about T-Rail and his little baby arm. I've had a million jokes about, I don't know, other people who got or whatever. And it's like, I wouldn't ever make a joke about Munchie not being able to see. But then at the same time, it's like, it's kind of hard to like blame everybody for making jokes about For Extra when we all have, we've all kind of done the same thing to various people that we don't like. And then we kind of, like, we could hold ourselves to a different standard as people that with 4 Extra. Well, me and you, Lush,
Yeah, I voted for
to a certain extent. But, you know, for a lot of other people, it's very understandable that they're going to come with the most offensive possible.
Honestly, I'm really rooting for him on some bounce back.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Just keep the same energy and don't let it hinder you. I mean,
So Munchie believed that since 4 Extra disrespected him in the past, then he was justified in mocking his injuries. And Munchie would go on to stand on his points, saying that he didn't agree with Baby Runner and said that in this new generation of the streets, people are extremely disrespectful and this sort of thing should be expected.
Runner was saying like,
No.
you didn't agree with his points.
Hell no. I didn't agree with nothing. This a new generation smoking on ops, all kind of shit. And then they acting like he a little girl that got hit by a drunken driver. This ain't that, bro. Look. This the same dude that said he beat up on somebody just because they from Inglewood. He on gangbang just because they live in my neighborhood, bro. It's hard to have compassion for somebody like that. Oh yeah, no, you everybody affiliated with somebody. That don't mean they gangbangers. Just because they live in my hood, you whooped on them. And he said this on the internet for everybody repeatedly.
Despite the fact that Adam kind of tried to defend 4 Extra and seemed to make it clear that he didn't condone the disrespect, Adam would go on to explain that 4 Extra's people were upset with him and 4 Extra's manager Lupe for sharing information about the possibility of him being blind to the public, something that Adam thought he was being told to communicate to the fans.
I don't know, like, all right, I just want to issue this clarification before we even get any further into this discussion, is that basically I put out a statement basically where I said that I had heard that he lost his vision, but then most of it came back. And from what I heard, people are basically like people in 4 Extra's family or like her camp or whatever, they're mad at Lupe because they feel like Lupe was the one who told us that he even like lost his vision in the first place. In reality, Lupe was basically like avoiding telling me anything. She told me, yeah, like maybe his vision was bad at first, but like he got it back or whatever, which I actually don't really believe. I have various reasons, but I feel like his vision is still very f***ed up. If anything, I think Lupe lied to me and told me that his vision had gotten significantly better.
Well, but the family's telling you to say that.
But I talked to her earlier, and she sounded very upset because I guess that she got like a bunch of backlash from people that are close to him, family, etc., because they're kind of just like assuming that she's the one who said something to me about his vision in the first place. A lot of the information that we've been getting, because we haven't been like really in direct communication with people that are like super close to him, but a lot of the communication that we're getting is kind of like from third party, like one person says it to someone else and then that person mentions it and then I hear about it, etc. So I mean, I just want to say anybody who's acting like Lupe is the problem or that Lupe was trying to expose private information about 4 Extra or whatever, that narrative is cap. So I just want to throw that out there first.
It would turn out that 4 Extra would take this incredibly personally, and he didn't like that Adam had given an enemy of his a platform to talk about his injury disrespectfully, with Adam later revealing that 10 days after the accident that he'd finally got a call from 4 Extra, but it didn't seem on friendly terms, with 4 Extra apparently admonishing Adam for allowing Munchie to speak ill upon him on the No Jumper platform and suspiciously inviting Adam to discuss the matter in person at a studio, a scenario that Adam quickly deduced was likely a trap that could have resulted in physical harm.
I did speak to 4 Extras on the phone on Friday. Now, I will reveal to the people, he was not 100% happy with me. He felt like it was weak for me to be on a podcast with people that he perceives as ops and to ask them what they thought about the situation with his blowing up of his hand. And I get that because realistically, you know, this is an op-friendly podcast. There's a lot of people on here who certain people get along with, don't get along with. Sarah, I think he even felt a way about King Pill being on the podcast. We can get into that Zest arc in a moment and everything, but he did feel a way about that, and it was a little bit of a threatening or like an angry vibe to it. Like, pull up on me in the studio. I want to talk to you. Just me and you. I want to talk to you. And I'm like, ooh, what are you doing 4 Extra? Why you acting like that? Why you acting like you're a little mad at me? What is that? And he's like, nah, just pull up to the studio. I want to talk to you. And I kept pushing, and that's when he revealed that at least the thing that he wanted to mention that he was annoyed by was me talking to people that he doesn't get along with about his hand or whatever. My response to that really is like, bro, we talk about current events. You blowing up your hand was the biggest thing of that week. I'm on a podcast with people that you don't technically get along with. We talking about it. I'm sorry, man. That's just how this goes. Anyway, the next day, and I haven't spoken to him since then. I actually gave him a call this morning, and he didn't pick up. I don't know how late he's sleeping in at this point. But the next day, I got contacted by 2 different people in this content space who told me that they had conversations with him about his request to be paid handsomely for an interview. They both informed me that they spoke to him, that they turned him down, and then they told me how the conversation went. I didn't reach out for this information. They just reached out to me. So 4Extra is out there digging for gold, trying to find someone who wants to invest in his comeback tale. As far as if his return interview will be on No Jumper, I don't know. I'm waiting to speak to him. So I will have to leave you guys in wait for that information.
Aside from this apparently aggressive conversation and attempted jumping, Adam would also share that 4Extra was not intending to host his comeback interview on No Jumper, and instead was shopping his return interview for a reported price of $50,000, initially contacting DJ Vlad, who apparently declined the big ticket offer.
He reached out to 2 people in this space that we know.
He definitely reached out to Vlad, and Vlad was not feeling it. Vlad said that when he requested that he didn't even make him a counter offer because he just felt like it was so outlandish that it was just not even close.
He's standing on that 50 bands.
I mean, he's shooting for the 50 bands. I don't know where he's gonna land, but for sure. Then I mean, I assume he does one high-priced interview maybe at some point, and then he comes and speaks to me afterwards and tells me, "Oh, let's get back to a regular content schedule." But the thing about it is that it's like, you know, if he's playing hardball, I'm playing hardball. So when it comes time to renegotiate, who knows where we land. So you know, the people out there, you can all wait. You'll find out more information in the near future, but that's where I'm at as far as the 4Extra return.
Unfortunately, it seems that Adam took this as a betrayal, and he made his feelings known that he wouldn't be willing to increase the price that he was paying 4Extra, considering what he was already paying him before this to be an already generous price.
I personally found that annoying. But also, listen, if 4Extra wants to go get his money somewhere, by all means. Will that affect negotiations as far as how his future on No Jumper looks? Probably, yeah.
As it stands, it seems that both Adam and 4Extra are being stubborn on their positions, and it's hard to see how they're going to repair this situation. As a fan of both of them, it's heartbreaking to see such a misunderstanding coming off the back of a tragic incident, and I truly hope that both of them can patch things up and return to doing what they both do best together, making more of the kind of engaging content that made fans fall in love with 4Extra and his infectious personality to begin with. Like I said in the beginning, for those who truly knew 4Extra's story, the irony of this accident was almost too profound to comprehend. This was a man who'd survived attempted murder charges at 12 years old, who'd stared down rival gang members from LA's deadliest sets, who had walked out of a maximum security prison after nearly a decade behind bars and lived to tell the tale. Yet in the end, it wasn't a rival gang member's bullet that incapacitated him, it wasn't a prison yard stabbing or a RICO case or any of the countless other dangers that had defined his life. Notorious for his fighting hands, it was an unthinkable freak accident that threw his entire persona up into the air. We've covered countless stories from the streets where the lesson at the end is how senseless the tit-for-tat gang wars can become, but this story took a turn that was so unexpected, many people still don't know how to process this. In a video that I made reacting to the news on my second channel, I put out a heartfelt message that perhaps in the midst of this tragedy, this could end up being the best thing that ever happened to 4Extra, as the silver lining of this very tragic incident is that it may just force him to take a step back from the streets and the squabbles and focus on his truly biggest talent, his personality, his music, and his podcasting, all of these being gifts that aren't hindered at all by this injury. I'm really sad and hurt over what's happened, but I also think that I'm really hoping, I'm praying that something good comes out of this. I'm definitely, like, this is a bad situation through and through. There isn't any way that you can see this situation as a positive or something good coming out of this. But what I will say is that I do think that some things happen for a reason. Sometimes God works in very unusual, mysterious ways. And I do think that maybe, I think if 4Extra comes out of this with the right mindset, which I know he has, I know he's a positive guy, I know he's a switched on guy, he was in the process of changing his life, and this doesn't have to change any of that. So I just wanted to share kind of my thoughts and just a Reddit thread that I actually saw that I thought was really interesting, and it kind of spoke to me, and it really made me realize like how big of an opportunity this actually could be for 4Extra in a sad way. But I think the best thing we can do is look at this positively moving forward, and I'm really wishing that we can see this in a positive way. So somebody posted this on No Jumper Reddit. Unpopular opinion, but this devastating incident might have just added decades to his lifespan. Blessing in disguise. Now this really made me think, because honestly, 4 Extras is the butt of the joke right now. Everybody's like, oh, you know, all of that fighting talk, now you lost your hand. Well, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. I don't think it's cool. I don't think you score any points for your op getting injured in a freak accident and not being able to fight anymore. That's not tough. There's no cool points, tough points from doing that. And realistically, 4 Extra was changing his life. He just got out of jail again. He was planning on completely changing his life, getting out of the streets, staying away from the streets, focusing on the content and the podcasting. Yeah, there was talk of him doing a boxing match. Highly likely that that's not possible now. But really what people had fallen in love with was 4 Extra's personality. They'd fallen in with 4 Extras as a character, as a personality, as this big ball of energy that you just put him in front of a mic and a camera and he just created absolute magic. And I don't think that's going to change. If anything, I think that's going to shine even brighter. I think 4 Extra is somebody that can take things in his stride. He's taken losses in his life before. He's had serious cases. He's had dealt with going in and out of the prison system, winning fades, losing fades. I think he's a resilient man. I think he's going to be able to bounce back from this stronger than ever. I think this might make him a better podcaster. This might increase his chances because one, look, I don't want to see 4 Extra catching fades. Even before this happened, I don't want to see him fighting. I want to see him on positive stuff. I want to see him talking. I want to see him using his personality. I want to see him growing as a person, as an individual. All well and good, yeah, let's have a boxing match. I'm not even really trying to see 4 Extras have a boxing match. I'm in love with his personality. I'm in love with him as a podcaster, as a personality, as a person on the scene. And I think that this ain't stopping him podcasting. Look, he got one of the biggest stories to talk about. He got one of the craziest stories to talk about on the internet right now. He's trending all over the world on Twitter. This is by no means a good thing, but I think if he just turns this into something positive, focuses on the podcasting, doesn't let any of this slow him down, doesn't let this cause him to crash out. It's unfortunate, but it really doesn't change anything. It doesn't change the trajectory that he was on. He, in many ways, could be even more blessed. I mean, he's on the radar of people all over the world, all over the country now. And I'm very, very excited to get into the latest Blueface drama. Okay, Blueface, he's recently been released from prison. He's outside. He's back again. We're going to see a whole bunch of drama. I think we're about to be seeing hoes fighting. You know what I'm saying? We're about to be seeing just all type of drama, all type of nonsense from Blueface, and I'm all here for it, okay? He's back outside. He's doing his thing, and he has really turned up the streets immediately upon his release. And we got, unfortunately, it sounds like the streets are actually, the streets are a little bit upset with some of the stuff that Blueface has been doing since he got out, okay? The LA streets, that you know I'm scared of these LA streets. I'm not going to lie. I'm terrified of these LA streets. I don't want these problems, but clearly Blueface is not scared of any of the smoke. So he popped up on a live stream with DDG, okay? This was 9 days ago, and this had a whole bunch of viral moments in it, but there was actually a moment in here that kind of slipped under the radar at first, but has now sparked a full back and forth, because there was basically a segment in this live stream where he would apparently low-key take a few pot shots at like several LA gangs, and people didn't realize it at the time, but now people have kind of deciphered what he said, and they're offended. Now, there's been rumors that some of the crews that were referenced and insulted by what he said on this, you know, they're saying that a few different sets of the Bloods and even some Crips were upset. I'm hearing that the Black P Stone Bloods, the Rollin' 20 Neighborhood Bloods, and the West Side Playboy Gangster Crips were all a bunch of groups that are basically very offended by something that Blueface actually said in here. He basically did like a first day out freestyle, and basically people are saying that he was sneak dissing a whole bunch of LA gangs in this freestyle. So I'm going to pull it up and we're going to have a little listen. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted. Hopefully I don't get any of the problems that come with reacting to this sort of thing. But if I do, if the clip's missing, you're going to have to go and look this up for yourself. But it is this DDG Blueface Krishan Rock full stream. Okay, so it was at 1:12:44 where basically he was apparently low-key disrespecting some of the sets. Let's hear what he said.
Diddy, what up, twin? From Washington to Western, recall this is 2020. First day in, I'm squabbling a tank twin. Where you from? Because I'm squabbling on stain twanks and pool putts. Oh my goodness, Diddy, you're not finna compare me. They're gonna be like, man, this nigga going crazy. You talking about some valedictorian shit.
Hey, come on, I'm ready.
He definitely wasn't talking about no valedictorian stuff, right? I might have to run that back, okay? So they're saying that he's talking about, he's actually dissing and disrespecting gangs, gang members. He's talking about squabbles that he's had with like real life ops from inside the jail cells, all right? Let's just run it back and just try and, I might even slow it down. We might even go slow motion and just try and catch some of these disses. Let's hear it.
Rock come in, hey Diddy, what up, twin? From Washington to Western, recall us as 2020. First day in, I'm squabbling a tank twin. Where you from? Cause I'm squabbling all stained twanks and pool putts. Oh my goodness, Diddy, you not finna compare me. They gonna be like, man, this nigga going crazy. You talking about some...
So it apparently took about 9 days for people to realize that, yeah, he indeed was going crazy. He was actually being very disrespectful. So in the aftermath of this stream, okay, there was a tweet by an alleged person involved with you know, Blueface's gang. He's infamous for being known as you know, schoolyard Crip, basically. And people are saying that this tweet from somebody called C5, all right, C5 of the Reaper. Anybody that calls themselves a Reaper, I'm not trying to have any issues with whatsoever. Like, I'm whatever you say goes, basically. Okay, and people were basically saying, yo, like he said, nice face, bring your nice ass to the town to get your issue. So people were basically saying that this was a threat had been issued, not even a threat, but like, you know, a DP, a discipline within the schoolyard Crips, of which Blueface is allegedly affiliated with, or a member, or however you want to say it. I don't even want to get myself in too much trouble with this one. But they're saying, yo, you're gonna have to have a DP. Whatever you did, whatever you said in that freestyle that went over people's heads, some people weren't happy with that. Now, what some people were suggesting is that perhaps that Blueface was being offered a DP because maybe he had embellished some of what had been going on behind bars, all right? And soon after this, it was just 1 day later, after this fresh first day out freestyle on DDG's stream starts circulating through LA, even guys behind the wall in prison actually start getting word of what Blueface is saying on the mic and reacting, okay? And, you know, basically what we end up hearing is somebody... Look, we then get a response from Baby B Brazy, all right? He is apparently tapped, you know, he's apparently from over there with the West Side Denver Lanes, Bloods, okay? He called Blueface's lyrics on the song Cap, and he would basically go on to allege that Blueface was allegedly in protective custody. Now, I'm not saying that, but in this clip, he talking a whole lot of stuff about Blueface.
He has to bounce on here and say who he talking about, who he get in with. GM. Blueface gotta bounce on here on lanes because he just jumped on that live and popped it on some homies and said, and this 20s, this Blackstone, this all that on lanes, and you came to jail, you went high power gang, and you and went to the pen, you went PC, all type shit. So I seen another person say, hey, where you was at before you went to that yard.
So he's casting doubt on Blueface's, you know, Blueface's gangster, basically, right? That's what's happening here. And, you know, later on, look, according to Baby B Brazy sources, okay, he says Blueface wasn't holding it down in jail like he said he was, and they're saying that he spent more time smoking than gangbanging. Now, I can't approve of, I can't validate these statements, you know, shout out to Blueface, but he not respecting the gangster.
Black running to you, my boy over here, that's why he gotta get on live on Bloods here. Crip. He gotta say what happened. I'm gonna do his interview. What happened when he beat you? Like how he felt. He said, "Man, on the hood, I didn't respect his crippin'. Jesus Christ!" And this one active that I know, he like, man, I ain't respect that nigga crippin'. First thing he asked me is some other stuff instead of some crippin'. I'm like, what he asked me? Like, man, he asked me some, you know what I'm saying, some other shit. Something like smoker shit. I'm like, damn. I'm like on Blade, like, man, I don't respect his crippin'. I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
So he's trying to say that he was smoking and he doesn't respect his cripper. It's low-key, like, very disrespectful, okay? Now, after this, another response would come from another person that was associated with one of the groups that Blueface allegedly disrespected in his freestyle. Now, shout out to my guy, Big Sad, Mr. 1900, okay? Like, I've met Big Sad. I was in one of his music videos. There's a little cameo in one of his videos. Cool guy, rock with him, love his music. He's doing his thing, okay? And, you know, they're saying the word on the street. He got the connections to the West Side Playboy Gangster Crips. That's what they be saying, okay? So he took to Instagram Live. He was not feeling what Blueface had basically been saying in that freestyle, that little coded language. He wasn't feeling it. And he decided to call out Blueface and seemingly the whole of the schoolyard Crips. Clearly they don't get along.
I started to leave you alone, bro, because we don't even know who you are. You just popped up, whatever, cool. I'm like, damn, I don't know this nigga, but he got the real scrap yards in his videos. You feel me? So I was like, whatever. Nigga don't know you. Never heard nothing about you. Then they tell me you from Santa Clarita. But fuck all that. Let's meet up and die, nigga. What's up, Tiny Bodine? You want to meet too? What's up, Tiny Bodine? You want to meet up? Niggas don't want to meet up. Let me know any one of you scrapyard niggas want to meet, nigga. On the set, nigga. I'm dropping low, nigga. Fuck scrapyard, nigga. Let's meet, nigga.
So he was disrespecting Blueface's crew, all right? I'm not even going to repeat what you said, but you heard what you said, all right? And then after this, all right, big sad, man. He mad disrespectful with it. He then posted a picture, all right, of Blueface's, not his current girl, but like previous girl, you know, like obviously he's very closely associated with her. He posted a picture of Krishan Rock kissing somebody's feet, all right? Kissing, they're saying it's another man's feet. I mean, I'm not going to lie, like these are... Then for a man, they're nice looking feet. That's all I'm gonna pause. All right, pause. I thought for a second maybe it could have been a woman's feet, but you know what I'm saying. However it's going down, this is disrespectful. All right, there ain't no two ways about it. Now after this, Big Sad would take to the Instagram story once again to diss Blueface, tagged him by name, all right, added him in his story on Instagram. He said, "I bet you won't link with me like you tried with Soulja Boy. You know what time it is, okay?" And he's basically trying to call him out or like bait him out into a fight. All right, and then another very beloved affiliated media personality that we know very well on this channel, okay, we would end up hearing from the mayor of Inglewood himself, Munchie B. And, okay, so to be fair to him, obviously Munchie B is very known for being affiliated with the B team, the red team, you know what I'm saying? That stuff that runs through your veins, you know what I'm talking about, bro. You know what I'm talking about, he be with the Bloods. So... he basically tapped in to basically clarify rumors of Blueface being in protective custody. Now, to be fair to him, even though they're not seeing eye to eye, okay, he said that the rumors are actually false. However, he explained in his words, okay, he claimed that basically, according to his sources, while locked up, Blueface wasn't showering, he was smoking all day, he barely left his cell, and he didn't actually squabble with any Bloods like he was suggesting this freestyle.
The baby mama works in Lancaster prison, bro. On that very yard this man was on. I asked about the man. She said, no, that's not a PCR. But she said, he's a dirt bag, a spice head, and don't come out his cell. All three. Now, how we program out here, YGs, Mike generation, or the TYGs, younger, we go to yard, mandatory yard. We out there busting down, hanging out and game banging. These Crips is Tiny Loken, you supposed to be on the yard programming. You wasn't doing that, buddy. No activity. So don't lie. You know what I'm saying? I don't do the Damu dissing. The Blackstones is the homies, the 20s the homies. You done squabbled none of these dudes running through these jail cells in the jail systems. You're lying. You're lying, bro.
So he's basically saying, Blueface, you're lying, all right? You didn't squabble like you said. You know, that's not how it went down. Now, after this, okay, we saw some quite interesting analysis, okay? Actually, I believe it was on the same day, okay? We ended up seeing on, of all places, the Damn Homie Show, all right? A jail call interview. Now, this is the type of top-tier content that we're trying to see, okay? A jailhouse interview with the rapper Rich Rad, who actually said that he believed, okay, that Blueface actually allegedly fought and severely beat a Black P. Stone Blood in prison, okay? So let's hear what he had to say on the show.
Did you see any squabbles that he had?
With some food from Black Pizza and beat the shit out of that fool. You know that. And then his ass went to the hole because we was big smoking. We was getting high. We was smoking. And then his ass got too comfortable. And then his ass went to showers in the morning thinking it was good. Like, oh.
Wait, I'm gonna have to, let's reload that. I just want to hear that again because I feel like this is it's a little bit hard to kind of digest what's going on with the recording, how it's recorded here.
Did you see any squabbles that he had?
With some food from Black Pizza and beat the shit out of that fool. You know.
So he's saying they had a squabble in the day room with a Black P. Stone, and he's saying he beat the stuff out of that fool. Okay, and I can't vouch for the authenticity of this, but you know that's what they're saying. So some people are saying Blueface wasn't getting busy and he wasn't squabbling, but then other people are saying nah, he was hurting fools. Okay, and eventually, finally, okay, we actually did get a response from Blueface himself. He would clap back and basically say that he did his time the right way. And He would basically say that he's never been disciplined in his decades-long cripping career, and he would claim that Munchie B doesn't know what he's talking about, man.
One time only for y'all, gang. Bro. My whole term, I did everything the correct way, gang. I hit the minimum yard. 3 weeks, I'm out of there. My points went up on active yard, gangland. I did everything the correct way. All that shit popping about Blueface got a DP. I don't screw our Crip. I've been from the hood for damn near a decade. I ain't been DP one time. And it's not gonna happen because I follow the rules. I program. Screw our Crip. Like, I know I'm fresh out and I got this prison shit back booming and they wanna come out and tell their story. A blind nigga just got on here and said, we had mandatory yard, we squabbled in our ops. You were not on the active yard. Dead homies. If you squabbled any ops in prison, you were not on the active yard. That's a no-go. Come on, cuz. It's 2026. Let me fix that. I've been from the hood for over a decade. On that squad. Yeah. Ask about that. Over a decade. And I did everything that there's nothing that I ain't did. Y'all know what I'm talking about. School Crip.
I ain't gonna lie, he's saying that he's been cripping for 10 years, 10 years plus, multiple decades. There ain't nothing he ain't never done. I mean, look at them tattoos, man. Like, yeah, I believe you, bro. I believe you. I do not doubt your cripping one bit personally. There's other people that doubt his cripping, fair enough, but I personally don't doubt Blueface's cripping for 1 second. His name's Blueface. Look at his face, all right? That's a Blueface if I ever saw one.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. School Crip. Cut it out.
Now, how we program out here, YGs, my generation, or the TYGs, we go to yard, mandatory yard, we out there blessing down, hanging out and gang banging. These Crips is Tiny Logan, you supposed to be on the yard programming. You wasn't doing that, buddy. If you ever got out with any of your enemies from no op hood, bro, you start banging after high school, you was claiming schoolyard, and after you became a rapper, you got put on schoolyard. You never got out with no 20s or no Blackstones, bro. Not even a Playboy.
My generation.
So look, they're basically trying to say, Munchie's kind of doubling down, basically saying, you know, look, you didn't squabble. It's not that you didn't squabble like you're saying you did, all right? Now, it's now coming out, okay, that people are saying, okay, Blueface might not have been completely honest in his little Instagram post about never having a DP in all of his years and all this stuff, because apparently his baby mama Jaden Alexis actually once revealed on No Jumper in the past that he had already been DP'd by his gang, but over, of all things, all right, a meat pick. That's the most. I feel like that's the most flattering way that I can say it. A meat pick, meat, like you know, meat that you would cook on the grill. Pick, like a photo. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Look, here's what she said.
And so then, right? So then, I guess the people, I guess the gang or whatever was mad about that.
They were mad about the dick pic.
They were mad that people was posting that. So then he decided to post in the mirror pic on hard, right?
Whoa.
So then they was even more mad about that. Like, we just saw your dick. Mm-hmm. Okay, and he's like, so what? And they're like,
and this is before he's famous?
No, he was like getting up there.
Okay.
So then they were like, we just had to see your dick on our story, or we had to see your dick, or whatever the fuck. They was like, oh, and he was like, okay, and then they was like, oh, they didn't pull up. And then he was like, all right, we finna pull up later tonight. We ended up being me and him. So I'm just kind of like, oh, okay. So this is what we doing? Like, okay. So he ended up calling one of his homies. We ended up pulling to the set. It's like 5 niggas lined up.
And this is like a DP situation, or?
I don't know if that's what it was giving, or if they would. I don't know. Like, are y'all just mad, or are you just jealous, or I don't know what the fuck.
Seems like an overreaction to like having to see.
I think it was an overreaction because
I feel like Adam would say that, right? Because if posting your meat on the timeline gets you a DP. Adam in line for about a zillion billion ZPs from the Zesty Disciples, all right? ZP, not DP, a ZP, right? So anyway, just to cap this all off, okay, of course, Munchie B would clap back once again. And I tell you what, if Blueface knows how to do one thing, it's to go viral, because these back and forths have just been nonstop, right? Munchie B would basically get on No Jumper once again. He would double down on the allegations that Blueface didn't hit the yard, and he would basically claim a very bold, disrespectful claim, and he would say Blueface actually spent all his time behind bars just getting high on K2. All right, that's what he said. I'm not condoning it. That's what he said.
Baby mama work in Lancaster State Prison. I was just trying to see if that was a bad yard. She said no, it wasn't. She said he's a dirtbag, a spice head that don't come out his cell. In my opinion, that's not Tiny Logan. That ain't. You gotta hit the yard and program it. You know what I'm saying? At least one of them yards. Like, you know what I'm saying, when it open up?
The spice makes the time go a lot quicker, I think.
Huh?
The spice makes the time go a lot quicker.
And that's the problem. People get off drugs when they go because they can't cope with the time, and now they ending up on bad yards because they catting off the that K2 is dangerous, bro.
No, for sure it is. That's like what.
But he was.
So look, don't play with the Spice Kids, all right? That's all I'll say. But at the end of the day, okay, I don't know if this is the right way to go viral, but Blueface been super viral. I've been hearing for ages, and salute to Whack 100, man, because obviously he's been very instrumental in putting Blueface in position. He's helped Blueface manage his money, manage his career, take himself to the top. Maybe not the top, but take himself to impressive heights of the rap game from basically being from the streets in a very dark situation. Shout out to Whack 100 for making that happen. Blueface knows how to go viral, all right? And I'll be real, I knew Blueface was coming out. I'm planning to do some content on him. We're gonna work something out. We're gonna do a deep dive into Blueface because I think the guy's just had such an interesting life. I've done videos on Blueface like 4 or 5 years ago, okay? So I've been tapped in. But he clearly knows how to turn up and go viral. Maybe this isn't the viral moments that he was necessarily looking for, but hey, he done got him, all right? You'll be aware at this point that while Drakeo the Ruler doesn't claim an alliance to a specific LA gang set, he's got a lot of collaborators, friends, and affiliates who do claim gang sets associated with the neighborhood Crips. And one of these Crip-affiliated Stink Team members is Kells of the Rolling Hundreds. Kells would appear on the song Chunky Monkey with Drakeo and Ralphie on October the 25th, 2016. A track all about keeping a big gun, or as they call it, a chunky monkey, with Stink Team members dancing around in the music video wearing gorilla masks and toting chunky monkeys. But it would turn out that these chunky monkeys weren't just for showing off in the music video. It was clear that the Stink Team would need to protect themselves around this period, as according to a Fader article, the very month that this video was released, Drakeo, Ketchy, and 2 Shitty of the Stink Team were all shot at in separate incidents. It's still unclear exactly why or who would want to kill the Stink Team, but their ongoing feuds with other Blood Gang associated rappers, and their close affiliation with various Crip sets clearly hadn't done them any favors. Whilst Draco's ongoing rivalry with Athens Park Blood RJ was getting a lot of attention because of the music that they were making, it would actually be the neighborhood Crips' ongoing street war with the Inglewood Family Gangsta Bloods that would ultimately bring tragedy to the Stink Team. The Inglewood Family Gangsta Bloods, or IFGB, or simply Inglewood Family's Gang, IFG, are an LA blood set with a long and storied history. They mainly beef with neighborhood Crip gangs like the Rolling 60s and Rolling Hundreds, gang sets which the Stink Team apparently have close affiliations with. And in the streets, one of the biggest names associated with Inglewood is Munchie B, an Inglewood blood with a fearsome reputation in the streets. But his reign as a hardened hitter would be cut short after he was shot in the head and left blind, apparently the result of an internal conflict. But even without his sight, Munchie B would remain an influential figure in LA gang politics for years to come. In fact, Munchie B would end up being interviewed alongside fellow Inglewood Bloods Baby Dot and Red Bull, giving the history of their hood to a channel called Street TV.
Munchie B, Inglewood Family Gangsters. Red Bull, non-deuce Inglewood Family. Somebody put up on the side of my car and let off a gang of shots. You know what I mean? So I ended up taking a shot to the head. Shit, but unfortunately I ended up losing my sight.
And during that interview, this trio of Inglewood Bloods would also explain their connections to DJ Mustard and YG.
Yeah, it go way back to the Chain Gang. Before it's Inglewood Family, it's called the Chain Gang. All these LA-based rappers, we pretty much all partied together before they blew up though. The boy Ty, Mustard, YG, J305.
So with the rivalry between the Stink Team and DJ Mustard, YG, and RJ heating up off the back of diss tracks, you can see why there's a lot of interconnected reasons why the Bloods and the Stinks aren't going to get along. And to make matters worse, it would later emerge that Stink Team member Kells had an active feud with Red Bull, the Inglewood Family Blood, who had appeared alongside Munchie B in that Street TV interview. Red Bull allegedly also had a serious reputation when it came to Inglewood gang politics, but sadly, Red Bull would eventually run into the Stink Team with deadly consequences. Because on Saturday, the 10th of December 2016, several members of the Stink Team, including Kells and Drakeo, were chilling at Draco's house. And it was here that Drakeo would see what was later described as a pay-for-entry pajama party advertised on Instagram, with Drakeo rallying the Stink Team to go from his place to the party, with plans for 17-year-old Crip affiliate Arlington Blue, aka AB, real name Jaden Boyd, planning to join the Stink Team en route. The whole crew would travel in a 5-car convoy to the party in Carson, around 15 minutes away from Draco's apartment, with the crew arriving to the area and parking their cars. At some point, 2 Shitty from the Stink Team approaches Draco's car to tell him that members from Inglewood Families are there, with Drakeo apparently suggesting suggesting at this point that the crew leave. However, within seconds, Red Bull from Inglewood, real name Davon Gregory, would walk past the stink team. This was a completely chance encounter, with Red Bull apparently being spotted at the wrong place in the wrong time by his opposition. With Kells and AB, the neighborhood Crips that were also in the stink team, who had an active feud with Red Bull and the Inglewood families, pulling pistols and opening fire as soon as they saw him. The shooting erupted at around 11:30 p.m., leaving 2 unrelated people injured, and Red Bull shot numerous times, sadly later losing his life.
Shots were fired at a birthday party in Carson. 3 men were hit and one of them has now died. The shooting happened just before midnight in the 100 block of West Victoria Street. The shootout was just in front of the building that housed the party. Deputies say as many as 100 people were attending what they describe as a pay-for-entry adult-themed party.
These women told me about 30 young men showed up after the party started and were turned away because they didn't have IDs and some had guns. Something happened in the parking lot, shots were fired, and the next thing that these 2 women told me that they knew was that someone who had been shot in the parking lot ran back into the party.
After the shooting, Kells turned to Drakeo and bragged of how he emptied his entire clip into Red Bull. And apparently following the shooting, the stink team jumped back into their cars, driving back to Drakeo's apartment in complete silence, with the group apparently being unaware that Red Bull had even died until they saw it on the news at 3 a.m. the next day. A vigil for Red Bull would take place in his hood the next day, with the local police moving dirty and targeting the event, shooting somebody and arresting a whopping 10 people.
We have learned that 10 people who were at the gathering have been arrested. They say the event was a memorial for a 24-year-old man killed at a party in Carson Saturday night. NBC4 covered that as well. But last night, around 10:30, LAPD says 2 units from the Gang Enforcement Division out of Southeast Station approached a group of about 30 people outside a home on 99th Street west of Figueroa. LAPD describes the gathering as a party and says as officers approached, some of the people in the group started running away. One man allegedly pulled a gun and shot at the officers. They were not hit, but one at least returned fire.
Red Bull's friend Baby Dot, who had appeared in that Street TV interview with him alongside Munchie B, would later speak on his friend's passing in a follow-up interview.
He was up there chilling, standing in line, and some shit jumped off, and he happened to be one of the people who happened to take the downfall for him, man. Oh, that shit hit close, man. Like, Red Bull was like the first homie I lost in a long time that I was actually really close with. And once you lose that certain person that's damn near like a brother to you, it hit a little harder to home.
Munchie B would also mourn the loss of Red Bull, later releasing an emotional tribute song to him called R.I.P. RB. Now initially detectives didn't have anything to link Red Bull's murder to the stink team, and after the shooting went down, Drakeo would return to music and go on to drop some of the best songs of his career. Problem is, he probably didn't realise that he was leaving evidence behind at every turn. On December the 16th, 2016, Drakeo's new song Bully Breaker drops, with detectives later saying that it was this music video that helped them find the location of Drakeo's apartment. And then just over a week after that, Drakeo would drop another music video filmed in his apartment, The Impatient Freestyle. The December 18th, 2016 music video would go on to be the most viewed music video of Drakeo's career, racking up over 31 million YouTube views to date. And the video for Impatient featured Drakeo and his crew posted up in his apartment, showing off a bunch of big guns, as well as scenes filmed in a parking garage, as always showing off his beloved Mercedes GLE Coupe. The song itself included thugged out lyrics all about guns, shootings, and a line where he literally says, if you want to represent the stink team, you need to hop out the car and kill someone. Following this, Drakeo's third mixtape, So Cold I Do 'Em, dropped on Christmas Day 2016. The mixtape featured a front cover, once again sporting Drakeo's signature Mercedes SUV. It was a great mixtape, but unfortunately for Drakeo, that Mercedes SUV that he'd been putting in his music videos and on the cover of his tapes, and bragging about on Twitter, matched the description of a vehicle that was seen leaving the scene of Red Bull's murder. And very soon, the feds would come knocking for the stink team, ready to do everything in their power to take them down. On the 31st of December 2016, Drakeo drops the Flex Freestyle. This is a remix of RJ's song Flex, a retaliation to RJ remixing Drakeo's song on Warning, and it features a lyric where Drakeo says that he has RJ tied up in the back of his car. This was a pretty inane lyric aiming to poke fun at a rival, but sadly it would come back to haunt Drakeo massively. Because while Drakeo was recording music and videos, trying to push his rap career forward, local police were watching his videos and reading his lyrics, intensely looking for clues to connect the stink team to the December 10th murder of Red Bull, and soon they would have the connection that they needed. Because at this point, all the cops had were bullets and shell casings from 38 and 40 caliber pistols, as well as surveillance footage and witnesses placing a Mercedes SUV at the scene. However, at some point, detectives working the case hear Drakeo's name mentioned on an unrelated wiretap, plus the victim's family telling cops that they heard rumors that Drakeo was somehow involved in the murder. This was apparently all that was needed to tie Drakeo to the crime, and at this point the cops decided to close in. Only a couple of days after the Flex freestyle, one day after Drakeo's son was born, and one day after New Year's on the 2nd of January 2017, the members of the Stink team are all hanging out at the LA condo where Drakeo had filmed his earlier Impatient freestyle and the Bully Breaker music video. According to later court documents, Drakeo's distinctive Mercedes being parked outside alerted the cops that he was indeed in the property. Drakeo's apartment was then raided by the SWAT team, who found Drakeo's family and the Stink team in the house in the presence of a number of firearms. The cops would arrest Drakeo and his homies, including his brother Ralphie the Plug, with Drakeo receiving 6 counts of unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon, with Drakeo later telling DJ Vlad that he racked up a total of 9 counts that day.
Every single one.
How many guns?
Only one. 9.
So all 9 guns, they said, were yours?
Yeah, every single one.
And apparently even Drakeo's mother and sister were there, getting arrested alongside a whole bunch of the Stink team members.
My mom, my sister, Too Shitty, his baby mama, and Bambino, Solo, my brother. It was a lot of people. It was a lot of people.
Nothing connecting Drakeo or the Stink team to the murder of Red Bull was found that day, and apparently the guns that were found in the property were not the ones used in the murder of Red Bull. But regardless, Drakeo would still be headed to jail, with rap blogs beginning to position him as LA's Gucci Mane. Fortunately, Drakeo was able to continue to release music and music videos from behind bars, with pre-recorded tracks like Cocoon releasing publicly over this period. In a February 2017 interview with LA Weekly from jail, Drakeo said he was optimistic about his release and vowing to hit the studio as soon as he got home. But perhaps he shouldn't have been so optimistic, because while Drakeo was remaining solid in his cell, the same couldn't be said about some of his Stink team brethren. After being arrested, Stink team member Too Shitty is placed into a cell with an undercover informant, who's planted there wearing a wire specifically to gather information about Red Bull's murder. Now, this is part of a controversial strategy where the local detectives take advantage of a loophole where they're allowed to send in jailhouse informants undercover as long as it's done before suspects are formally charged. It's a slippery tactic, but it sure does work, as it was later revealed in court that Too Shitty had spilled the beans to this informant completely, admitting directly to the undercover that the shooter was that 17-year-old Crip called AB, or Arlington Blue, real name Jaden Boyd, the Rolling 40s Crip who had accompanied the Stink team to that party. After Too Shitty's confession, AB is then arrested himself and placed into a cell with another undercover informant, posing as an OG Crip. And once again, AB confesses the crime and many specific details to this undercover snitch, with a 1-hour, 22-minute recording of their conversation even being played to the court. During this conversation, AB admitted outright that he shot Red Bull with the 38 pistol, as well as saying that it was Kells shooting with the 40 Glock. AB even admitted that he had been actively beefing with Red Bull over this period and had planned to shoot him on sight, even going as far as to break down why he used a 38 pistol specifically so that he didn't leave behind shell casings. I mean, he literally admitted to the undercover directly that he got caught on camera smoking somebody. He admitted shooting the man directly 2 times but denied shooting him in the head, quite literally saying definitively that he popped Kerr. Now, during this conversation, AB only incriminated himself and Kells, essentially saying nothing to implicate Drakeo. And as far as Drakeo's concerned, at this point it really should have been case closed, because the 2 shooters had been identified specifically and there wasn't a single mention of Drakeo's role in the murder to be found at all. In fact, during this time, the cops even tried to put an undercover informant into Drakeo's cell too, with a 1.5-minute recording captured within Drakeo's cell revealing absolutely nothing. Because there was nothing to speak on. From start to finish, it appeared clearly established that AB and Kells killed Red Bull in a split-second decision, with Drakeo apparently completely unaware of what was going to unfold that night. So, the cops would have no choice but to let Drakeo go. For now. But sadly, they would hold a grudge. And only after a few months of freedom, the cops would return to try and pull off a tricky maneuver, using flimsy evidence and a convoluted case to take Drakeo off the streets once again, this time at the height of his fame. Drakeo would spend 10 months in jail before eventually being released on bail in November 2017. And as soon as he's released from jail, Drakeo gets out and spends around 10 days in the studio recording 16 tracks for his new mixtape, Cold Devil, which releases on December the 26th, 2017. This mixtape was the biggest release of Drakeo's career to date, cementing him as one of LA's foremost independent street rappers. Pitchfork reviewed the album positively, calling it the most compelling release of his career, and Drakeo backed up the tape with music videos of the most compelling songs. Flu Flamming was Drakeo's flagship anthem of being a home invader targeting the Asian community, laced with tongue-in-cheek lyrics about Mei Ling taking him shopping. He had other classic tracks like Big Bank Uchis and Out the Slums with 03 Greedo, with the videos for these tracks racking up millions of views and cementing Drakeo's place as one of LA's most popping rappers. But naturally, this didn't stop the haters, as people like former collaborator Scheme were releasing diss tracks aimed at Drakeo shortly after his release, but Drakeo wouldn't let the haters stop him, and he would continue promoting himself and his career. On December the 14th, 2017, Drakeo popped up alongside his brother Ralphie the Plug for his first major interview since being released from jail on No Jumper with Adam 22. And during this interview, he touched on a lot of interesting things, telling Adam about his intense withdrawals going cold turkey from codeine-based cough syrup whilst in jail, and detailing his massive weight loss as a result.
Oh yeah, suffering, sweating, looking like a heroin addict and that motherfucker. Bitch, you gonna tell me? So you got a little skin here. What you were doing in there?
She got at you like a crystal head.
Drakeo also touched on people dissing him while he was in jail, acknowledging that his former friend Scheme had turned on him, and saying that RJ had been telling his crowds to hate on Drakeo.
Scheme, who was your homie before? You had songs before with him, right?
Yeah, I know. And then mysteriously, like, I guess
don't get it. No cloud.
A lot of people want to know about the beef with you and RJ.
Oh no, that before that he was going all over the town and shit, making posters and signs and shit at the shows.
Yeah.
Drakeo. He'd start off his show like, let me hear y'all say Drakeo.
Drakeo would actually go on to say that him and RJ settled their beef before he went to jail.
But yeah, that shit over now though. That shit over.
It's over? Yeah, like you guys talked about it or something?
Yeah, I seen him. He said that we both from the West and need to represent the West, and we both can't be beefing and all this other shit.
And he would end his interview by saying that he wants to stay away from guns and stay out of jail.
Oh yeah, I'm chilling, man. You know, no guns, no videos, nothing like that.
No guns in the videos.
And
that's a big change right there.
Super Soaker 3000 or something.
It was good to see Drakeo taking positive steps since his release, and from here he would continue pushing his career forward and racking up big wins. On December the 19th, he did a big sold-out show at the Observatory, and on December the 28th, 2017, him and Ralphie would release their new song, The Right Decision, where spray paint shown on a wall in the opening shot would reveal graffiti saying "Free Drakey, fuck Too Snitchy," a reference to the Stink Team member Too Shitty slipping up and telling a prison house informant the details of the Red Bull murder. But sadly, once again, this, just like many other references to street goings on in Drakeo's songs and music videos, would end up being used against him by detectives, with the public diss towards a cooperating Stink Team member apparently being interpreted by detectives as witness intimidation, which they tried to use to escalate the charges against Drakeo.
Somebody had tagged Too Snitchy about a guy who was Stink Team that had given some information to the police. So they tagged the witness intimidation with a gang enhancement. So now these guys are facing life in prison.
So while Drakeo had spent the months between December 2017 and March 2018 focused on his career and building his fan base, the cops would be building their case, taking notes on everything that Drakeo said or did over this period, trying to twist it to use it against him. And it would appear that eventually they decided to strike Drakeo down once again, this time at the very peak of his career, as the mainstream media would finally pay attention to this LA legend in the making in a comprehensive LA Times piece covering Drakeo's come-up being published in March 2018. An interview ironically starting out discussing Drakeo's previous release from jail, describing his 2017 stint behind bars as an 11-month iron vacation for multiple counts of unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. And in a tragic case of famous last words, with Drakeo saying in that article that he thought that his time in prison would have been much worse. Perhaps it was arrogant comments like this that had the cops itching to put Drakeo back into jail, this time under much harsher conditions. Because around 2 weeks after that interview had taken place, quite literally just days after this LA Times story went public, Drakeo would be arrested for possession of a firearm once again. Drakeo was brought to the police station where he weirdly said that the cops were playing his music, before then being taken to court where Drakeo said that he apparently had no idea what was going on, at which point prosecutors dropped the shocking bomb on him that he was being charged with first-degree murder, 5 counts of attempted murder, and conspiracy to commit murder in connection with Red Bull's death. These would be serious charges, and beating them would be no easy feat. But it wasn't just Drakeo in trouble. Other members of the Stink team were arrested as part of this case, like Ralphie and Ketchy, who were arrested in San Francisco whilst on tour with Shoreline Mafia, with the cops apparently using their Instagram posts to locate them. And Ralphie would later elaborate being caught up in this sudden Stink team sweep in an interview on No Jumper.
Wait, where'd they get you?
From San Francisco.
So you went all the way up there just to get arrested for shit in LA?
We thinking we cool, we Instagram, playing 2K and shit. As soon as we check in, they open the door, I'm laying on the bed, I look up and police coming. I'm like, man, this is bullshit. Homies laying outside,
right.
Towels and shit, no clothes on and shit. I thought I was supposed to be on tour. He drove all the way out there for 9 hours just to drive back 12 hours on the bus.
So with the Stink team firmly behind bars, Drakeo would have to prepare for the fight of his life. A full-blown murder charge where the worst possible outcome might just be life in prison or even the death penalty. Aside from openly discussing his personal issues on YouTube, C-Mac would also continue expressing himself in music. On the 17th of March 2021, he dropped the music video for one of his first breakout tracks, Op Goblin, a surprisingly good gutter West Coast gang-banging anthem of a track. But this release would be a double whammy for C-Mac, as the biggest moment of his career would occur the very same day as that song was released, because at some point along the way, C-Mac is discovered by the undisputed king of LA rap clout and master of blunted conversations with famous rappers, Adam22 of No Jumper, bringing C-Mac on his first extended podcast interview, which was fun, hilarious, and genuinely heartwarming at times.
Today, we got C-Mac the Loke. You might not know about C-Mac the Loke, but C-Mac the Loke on 55th Street.
It's Tiny Crip Mac. Fight Crip.
Legendary, dude. So funny. His Instagram is one of the best things ever. I wish I could just somehow play you guys like 10 minutes of his Instagram right now, but you just got to go look at it. Anyway. Hey, C-Mac.
What's going on with you, Adam?
How you living? You really about to take the old English off? That's crazy. That's
I'm gonna tear this label off. You know why? Because these motherfuckers ain't paying me, cuz. I'm hood. Fuck them.
Right.
I'm hood.
You've been showing love all these years.
Man, they don't give a fuck. I'm hood.
Right.
They probably don't respect my Crip, and I'm tearing this motherfucker off.
No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today, it's the Mac Sitch.
I'm hood. Fight Crip.
How you feeling, man?
Oh, I'm nifty, man. I woke up this morning. I'm hood. I'm blessed, I'm free, I'm getting money on hustlers, I'm not in jail. It's a nifty day on 55th Street.
C-Mac the Loke in the building.
And in that illuminating interview, which today sits at well over 1.2 million views, C-Mac touched on a number of interesting and entertaining topics, revealing his age of 28, having had his birthday just a month before the interview.
The nigga 28, just turned 28 February 20th. We did the Op Goblin video.
He said that he first discovered gangbanging at the young age of 12, only when he noticed that the older people in his family were dying.
You were always knowing about the gangbanging shit, or?
I've known about it since at least 12.
Okay.
People I've had in my family, people I've known that died behind it.
And C-Mac would explain how life has changed since becoming a viral star, saying that his paranoia gets the better of him, with him often assuming that fans on social media are really ops just trying to set him up.
What has it been like seeing that on 55th Street go so viral and all your catchphrases, really?
I love it. Sometimes people hit me up and I think it's a setup. So I blocked the account. They're like, oh, C-Mac, you just blocked your biggest fan. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know.
And C-Mac also explained that since becoming a viral sensation, he's trying to give back to his community in spite of his tough gangster image.
I'm also giving back to the community. You gotta give back and let the people know, hey, look, I'm a good man. I'm a good man, I'm hood. I'm a gangbanger, yeah. I hate enemies. No names, nothing like it, but I hate enemies. But at the same time, on 55th Street, look, you gotta respect your people. A lot of people don't understand like them, so they really don't understand, well, how do you have a heart but you like this?
Crip Mac really showed his sensitive side in this interview too, briefly bonding with Adam's legendary cat Tony, rest in peace, and revealing to the world that he had finally decided to stop feeding his cat Shantae fried chicken.
You want to see my cat?
Yeah, let's check it out. What's his name?
Tony.
Oh, hey, Tony.
All white cat.
All white. Oh, Tony's cool. Look at Tony. Can I show the camera?
You just look at it. We'll
all right, we're gonna blow Tony up. He's a nice white cat. Does he like Popeye's chicken?
Yeah, I've never given it to him.
Well, just try giving him a small piece.
You can't just feed a cat fucking fried chicken, can you?
She love that Popeye's
But
chicken.
a lot of people seem really worried about you feeding Popeyes to your dogs, like with the bones in.
I'll stop.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we're just gonna stop altogether. I was thinking something. Maybe we just get them some tuna. Some tuna. Something light. You fight me?
Now, this No Jumper interview absolutely blew up, and the already buzzing C-Mac was given that supercharged No Jumper clout boost. However, even with this major career W under his belt, unfortunately, C-Mac's hot streak on social media would soon be coming to an end, when he was seen in a video being arrested on an LA street and subsequently being sent back to jail.
That's what's his name, bitch. He just went viral.
Hold on. All right, stop. Go for, give me 2 steps forward. 2 steps forward. Stop. Come down to your knees. Come down to your stomach. Both arms out. Spread your feet. Look to your left. Don't move. Any other occupants from the vehicle, come on out. There's nobody else in my car. What the fuck is this one? Oh, it's hey guys. All right.
Whilst locked up, C-Mac would continue to communicate with his newfound fans through jailhouse calls.
I'm in here. You fight me, I'm gonna get out soon on hood. So it's a major come up by a small setback on hood.
And after a couple of difficult months behind bars, by June he was back out on the streets. Fresh home and ready to get a bag, even announcing the launch of his own rat food clothing line.
Crip Mac home on hood, look. Hey, check it out like this. Go get the rat food clothing. Tap in with the rat food clothing.
Of course, what the people really wanted was to see C-Mac return to No Jumper again, which he did in an interview that dropped on the 22nd of June, which once again did not disappoint.
Everything seemed nifty, man. It feel good to see free.
And in this interview, the people got a major update, with C-Mac admitting that he had gone out of state without telling his parole officer, and then when they caught up with him, he unfortunately had a gun on him.
With the little parole shit, I was out of state, you know, not checking in and shit, so once they caught me, I had Billy Western them.
He would go on to break down a fight he was involved in jail that led to him losing his 2 front teeth, explaining that the guy he was up against was very big and well versed in fighting, but C-Mac said ultimately, if you got a fade coming, you got to take it like a man.
The nigga was about 6'4". I say about 320, 340. That's a lot bigger than me, but he's been on the yard 15 years on a 4 yard.
God.
All you could do in there, win, lose, or draw, squabble up. I'm not talking about balling up, get hit one time, falling and screaming. None of that weird shit. It ain't considered, it's not considered as taking a fade. You gonna get cacked there and you gonna thunder, you gonna fight. That's just how it is.
C-Mac would later elaborate further on that fight in a clip uploaded to his socials, explaining that he was asked by a Brim Blood where he was from, with his answer immediately leading to a fight.
He see me, be like, oh yeah, where you from? That's just how it is in the county. Niggas see your tattoo, they just gonna ask where you from to see if you gonna say it or not. On Hustlers, I tell cuh, on hood, just like this. I'm baby Crip Mac. I'm Hoover Killer Destruction from 5-5 Crip. He told me, say on West Side Brims, we gonna get in. So how CCB go, everybody get up out your sway on Hustlers, and y'all get down. We get down. On Hustlers, I go a good round with him on Hustlers. Cud drop me, I keep it 50 straight. I get up, I squabble again on Hustlers. Cud catch me with a hard ass right and knock that tooth out in the middle right there on hood. You find me? We got down and that was it. That's just how the county jail is.
C-Mac would also explain the origins of his name to Adam 22, saying that there was an older Crip in his hood called Big C-Mac, with this C-Mac getting the nickname Baby C-Mac, and over time, due to his enormous and unique personality, the name C-Mac was given the backronym meaning of Crazy Mad Ass Crip.
On Hustlers, but my name is Baby C-Mac. I'm Baby Crip Mac. Crazy Mad Ass Crip, CMAC. The older C-Mac. Her name started was Carlos. On hood, Carlos Mac. Then as the years went on, then Lil C-Mac, Crip Mac, and then Lil C-Mac, crazy, so say Crazy Mad Ass Crip.
Now, during this interview, No Jumper co-host and fellow charismatic Crip AD pointed out something really important about C-Mac, saying that while a lot of people think he's this strange, crazy, eccentric, one-of-a-kind dude, as somebody that grew up around a whole bunch of serious Crips, AD said that the way C-Mac spoke reminded him of many other people in his life, who came from the same situation as C-Mac, but weren't as fortunate to get the opportunities and exposure that he was getting at this point.
I was like, I understand, cuz, because I know a lot of niggas like you, bro,
I mean,
who don't,
you a gangbanger.
but don't get to get on a platform and shit like that. So I feel like a lot of motherfuckers may think like, oh, C-Mac's crazy, he's tripping. Like, nah, I know a lot of niggas like that, cuz like, but everybody else is new to them. You feel me? But I'm like, damn, this cuz remind me of one of the homies at home and shit like that. I love the shit.
Now, this is a really important observation to me, because like AD says, a lot of people might look at C-Mac and see this strange, crazy, eccentric person, but really, he represents an entire subculture that goes far deeper than most people would ever understand. And by C-Mac speaking so openly on this platform, many people are discovering this culture for the first time. And in my opinion, Adam and AD giving C-Mac the No Jumper platform to speak freely is essentially giving a voice to an entire group of people who might have otherwise been completely disregarded by society and labeled as trouble, crazy, a bunch of gang-banging criminals. And while some of the stories and catchphrases that C-Mac shares sound crazy, stupid, or entertaining, what he's really doing is giving people outside of that gang-banging culture a glimpse into his struggle and his difficult life coming up around gangs, what that turned him into, and the reality of what he's been through, the good, the bad, and the ugly. He's a product of his environment, and by allowing him onto the platform to speak honestly without judgment, this is for the first time allowing people outside of that culture to understand, appreciate, and sympathize with the struggle that C-Mac and people like him have been through, rather than just writing him off as this insane criminal gangbanger, not worthy of sympathy. C-Mac's the product of his environment, he's been through a lot, and he deserves to be listened to. And I personally got to tip my hat to No Jumper for doing such great work on their content with C-Mac. I mean, he's also on the No Jumper Patreon eating rice out of a girl's butthole. But anyway, fresh out of jail and with another iconic interview under his belt, C-Mac would continue going viral, popping up on social media in moments that just got more and more absurd and heartwarming by the second.
Oh, God.
Yo, you know who we got? You know who we got right here?
Oh, that's Tony! Hey, Tony! I got some Popeyes chicken.
His Crip Walk video would get hundreds of thousands of views, and of course C-Mac continued pushing his own music. And for the next video, his production quality would go up significantly. His track Western Wiggle with Jay Nifty dropped with a video on July the 25th, 2021, representing a massive jump up in the quality of his visuals and the music itself, as C-Mac and Jay Nifty made a certified West Coast banger. Hell, I think if C-Mac combined his yelling rap style with some more modern, club-friendly dance beats, he could become the West Coast Lil Jon or like 6ix9ine without the snitching. In September, C-Mac introduced the world to the newest member of the Crip Mac family, his new kitten Tony Mac, named in honor of Adam's cat Tony. Rest in peace.
Tony Mac, what's up, cuz? Cut really looking at the camera. Nice bud. It's Tony Mac, cuz. Say good morning, Instagram world and YouTube fans on hood. Top of the morning, Tony Mac. Say good morning, fighter fans on hood. Tony motherfucking Mac. The niftiest cat on hood. Tony Mac. Wake up, cuz. Program time. Tony Mac, cuz got litter, cuz got food, cuz got more food, he got litter. On hood, you fired me, Tony Mac got every motherfucking thing cuz need. On hood. Tony Mac is nifty out here. Tony Mac, Tony. Cuz playing in increments. Why you mad, Tony Mac? Why you mad? Baby mama bear gave you a bath and now you mad, cuz? You should see happy to see nifty clean, nifty fresh. Cat shampoo, you smell good, you clean. You took your blue collar off mama bear bought you, kid. Everything's gonna see all right.
In October, C-Mac even got on his Nipsey Hussle entrepreneur flex too. You might remember back in the day when Nipsey made a limited edition mixtape that you could only buy physically for a grand cost of $100 a piece. Well, C-Mac would go ahead and drop his mixtape Blue Rags and Money Bags, but that didn't end up on streaming services either. No, if you want to hear C-Mac's tape, you're gonna have to buy a physical copy for $55.
Radio, motherfucking radio fans. The Crip Mac Blue Rags and Money Bag mixtapes are here and ready for P.O. Box delivery on hood. Get you a motherfucking Walmart CD player and play my motherfucking shit. I put a lot of hard work in this motherfucker. Shout out Shell Shock and Day One getting this motherfucker together on hood. Y'all tap in and get these motherfuckers. $55 a motherfucking CD. And a lot of the increments, I repeat, increments is going far. The Skid Row area helping them with clothes and also shoes. Y'all tap in and get the Blue Rags and Money Bag mixtape on hood. Something nifty on 50s. Y'all tap in and get these motherfuckers, cuz. While they still hot.
A genius move, but we all know mo money, 5 problems. And in November 2021, C-Mac would return to No Jumper alongside Trapzilla, this time telling Adam that since his internet celebrity came about, C-Mac's got a whole bunch of new friends crawling out the woodwork. Even suggesting that a result of all the new attention he was getting from females meant that he apparently had 5 children on the way.
All of a sudden his family members care, all of a sudden give a fuck about me, care. And then the situations, everybody ended up pregnant all of a sudden, care.
You got a girl pregnant?
Okay, I think it's more than that, kid. Down there 5.
Also, in this interview, he introduced the world to a new anti-suicide catchphrase that would later become iconic, telling fans they should never commit suicide and everything's gonna see alright.
Them people down there kill 5 like they suicidal, and guess what? Crip Mac says never commit suicide. Never commit suicide. Do your program time 5 and everything gonna see alright.
Anyway, after achieving viral fame on No Jumper, it was then time for C-Mac to go fully mainstream. In November 2021, appearing on the legendary YouTube channel Channel 5 with Andrew Callahan, formerly of All Gas No Breaks, with Andrew literally pulling up to 55th Street for a live link-up with C-Mac himself.
My goddamn, he came to 55th Street to do an interview. God, great man on hood. But I'll fuck your wife, Custer.
This was another iconic C-Mac appearance, which sits today close to 3 million views less than a month after its release. And I'll assume that C-Mac turned down interviews with Channel 4 and Channel 6, but we knew he fit right in at Channel 5. No Jumper is out of control right now. I did a video yesterday about the massive gang fight that broke out in the office between Blueface from the Rolling 40s and J Hood, the newest muscle. He just got out on some serious charges. Okay, he just came home. He frontlining for Whack 100. He not tolerating any Whack 100 disrespect. And apparently him and Spotty ended up getting it cracking, having a fight, and it just went off. So in this video, I'm going to give a little bit of a deeper dive into J Hood's history, some of the crazy situations that he's been dealing with, and why he might just be the most dangerous person that's ever set foot in the No Jumper offices, and everybody else over there should be terrified. Okay, but before we get to that, I'm just going to recap. Okay, this basically was a little bit of backstory about the fight. Okay, they kind of left, they stormed off, they ended up coming back, fighting off camera. But apparently it was a real squabble they had.
I don't even be following that internet shit. I just know that's my family.
No, I'm talking about I said what I said.
What you say?
Spotty hates Whack so much they be putting fake news on.
What you say?
Gay I definitely don't put nothing fake about it.
You call him gay.
You can't call one nigga gay and not call everybody gay. You can't call one nigga gay and not call everybody gay.
What that be?
Man, you know what's going on. You can't call one nigga gay if you're not talking about the gay niggas in your community, bro.
Who gay in your nigga community?
You know what's going on, fool.
I really don't.
I don't.
You know
I'm not about to go back and forth on
I'm not going to back and forth either.
Yeah, me neither.
Dead homie, what that supposed to mean?
Bro, what like you seem like you got an agenda. Like what?
We can squabble.
You said what?
We can squabble.
Nah,
that's easy
come
call,
on.
bro.
Let's just pod, man.
We go around the corner.
Call, bro.
Or we go around the corner. We in.
That's easy call.
All right, ain't nothing else to talk about.
Stop talking about it.
All right, I'm done talking about it, bro. We gonna squabble after the bro. It's cool.
This escalated quickly.
No, it ain't escalating. This regular program, fool. We ain't.
That's nigga. That's PC.
No, that ain't. That's what, nigga. How me calling you for a fake PC?
Nah, we could have did that on there. You online doing all that.
I'm not online, bro. This is a conversation that brung up.
Nah, it seemed you should have.
Bro, come on, call me a PC again. Let's swap right now, bro.
You gonna phone Crip?
All right, come on, let's go.
Wait, bro, this is what you want.
Oh, wait.
What the fuck, yo?
Yeah, that shit.
Yo, hold
They're gonna.
They about to go.
I mean, maybe it's like somebody should go watch so they could kind of tell us what happens.
It ain't no break.
So look, they really went out there and had a squabble, and apparently when they came back, it was a little bit hard to tell who actually got the better of the other. Some people are saying J Hood, had a fat ass knot on his head. All right, they're saying he had a bump on his head. He might have got hit hard. People saying clear angle right there. The chat defeated him, 100% knotted. All right. Seems to me a fight more there was a tie than anything, but who knows? That's definitely a knot on his head though. They're saying that's what I was thinking. Quick fade in a conversation. They clearly tagged each other. They literally walked back together. Says, damn, why is whack agents always having a knot? That was Ray J got a knot on his head the other day too. Said, thought I was the only one who noticed. I was convinced they didn't fight, but after 10 minutes, J Hood was knotted up and had a different energy. Right? So that's what some people are saying. All right. Some people are saying J Hood got hurt, but then also people are saying Spotty looked hurt. He was missing his glasses. He came back. He was on a bit more of a quiet energy. Some people said J Hood showed up and showed out. So it's kind of hard to tell. Kind of hard to tell exactly what happened. People don't know what happened, right? Spotty was kind of quiet. J Hood was a bit more talkative. But basically, the later part of the podcast that was interesting, okay, is that Aunt Jefe called in from jail. Now, he's facing murder charges. I just did a video on my main channel about Aunt Jefe if you want to know about that. But basically, people said J Hood's energy completely changed up when Aunt Jefe called in, all right? So this said Aunt Jefe called in from the feds and he checked J Hood's temperature and he disses whack. People saying I think Aunt Jefe would have put J Hood on his pockets.
Man, you up there trying to, yeah, J Hood, man, you up there trying to be messy, bro?
Being messy with what?
Being messy with my name, bro, like speaking on my name like you know what's going on with me.
I ain't never said nothing about you, fool. I'm the only nigga who ain't never said nothing about you, but we ain't. You got my number, fool.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I'm gonna tap in, bro. But like all the internet, like, bro.
I'm the only nigga who ain't covered your case, nigga. I'm the only nigga who ain't said nothing about your case.
Yeah, cause motherfuckers don't. Yeah, don't niggas don't.
I'm the only one. What you talking to the homegirl, J Mac? You talking?
So Aunt Jefe kind of make himself look a bit silly here because he's talking about, yeah, you talking about me. J Hood talking about, I ain't seen J Hood mention Aunt Jefe's case, but if he did, I didn't see it, right? J Hood fresh home talking about himself and what he got going on.
What's your little comrade, J Mac?
Motherfuckers trying to report with that scaled Komodo dragon snake skin motherfucker whack talking about. He don't even know.
This call is being recorded.
Oh, this a wag bad shit. Hey, Craig, you got my number, fool. Hey, you got my number, fool. I ain't gonna do all that. You got my number, fool.
Do all what?
I ain't gonna do all that. You talking like you trying to ask me questions when you can just get at me directly. I ain't gonna do that off of the chat. You really know me, fool. I already know you. I know your family. You know my peoples. I'm not finna argue with you over something that I have not done, fool. That's not what I'm finna do. You know that's not my program. You know me, fool.
Yeah, I'm hearing different though, my niggas.
But you hear different, and I clarified it already. But I ain't explained myself though. I clarified it already though, fool. It's not true. And I'm ending it there. I'm ending it there respectfully. But like I said, nigga, I said I'm ending it there respectfully.
All right, bro. Adam, what's going on with you, man? They telling me, man, you out there, man, doing some detective work, man.
No, not me. I ain't a reactor. I'm just reacting to the shit that people putting out there about the case and everything. But hey, I didn't put the taco truck narrative out there. I'm sure you heard about that shit.
Yeah, all that shit false. Like even like I said, this snake skin motherfucker, he reading lies from a motherfucking police report. You know what I'm saying? They said he put that out there. You know what I'm saying? Somebody told me that you like kind of like he added you and told me that you like kind of reposted that shit. You feel?
So Aunt Jefe's getting some pretty incomplete information while he's locked up, right? Sounds like he's directing his anger towards Wack 100 a little bit, saying Wack's running these plays, Wack's putting some of that false information on my name. J Hood talking about, well, nothing to talk about. I ain't one of them people putting dirt on your name, and if you're going to be dissing Wack, then we ain't really rocking with that, all right? But anyway, he ended it there respectfully, but some people are now claiming that they think the whole fight was a setup. So people are saying maybe Wack kind of set the play. People saying here's 100% proof Adam knew J Hood would attack Spotty. But really, Spotty was kind of talking shit about Wack, not realizing J Hood really frontlining for Wack, and then it popped off. If he'd known that, maybe he wouldn't have disrespected Wack.
But I tell you this, I will warn him. Don't think you gonna continuously pop it about whacking for the J Hood. You might get your shit broke.
Oh shit.
That's nephew. He loved me for real.
Yeah, he's committed to not saying anything negative about you. But
so Wack, I don't think that's proof that he knew J Hood would attack him. But maybe somebody should have caught up with this and said, yo, when J Hood's in the office, y'all need to just not diss Wack because it's going to be a problem, all right? People saying, Adam set you up, Sporty Face. Weaponized ignorance. Adam plays in these guys' faces. I can't believe they set up Sporty Face. Sporty Face asked for that fade. Sporty Face set himself, he said he wanted that fade. So look, all right? J Hood is really shaking things up over on No Jumper. He recently did an interview. So let's just dig into a little bit of backstory, okay? So he actually reps Stevenson Village Crip, and he talks about where he grew up in his solo No Jumper interview. Not solo, but you know what I'm saying? His headline No Jumper interview with Munchie and Adam.
Carson is literally where I grew up at. It's like you can stand on one side of the street and be in Compton and be on the other side of Carson. Where I grew up in the village. So there's only 2 Crip gangs in Carson.
Okay.
Us and them, us and the East Coasters.
Okay.
And we go to the same schools and we like choose like different sides, like come like 8th grade. high school. I've been Carson. It's really a cool area though. I've been shot up a gang of times though, you know,
Right.
because I was out there in the field.
Because I lived in Long Beach for a while, and we always just Carson Mall is like kind of the main thing that people might know about. I know, yeah, that's crazy.
Shot at the mall.
Yeah.
So, you know, and now outside the mall, yeah, like not coming out of it. It's the altercation started inside the mall, but outside of it, you know.
So they've been getting it cracking over there in Carson, man. Stevenson Village Crip, all right. He rocking the blue. We kind of know what he's on now. It's ironic. A lot of Crips have beef with each other, okay? Spotty Face, he rolling 40, right? Rolling 40 Crip. Munchie of blood, but they all got different alliances that overlap. And there's Crips that don't get on the Crips. Now, he went to prison for a 2015 shooting that Rap News and Street Politics discussed on his channel, and I'll show you a little bit of backstory about the shooting he went to jail for back then.
September 4th, 2015. Now, Stevenson Village is known to be cool with the Gangsta Crips, and this is where J Hood finds himself in the shotguns in Gardena on the night of September 4th, 2015. Now, he's over here by 141st in these apartments back here. I believe in like one of them alleyways by them Gardena apartments, where it's J Hood, 2 other unidentified dudes, and somebody named Lawrence Weddle. Now, Lawrence Weddle is Bullet from Insane Crip out in Long Beach. Again, another Trey Hood. So the gangsters is all over here in the shotguns kicking it. These are all allied sets. And it said that an altercation breaks out between Bullet and 3 other gang members, where it started off as a verbal altercation and moved to a physical altercation and resulted in Bullet from Insane being shot multiple times in the chest and in the abdomen. Now, overall, Bullet sustained 7 gunshot wounds over here in the shotguns. And as you can see, there's a grip of entry and exit wounds on his body. And this is what J Hood is sitting down for. So it said that he let off 15 rounds, with again, Bullet being hit 7 times over here. And of course, with a release date, the murder charge got dropped down to a voluntary manslaughter charge, which he pled to May of 2022. So you know that.
So confirmed body, straight up confirmed gruesome body. Pled it down to manslaughter. It's crazy.
Whole 7-year
voluntary manslaughter
time span he sat in the county and racking up almost a year of good time, which is why we see him eligible for parole less than 3 years after he hit the pen. Now, Bullet was a reputable member from Insane. And you know, I don't know if J Hood didn't really speak on this situation because it was some shit that involved the gangsters, but this situation led him to his next problem and what really made him such a controversial person on the internet, with him being on the SNY yard. So he tells a story about being dirty politicked on. And again, you know, these are some of the hardest things to get down, especially with some shit behind the walls. You know, the paperwork is extremely necessary, but what he spoke on was that he was initially being told on by his homies. Now, I don't know if it was them other 2 dudes that was there that night with Bullet getting killed in the shotguns, but the way he kind of put it was that niggas was saying his name and he had said their name or some shit like that, not necessarily implicating them, but basically saying all he did was confirm that somebody was there who the police already knew was there. Now,
so they're saying he got told on, all right, but this Crip report card is he getting a good grade, okay? I'm not condoning what he did. He unfortunately in that lifestyle, he born into that situation. He took his plea, did what he had to do, but it's kind of crazy, all right? It's kind of crazy that was even that's what he had going on, and he just come home recently, right? So he was eligible for parole December 2025, so he's fresh out. Now, J Hood would later break down the situation in more detail on No Jumper, along with the alleged crimes that he'd also been committing behind bars while he was locked up.
Okay. In prison, I got into it with some older cats. I got lied on, you know, but it is what it is. You feel me? I ain't ashamed of nothing. Dead homies, and that's when I really start feeling like this shit was bullshit, because I'm like, damn, y'all talking about this. What about the last 10 heads I done bust? What about the 50 stabbings I done did? What about me being shot on camera and nobody going to jail for it? What about me standing tall in the paint? What about, like, where's my due process?
And because you took the stand just to basically say I was defending myself, you didn't actually tell on anybody, right? No. And nobody even really thought you did.
Went to jail.
No, nobody was accusing you of that. They just said, "Oh, a Crip should never take the stand."
Yeah. I have never put like this. Nobody has ever did an hour in a second in jail for anything I have ever said.
So look, he's saying he kept it solid, all right? You catch what he said? He said 50 stabbings, bro. 50 what? He stabbed 50 people in the pen. So during his time in the county jail, okay, he'd actually talked about one particular stabbing that was pretty famous, right? And I showed you this in the previous video. I didn't really have all the context of it, right? This him claiming he shanked up someone called Bully from West Boulevard Crip in jail.
I didn't say that. I don't know Tay from 40s. If I would have said it, I would have said it. I would have stood on it. Yeah, that's probably bad. I ain't watched the interview. I was just going by what they said. I never said that, bro. First of all, I wouldn't even put no nigga out there like that because niggas do all kind of shit in jail. A nigga put a phone in his ass, niggas put knives in their ass, niggas put dope in their ass. Nigga, it's jail. It's jail. Now, that nigga wanted to get up there and lie, nigga. I was never on the yard with Cuz. I was on the yard with C Nasty from 40s, Pork Gotti from 40s. I was on the yard with your homie Troop from Treetop, nigga. With the dreads.
Where you was at, Salinas?
I was in Ironwood. No, I was in Ironwood before his points went up. Nigga, that's my boy. Troop was high power together after I stabbed a nigga Bully from West Boulevard. Then, homie, that's my nigga. Him, Jay Bray.
You talking about Bully with the fucked up man?
Yeah, I got up on Cuz. Yeah, then, homie. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
That nigga, you said what?
Troop just came home.
Oh, Troop out now?
Yeah, Troop.
So he really talking about I stabbed him up. Allegedly. That's crazy, right? So according to some sources, they're saying J Hood actually went 50-0, 50 stabbings up, never got stabbed against East Coast Crips in LA County Jail. This is what they're saying, okay? This is the post. It says J Hood from Stevenson Village Crip allegedly went 50-0 against East Coast Crips in LA County Jail. Now, is this a list of people he stabbed? Or is this a list of people he squabbled? Apparently, that's some of the people he squabbled on his phone. All right? I don't recognize any of these names off the rip, but that's insane, right? People saying that's just ECC members he fought. I'm sure he squabbled Pyrus, Bloods, and other Crips. They're saying he got squabbles, but he ain't Superman. He mentioned on his YouTube that people got the best of him in fades, so this is most likely cap. I ain't saying he lost the majority, but maybe a good 3 to 5 fades he lost. Saying he even fought X-Ray from first that got killed by F14, and he fought Hitman 1234. They said it isn't one of the Hitman's Q120 in a wheelchair. They're saying he fought the homie from 7-6. Like, people hating on him. They saying he's a rat. Where's the paperwork? I ain't seen no paperwork. People talking about paperwork. I ain't seen no paperwork. All right. So he was just a menace. He was honestly a menace, okay? So he was just released from prison a few months ago. He was fresh out, all right? This is him getting released. And he did 11 years for manslaughter, so confirmed body. He ain't beat it, but he got it plead down and he got back at it. It's crazy, really. 11 years he did.
Back.
He's back.
President.
Rolex.
I'm back, baby.
Look what he got.
Neverland.
Something quick for him.
Ooh.
S-Cool.
S-Cool,
You gonna start it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna start, you know. I was made for it.
He was made
That's
for
fire.
it. Gang.
Ooh, I'm fucking with a whip. I ain't gonna lie, the S-Coop's crazy. Still blows my mind 11 years ago was 2015. Solid year. That's actually insane, isn't it? It is actually insane. It was a good year for music. Young boy, Kendrick, Drake, Future. Oh, man. Damn, man, it's crazy. They freed the boy. The county jail EC destroyer. Saying Mr. 50-0. They send the EC still hot about that, right? They're saying they mad at him for lighting his sentence to go into a 50-50 yard. They just mad he used his brain cell and used them correctly. I've seen a lot of debate about this whole 50-50 yard thing. We ain't going to get into that in this video. But they're saying shout out to J Hood. He really got his mind right behind them walls. Hopefully he can keep it that way. Right? So, yeah, people definitely thinking this guy is just a squabble machine. So he later actually squashed his beef with Munchie B, which was really interesting and positive. Munchie B had apparently been one of the people that actually was spreading the rumors that he was snitching. But they managed to get onto the interview for No Jumper and sit down and actually talk about it.
This is the internet. He beef with who he beef with. I beef with who I beef with. You can't be mad at somebody for two grown men sitting down. This is what needs to be happening instead of people out there killing each other. Two grown men need to be able to sit down and be like, hey, I'm wrong. I'm wrong for putting fake news out there. I'm wrong for saying that Munchie B got peanut butter put in his ass. I am wrong. I apologize. I was upset because you put a fake narrative out there like I told on somebody. So I knew what would get under your skin.
So I'll put it out. I'll put it out there.
You press or whoever your team is, they press upload on that phone. And it take unless you got bomb service, it take about 5 minutes. You could have thought about 5 minutes, like, this nigga's a snitch. No, I ain't gonna put that out there, blood. Cause I ain't read nothing, blood. I ain't asked. Matter of fact, I'm finna ask this nigga Baby Dot. I'm finna ask this nigga Lil Munchie. Matter of fact, Tiny Munchie, did you read any work? I feel like, nigga, I deserve that type of grace because I would give you that grace, bro. I would not put no snitch allegation on no nigga who I have not seen no paperwork on. Period. Crip, Blood, Hoover, SA, Asian, white boy, Jamaican. I'm not putting no snitch allegation because that is a serious allegation, especially in the state of California. Niggas get smoked behind that. In jail. 50-50 yard, main line. It's niggas who get stabbed just for people. Bro, I done see people who did not tell. I done seen niggas get stabbed over 115s, over write-ups in prison. Not nobody get an hour. A nigga got 30 days, that's get back. Dead homies. Niggas get stabbed for that. Niggas get killed, bro. And especially what I
Look, him and Munchie even being able to sit down together after these sorts of allegations have gone around is pretty crazy. But here's the problem. Everybody is hating on J Hood because they feel like he a Whack 100 plant. Now, because he's loyal to Whack, all right, people saying he went from a great addition to Whack plant in one episode trash. Now, I disagree. Admitting that you're a Whack lover is insane, but he genuinely, this is the thing, he got real life love for Whack. They like family. They actually know each other. He actually, like, Whack talking about he used to drive him to school. He really, like, Whack's is real, not real blood, but like, as far as the actual interactions in his life, like, Whack been an unk to him for years, okay? That's just what it is, all right? So, people saying he got marked out over the phone by Ann. I don't think he got marked out, to be honest. That's not the first. No, the first appearance, all he talked about was gangbang. No one wants to hear that. That's not true. We love hearing about that. Keep that energy with every single person that don't like Whack. I know a spot that J Hood visits frequently in Compton. I'ma scream out F from the window and watch him go crazy. I think he meant F Whack, but he didn't even have the cojones to say F Whack in the comment. All right. People are saying he's a terrible addition. People are mad, people are hating, but really, he had that show turn, all right? And look, no disrespect to Spotty Face. I feel like just for everybody in that office over at No Jumper, folks need to just try and keep it with the pod in, okay? Try and keep it with the pod in. Now, look, you know in J Hood, a fearsome individual who don't go for that sort of thing. So you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful around this guy, man. He got the manslaughter. He done beat the bro. He a real dangerous individual. Okay, so look, we're gonna see how this works out. All right, J Hood, I'm liking his energy. You know, he did his crime. He did his time. He's If you're not tapped into LA street politics or the city's underground rap scene, there's a good chance you might not have heard of Ant Jefe. But to those that are familiar with that world, he's someone that built a reputation in the streets long before most people knew his name in the podcast world. Born in May 1990, Ant Jefe, real name Maurice Shellman, grew up in LA's infamous South Central, the area where gangs like the Crips and Bloods first laid their foundations, and where much of Los Angeles' gang culture still remains concentrated to this very day. Ant's early years were shaped by an out-of-control homicide rate in Los Angeles that was roughly 4 to 5 times higher than it is today, and it was this crazy and dangerous environment in LA that Ant grew up in. South Central was the epicenter for much of the violence going on in the city, but according to Ant himself, beyond just the geography, another big influence that pushed him towards the streets was his own father, whose strict and aggressive parenting style apparently caused Ant to rebel and eventually join a gang out of resentment.
So what led me to the streets is my father. So I had both parents in the house. You know what I'm saying? I had my mother and my father, but you know, my father, he got Texas roots. You know what I'm saying? He came down here to California like in the early 60s. You know what I'm saying? He came down here to California, you feel me? So my father was like a real discipline. So like coming up, my father used to whoop my ass. Like I used to get an whooping like with anything. Like I get an with belts, switches, weight belt. Like, you know, my father had a real like low tolerance, you feel me? He was real strict. So, you know, I wasn't used to that. You feel me? I wasn't seeing other people's parents and the people who did have their fathers around, I wasn't seeing their fathers like acting like that. So like I started like feeling like that was abuse. So at that young age, I start formatting in my mind that, you know, he don't like me or like he got something against me. So, you know, with all of my because I started to rebel against him, and me rebelling against him led me to the streets.
The gang that Ant eventually joined was the infamous 8-Tray Gangsta Crips, also known as 83GC, or these days often referred to as ETG or 8-Tray Gangsters. Over the years, the 8-Tray has grown into one of the most influential gangs in Los Angeles, with a territory that's also considered to be among the largest in the entire city. After joining the 8-Tray Gangsta Crips, Ant would be a teenage terror in South Central, repeatedly having run-ins with the law and spending stretches inside juvenile hall.
Man, I did it like you know what I'm saying? I did everything you could do out over the street. So it's just like, so you know, I was in and out of jail, you know what I'm saying? I was going to school. Every time I got out of jail, I was in school. I was in and out of jail. So juvenile hall, I did every juvenile hall. I've been in Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall, Silmore Juvenile Hall, Central Juvenile Hall. I did 4 camp programs. I was in Malibu. If you've seen the movie Gridiron Gang,
I haven't.
With the Rock and Exhibit. So
okay.
Boom, that's a camp out there, Malibu. That's a sports camp. I was in there. I was like, my whole time, like as an adolescent, it was just, you know, back and forth, you know what I'm saying, in and out of jail. Being from 8-Tray, from gangbanging and stuff like that, catching cases, whether it be a gun case, me, a stolen car.
But when Ant was around 18 years old in 2008, he would end up jumping into the deep end of the streets, and he became part of a massive interstate drug trafficking operation with other members of the 8-Tray Gangsta Crips. And these guys weren't just moving any drugs. Ant was ahead of his time, and he was supplying the kind of drugs that today's rappers would probably spend their whole advances trying to get their hands on, because they were moving oxys, the real OxyContin pills, not the fent-pressed counterfeit pills that are flooding the streets of LA today. So this crack team of 8-Tray traffickers would move these pills from LA to Spokane, in Washington, a nearly 20-hour drive north. But unfortunately for Ant, this highly profitable pill smuggling operation would eventually come to an end in 2013 when they got busted by the feds. And by the time authorities were done rounding everyone up, the case had bloomed into something so massive it reportedly overwhelmed the court system itself. And eventually, the whole case grew to include a staggering 62 defendants. One of them was then 22-year-old Ant Jefe, real name Maurice Shellman, although interestingly the court documents listed his middle name in that case as Keon Gray rather than Keandre, which appears in his most recent arrest record. But anyway, this was him, and Ant was charged with 2 counts in this sprawling 32-count indictment, which prosecuted the 8-Tray members for trafficking and distributing these OxyContin pills. In December of 2014, Ant would ultimately accept a plea deal from prosecutors, pleading guilty to count 2 in exchange for the remaining counts being dropped. But this would still lead him to receive a crushing 120-month or 10-year sentence in federal penitentiary. Clearly, fighting serious charges and doing serious time isn't anything new for Ant Jefe, and he would sit down and take that bid with dignity. Eventually, towards the end of his sentence in November of 2021, Ant would be moved away from the prison to a halfway house in Los Angeles, where he would end up leaving the facility without permission, removing his ankle monitor and going on the run. And he spent several months on the lam before finally being captured in Nevada in May 2022. But despite this rather wild move, the charge of escape from federal custody was eventually dropped by the prosecution. Later, Ant would explain why he took off during a No Jumper interview, saying that the staff at the halfway house were trying to do him dirty only 30 days before he was supposed to be freed.
Every day people bringing me clothes, shoes, you know, I'm in there with Jerry and they see him in here with bust down diamonds, they looking like it started discouraging the staff. So I started getting into it with them. So from there, they put me on a ankle monitor, let me go home. I go home. So I was going in there to drug test. So like 30 days before I got off the ankle monitor, they do some weird. I go in there to piss on a Tuesday and go back to piss on a Thursday. So they try to tell me my Tuesday piss was good, but my Thursday piss was dirty. So I'm like, that's false. I'm like, man, I could piss again. Like, I'm 30 days out this. Why? I can wait to smoke if I want to smoke. Like, I ain't been smoking nothing. It don't make no sense for me to piss Thursday clean. They only to come in here Tuesday to piss dirty. So I'm going back and forth with them. They wasn't trying to hear it. So they told me that they was reprimanding me back to custody. I said, that's out. I snatched the ankle monitor off right there, threw that, walked them out of the program, went on the run for like 6 months. They called me in Vegas. I come back from Vegas gambling, just I hit Vegas for like 20 bands, come back, get caught on a freeway traffic stop.
After finally regaining his freedom, Ant would slowly begin building a name for himself online in 2023, releasing not only rap music videos, but also commentary content centered around gang culture and LA street politics.
By these Mexicans, bro, how are you allowing that and you talking about y'all gangbangers and you tough? You quick to put that blick on it, look like you feel me, talk like you feel me, got your background. But what about the other bro? You know what I'm saying? Ain't no picking and choosing. If you gonna die for this, you gonna be out here about this, bro.
The following year, in 2024, his work would finally begin to pay off, and combined with the reputation he'd already built for himself in the streets of LA, Ant would start attracting some real attention, making music together with popular LA rappers like Big Sad and landing appearances on live performance channels, even getting major platforms like the Street TV YouTube channel, where he was interviewed by Munchie B, who would later become one of Ant's co-hosts at No Jumper. And speaking of No Jumper, the following year in 2025, that's when Ant would finally receive his big break in podcasting. After doing an interview with Adam22 in May of that year, Ant became a regular on the channel, even getting a permanent position on the No Jumper show.
And for the people at home, if you're not familiar with Ant Jefe, he has a dope YouTube channel that everybody should go subscribe to. He also raps, drops music left and right, and we just did our first interview, which I think the first clip of it came out today, or you can go to the members only section, $5 a month, you watch the whole thing right now. So I after we did that interview, I was like, you know what? These guys are obvious choice. We got to get them on here and see what the vibe is like, because that interview was real fun. We had a lot of real good conversations.
Definitely a good vibe.
Eventually, he would become somewhat of a fan favorite, with viewers affectionately dubbing him the Alter Eagle after he accidentally mispronounced the term alter ego during one of his live streams.
I might come up in that thing in a white beater. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't practice no proper etiquette. I'm not reading no textbooks. When I get on camera, I don't have an alter ego, none of that. I don't have an alter ego podding dude on camera and then get off camera and be somebody else.
Ant's wholesome mispronunciations would lead to several legendary catchphrases over the last couple of years. And while he was making moves in the podcasting game, he also kept on releasing music and steadily growing the catalogue of videos on his YouTube channel, where he continued speaking on LA street politics, although now from a far more mainstream and grown-up perspective, as well as covering ongoing drama and news within the rap industry. Ant's channel grew very quickly due to his popularity amongst the No Jumper fanbase, and at the time of his arrest, he had surpassed over 50,000 subscribers. But coming into 2026, a tragic incident would take place that might just destroy everything that Ant Jefe was able to build after he got out of prison the last time. On May the 18th, 2026, Ant Jefe would allegedly post a video to social media in which he spoke about having an extremely bad day. The true reason behind that video still being unclear at this point. But after what happened next, that video would suddenly become the subject of countless theories and speculation online.
What's the good old deal with the good old people, man? Today was not a good day, bro. Today was one of those bad days, man, where the devil was working hard, man. He was at work, man. And he was this close, man. He was this close. This close to cashing in on wishful thinking. So right now, right, I'm in a phase where I'm trying to regroup, you know what I'm saying? And think things through, man, and just, you know, create the space to be calm and copacetic, you know what I'm saying, through the storm, you know what I'm saying? But hopefully y'all had a good day up out there though, man, on this Monday, man, you know what I'm saying? To anybody day who was bad like mine, we gonna make it through, champ, you know what I'm saying? As long as we make it through the next day, man, we gotta, you know what I'm saying, we got another chance, man, to recharge, man, and regroup, man. Salute. Stay strong.
Because the very next day, on the 19th of May, Ant would be arrested by the LAPD on felony murder charges, together with another alleged 8-Tray gangster Crip member, Johnny Gray, reportedly known in the streets as Northface. That same day, the No Jumper show was scheduled to air with Ant as one of the co-hosts, sparking speculation amongst the panel after he suddenly didn't show up and went completely radio silent.
Guys, can we address the elephant in the room real quick? Is Ant okay? What's up with the
I guess Ant's not picking up his phone. People have been trying to contact him, and he's not picking up his phone right now. It is almost 2 hours into the podcast.
This is unlike him.
And in addition to that, he was supposed to be here an hour before the podcast. So I would bet money that he got arrested or something, because
I don't know about that.
I don't want to wish it on him. It's just like, if him being 3 hours late, phone off, not responding to anybody.
I don't know about arrested, but it's definitely like,
that's what I was thinking. But you don't want to speak.
Yeah,
but I saw thinking like,
Jesus Christ, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, or it could have been a family emergency. You know, when his kids got sick, he could have been in a hospital or something like that.
If you call his phone and they go to voicemail, that's all bad.
Or he lost his phone.
Or he just somewhere with no service. You know, that's the best. I don't want to.
But it is like, it's not like him. Even if he wasn't going to come, he would say something if he had the ability to do so.
Yeah.
I mean, he usually come in and his tire got popped.
But he would normally have texted by now and be like, yo, I'm finna be late. Da, 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 da. Like, it's not, he's very professional, bro. Like,
we leave here, I'm gonna hit his brother and see what's up with him.
Yeah, hopefully he cool, you feel me? Like, shouts to the homie. We love Ant, man.
Yeah, love Ant.
This will already start some theories online, but the following day the internet would go wild when Ant's arrest was published by the LAPD on their database. This started an online frenzy, with TMZ seemingly breaking the news. This would be followed by all hip-hop and entertainment media reporting on the latest arrest of a No Jumper host. But almost as quickly as the arrest broke, a rumor mill began forming online over exactly which murder Ant Jefe had allegedly been charged with. One of the first people to push a theory that would go quickly viral was YouTuber Sedi Nash, who dropped a video on May the 20th where he played a questionable clip of Ant accidentally admitting he did a shooting.
I don't know who this person is, but Hot Topics is pertaining to the shooting I did to other.
But he'd also bring up a rumor that he'd apparently come across online claiming that Ant Jefe might have been involved in the murder of Baby Huey, real name Jabari Henley, the son of infamous Big U, the alleged leader of the Rollin 60 Crips, who himself had been indicted in 2025 on federal RICO and murder charges. His son Huey was killed months after his arrest on Halloween of 2025.
But I just got some breaking news, bruh. They saying that allegedly, supposedly, Ant Jefe is the one who killed Big U's son, Baby Huey.
69th and 5th, 69th and 5th, this guy just got shot and killed. 77th Division.
It had been about 50 vloggers that uncovered this situation. This is the hottest thing on social media. Every day it's a new element, a new something that happened. Oh, it's gonna be a gang war. Oh, they probably did it. Oh, this would happen. So it's just like that's a neutral spot. All type of people, everybody hang out.
Boy, if this is true, if he's the one who did that, who pulled that off, bro, it's gonna be an ugly summer. Y'all stay the hell out of LA.
And this theory was discussed by the likes of Whack 100 on his Clubhouse show. But from the very beginning, there seemed to be very little actual evidence supporting this theory beyond the fact that the Rollin 60s and 8-Tray Gangsta Crips are known to have a long-running and extremely deadly rivalry. And this rumor was practically immediately replaced by another rumor claiming that Ant had instead been involved in the murder of an alleged 5 Deuce Pueblo Bishop Blood member known as Lil Bandit, real name Deshaun Coleman, who was killed after an argument begun in front of a taco stand near the corner of Slauson and Holmes in the early morning hours of May the 17th, 2026.
The LAPD says there was an argument just before the gunfire, and it all unfolded just steps away from a busy taco stand.
Telemundo 52 spoke with the brother of the man who was killed. I also spoke with one man who was working at the taco stand last night. He told me he heard about 7 to 8 gunshots.
We don't know nothing. All we know, we need justice. He was a good person, a loving person. He took care of everybody.
We hear some people yelling, like yelling bad words, start fighting.
Did you hear the gunshots?
Yeah, I hear the gunshots. I hear like 7 gunshots.
This rumor would seemingly take off on Reddit before being spread by numerous popular YouTubers, with one of the most detailed narratives coming from the former No Jumper host, Poetic Flacco.
So young Ant Jefe is at the taco stand minding his business, trying to get some tacos, trying to eat. A Pablo Blood pull up. I think like ain't the Pablos from like 5-4 or 5 Deuce, who knows, right? But the Pablo Blood pull up. Instantly, an altercation breaks out. He starts to bang on young Ant Jefe. Where you from, Blood? And Jefe, I'm from 8-Tray Gangsta Crib. Cool. That should have been the end of it. Now, young Ant Jefe did something that I think we should all do. Young Ant Jefe walks away. Gets back into his car. Now, when young Ant Jefe gets back into his car, the Pablo Blood follows young Ant Jefe to his car. Now, I guess when young Ant Jefe is going back to his car, the Pablo Blood probably feels like he got the best of the situation, and he wanted to get the best of Mo. So he follows young Ant Jefe to the car. When I walk back to my car, I'm in my car. I'm trying to leave. You right here. Feel me? Like, I don't know what you reaching for. You yelling aggressively. And young Ant Jefe just had enough, man. Just had enough. Pulled out the pistol, shot about 7 to 8 times. Bro got hit, bro died. And now we're here. Allegedly, because he's still fighting the case, he could be completely innocent. This could have all been a misunderstanding. So allegedly, people, allegedly.
Now, it's not clear at this point where Flacco got his information, but that entire story would end up being a pure fabrication. And already the following day, there would be a completely new rumor that had nothing to do with the taco stand incident. As No Jumper host Remo uploaded a video on Instagram, he claimed he had spoken to Ant's family, who allegedly revealed the real reason behind the arrest, an alleged DP gone wrong. A DP is short for disciplinary action or a discipline. This is essentially a violent beatdown carried out against a member of your own gang for breaking the rules. According to the rumor, this DP had taken place months earlier, had unfortunately gotten out of control, and ultimately ended with the victim losing his life.
Yo, just an update on the Ant Jefe situation. I know a lot of rumors have been hitting the internet. Everyone's trying to say that young Ant Jefe was actually involved with the shooting at a taco stand. I'm not sure about that. From what I'm hearing that young Ant Jefe was actually arrested from a situation that stemmed from like a few months back. I'm hearing it was like a DP gone wrong where, I don't know, maybe somebody in his clique got DP'd, but in the midst of the dude getting a DP, someone actually passed away during the DP, and that is actually what Ant Jefe supposedly, allegedly is arrested for. I'm hearing that is not for the shooting. You know, a lot of people have been on record saying that it was actually him. He shot a guy a few times at the taco stand and related to some blood incident. I'm hearing that those are two different separate incidents from what I'm hearing in my sources. But, you know, free young Ant Jefe. Shout out to everybody involved, you know, my condolences to everybody. But, yeah, I don't think Ant Jefe was actually involved with that shooting that everyone's trying to say with the blood guy from PB or wherever. But it was actually from a situation that stemmed from a few months back. And I think if you can if you see the videos, you can see Ant Jefe kind of was going through it where you could say he had a hard day. So I think Ant Jefe kind of knew the feds, or not the feds, but the police was actually on to him. He kind of knew about the situation in advance. But free Ant Jefe, man, for real, man.
Flacco would also correct his earlier claims, uploading a new video where he discussed the DP rumor while also playing security footage from the taco stand shooting that had been the scene of the previous rumor. The footage did appear to show the incident in question taking place, although Ant Jefe himself didn't appear to be in the video. However, Flacco would still suggest that one of the cars parked outside the taco stand might have belonged to Ant, and that it's possible that he might have been present during that murder.
The question of the day is, did Ant Jefe commit this murder? Well, to answer that question, let's take a look at the footage of the murder. This car right here may or may not have been one of the vehicles that Ant Jefe used to drive to No Jumper. This right here is the gentleman that was shot and killed. This guy right here is about to get punched. Now, when he gets punched, the person who was shot and killed, they all began to move forward. Now, when they begin to move forward, somebody comes from around the car and started shooting, hits him, he falls and dies. Then they chase somebody around this vehicle, but they couldn't shoot them and the person goes away.
But the real exclusive would once again come from TMZ, who would post that same day the name of the victim, Carl Welch, and also reporting that he had died in a parking lot from blunt force trauma, and that the alleged date of the murder was the 31st of January 2026. These pieces of information supported claims of a DP gone wrong in a parking lot where the body was found as a result of blunt force trauma, but now that the alleged real incident was out in the open, online detectives immediately went to work, and it didn't take long before Reddit and other social media sites were flooded with photos of the victim, whose real name was Carl Terrell Welch. In the streets of LA, he was apparently known as Lil Lowdown, an alleged member of the 8-Tray Gangsta Crips. This information seemingly confirmed that Ant Jefe was indeed accused of being present during the fatal beating of a member of his own gang. Soon, a video began circulating on social media that was claimed to show a bystander recording the alleged beatdown, low-quality footage capturing a group of individuals seemingly punching and kicking someone lying on the ground. However, the location in the video didn't seem to match the parking lot location where the body was allegedly found. The location of the murder was just released in police paperwork that broke down the whole series of events as it happened. The paperwork would break down the alleged DP gone wrong that led to the murder exactly as it happened, stating, on January the 31st, 2026, at approximately 10:25 p.m., LAPD patrol officers responded to reports of an assault in progress at 6916 Southwestern Avenue, and the LAPD would arrive with the LA Fire Department, finding the victim dead in the parking lot with trauma to his face, abrasions, as well as swelling near his eyes. Detectives marked 6 pieces pieces of evidence in the crime scene, which were 5 pieces of broken jewelry and 1 set of veneers. The victim was found laying in the parking lot shirtless, with serious facial traumas, close to his own vehicle, a black 2006 Cadillac Escalade. The victim was identified at the scene as Carl Welch, and his cell phone and ID were recovered from the scene by the coroner, who also noted 8 tray gang tattoos on the victim's body. The victim's girlfriend would appear at the scene distraught, allegedly under the influence of drugs or alcohol, explaining that the victim was assaulted by their own gang. Detectives would go on to recover surveillance video from the crime scene, which captured the victim arriving at the parking lot around 6:20 p.m. The first suspect arrives at around 7 p.m., followed by more suspects who arrive and congregate with the victim for about 10 minutes until the assault occurred at approximately 9:45 p.m. It appeared the victim did know his killers, and surveillance video then captured the victim being assaulted by multiple suspects who he'd been speaking to in the parking lot, and at one point, one suspect kicks the victim continually in the head while he's on the ground. Video surveillance would also capture the suspects opening and searching the victim's vehicle while he lay unconscious and removing the victim's property from his car. All suspects would then flee in multiple vehicles, leaving the victim to be discovered deceased by the fire department at 10:34 p.m. The victim's wife would explain to detectives that the victim worked at a cannabis shop and that he would hold on to rent money in a bag inside his vehicle. Detectives would confirm 2 suspects from the surveillance video, one being Johnny Gray, aka Northface, as well as identifying his 2007 Lexus that was registered to him that he drove to and from the scene. Cell phone records would indicate that he had actually fled LA to Las Vegas the day after the homicide, using his own car to do so. Detectives would also identify Maurice Shellman, aka Aunt Jefe, as arriving to the scene in a white Range Rover, and according to detectives, the footage appeared to show Ant appearing to intervene in an argument between an unidentified suspect and the victim before the fight. Ant would then be captured striking the victim with his hands while the victim was laying on the ground. Ant would then return to his vehicle and speak with a male identified as Irvin Theus, who was sitting in the driver's seat of a gold Mercedes parked next to the victim's car. Ant would then be observed on video pointing towards Welch's vehicle, followed by Theus exiting his Mercedes, approaching the victim's vehicle and removing what appeared to be a black backpack from the rear seat, which he then took and handed right back to Ant Jefe, and detectives would claim that from the video surveillance, it appeared obvious to them that Theus was acting under Aunt Jefe's sole direction. But this is where the story would take an even darker turn, as a growing digital paper trail left across social media by people who seemingly knew Lil Lowdown begun to point towards a growing internal beef within the 8-Tray gangster Crips and people that were close to the gang. One friend of Lil Lowdown made numerous posts criticizing the current state of leadership and structure within the 8-Tray, as well as calling the members disloyal and claiming that they were more willing to attack their own friends than their actual ops. He would also note how there had been no candlelight vigil or funeral service organized by the gang, and not even any donations to the family, before cryptically adding how Lil Lowdown didn't deserve what happened to him, nor did 4 others who had seemingly trusted someone within the gang before losing their lives. In a post that's since been deleted, he would also say that people should be outraged, arguing that this situation should have been handled differently in order to find the best resolution for everyone involved. He would then appear to direct his message specifically to those people who were responsible for beating Lil Lowdown to death, calling them fools, consumed by what he described as big homie killer energy, something that he claimed had now led to their downfall. In another deleted post, he would also criticize the older leaders of the gang for standing by silently while internal turmoil continued to spiral out of control, and he would accuse certain figures of failing to provide proper leadership, also hinting at a long-standing betrayal and unresolved internal conflicts within the gang that were now spilling into the public's view, while the leaders apparently lacked any plans to resolve these internal issues, being themselves consumed by greed, envy, and jealousy. Meanwhile, as Aunt Jefe and his co-defendant were moving through the court system, their situation would change from bad to worse, because as mentioned earlier, while Ant would originally start out with a hefty $1 million bond, this was soon more than doubled, his bond now standing just over $2 million, while Johnny Gray's bond would pass $2.5 million, essentially making it sure that neither are likely to get out on bond anytime soon, also giving the impression that the prosecution might have some pretty convincing evidence against the two. One theory would come from another No Jumper host, Wack 100, who's in recent years specialized in talking about court cases involving rappers on Clubhouse. According to Wack, Ant may have been the one who called Lil Lowdown to the location, essentially setting up the beating that would allegedly take place and ultimately lead to the murder charges. Wack would also go on to say that while it may be difficult for prosecutors to prove that Ant knew the victim was going to die beforehand, the feds could instead be leaning on California's 3 strikes law in an attempt to put Ant away for good, something that his earlier convictions create a serious risk for. Wack would also speculate that someone from Ant's own hood might have ultimately provided the feds with information about Ant allegedly setting the victim up.
The word out immediately was it was a DP went bad. So they're going to say, and Jefe, you put the call in to the dude to lure him down to this place where this situation was going to happen. Damn, Wack. Well, if Aunt Jefe just called him down for a DP and lured him to the spot, and he happened to die during the DP, that ain't really a type murder. You're right. Hard to get it on a premeditated first degree murder 1, murder 2 on something like, you would say, well, whack, maybe that's a manslaughter, because maybe he didn't have the intent, right? I hear you. This is why they factored in the 3 strikes clause. Somebody from his neighborhood is telling the police, and Jefe called dude down there. This is the internal thing. The only people involved is A-Trade gangsters.
One of Ant's friends, on the other hand, would post a video accusing Ant's co-host Munchie B of telling on Ant, as he would supposedly have the most to gain from Ant going to prison.
Is this just a hee-haw moment for the red team? I think Munchie B told on Ant. His blind, he do all the talking. You know, they say when one sense leave, the other sense enhances. Munchie on the real. The OG Wax said they had 4 months to investigate. Who was with Ant all the time? Munchie was.
Meanwhile, Ant's younger brother, called NBA2, would post a video on his Instagram swearing on his brother's innocence.
80 Crip in his bed, bashing on Crip. You already know, Madbone, Monster, Madbone, Crip, NBA2, slam. To my big bro, young and half fade. Don't give a f about number of the check. Say, they look to my brother innocent. On Normie, on my daughter Herbie, I know for sure. Keyway, could be home. You know what it is, Northside, for sure. Feeling cuz on their dead homies.
But there have also been some shocking revelations coming out surrounding the victim himself, as some Reddit users have uncovered records showing that Carl Welch had previously been convicted in connection to a gang case and was listed on the offender registry. This development caused many people online to lash out against those that had been vilifying Ant on social media, and there would also be developments that likely shocked those that didn't know anything about LA street politics, as none other than Afro Man would come out publicly to show support for Ant Jefe. Interestingly enough, Afro Man actually also hails from H-Ray's hood and seemingly reps the gang to this day. Now at the moment, this case is still in its earliest stages, and with just how chaotic the information surrounding it has been so far, it's impossible to say how the story will ultimately end, as new details could emerge at any moment that completely change our understanding of what really happened that day. But if there's one lesson that seems to come repeatedly out of stories like this, it's that once someone finally manages to build a real career and legit future for themselves outside of the streets, the smartest thing they can possibly do is put as much distance between themselves and that former life as they can, even if that means leaving old friends and loyalties and traditions like DPs behind. Because as this case might prove once again, the streets always have a way of pulling people back in, no matter how far they seem to have made it, and if you fall back into these old patterns, it only takes one mistake to lose your life or your freedom forever.